He was once hailed as the youngest national archery champion, admired by his family and fans alike for his flawless 10-point bullseye shots. Yet here he is now getting papers thrown right in his face by his boss, who screams harsh insults at him. As he bends down to pick them up, his thin, frail hands suddenly start to tremble. His boss scowls in disgust and sneers at him, calling him a nepo baby, a spoiled brat. But they have no idea that every night, Sang-hyun sits all alone in front of his monitor, replaying his old glory days over and over without ever getting tired of it. The reason he lives such a secluded life now is because 15 years ago, archery was his entire world. But archery is an expensive sport. Living alone with his grandmother, Sang-hyun had no choice but to fight for scholarships, practicing tirelessly day in and day out. Hoping to excel in every aspect of life, he truly believed a bright future was waiting for him. Until a horrific accident changed everything. It left his hands constantly trembling, just like they do now. But even so, Sang-hyun refused to just sit around and become a useless slacker. Thanks to his coach, who recommended him for his current job, he managed to secure a quiet, ordinary life. Whenever he has a little free time, Sang-hyun likes to tune in to game streams. Watching games became his escape after the accident. Today, he's checking out a full dive game, a virtual reality experience that makes you feel like you've actually stepped inside another world. To play, you need to log in using an expensive gaming capsule, but the price is way too steep for a regular office worker like him, so he can only watch online. Seeing a streamer who plays an archer but is absolutely terrible at it, yet still has crowds of people flooding his channel to watch and chat, makes Sang-hyun feel a bit envious. No matter how bad the guy is, so many people, including Sang-hyun himself, still enjoy watching him. It makes him think back to his own past. He used to give his absolute all just to be recognized, but now it has all gone down the drain. Frustrated, Sang-hyun turns off the screen and goes to sleep, only for the same routine to repeat the next day. Going to work every day just to get yelled at by his boss. Eventually reaching his absolute limit, Sang-hyun decides to hand in his resignation. Without a moment's hesitation, his boss shoves the resignation papers right in his face. To rub salt in the wound, the boss sneers that Sang-hyun only got hired because of connections and that literally everyone else in the company is leagues ahead of him, essentially calling Sang-hyun completely useless. That night he lies sprawled out on his bed with his head in his hands, restlessly dwelling on his past glory. The youngest national champion. But for someone who only graduated high school with an empty resume, those memories are useless now. No matter how much he reminisces, he can never go back to being 18. While agonizing over his future, his phone suddenly buzzes, notifying him that a game live stream is about to start. Suddenly he remembers what that streamer said, that absolutely anything is possible in this full dive game. He wonders if his past archery skills would translate there as well. Sang-hyun sits down at his computer, thinking that if that streamer can pull in viewers despite being terrible, then he could do the same, but with actual skill. And once he finally logs into the game, it's as if a blinding light of truth illuminates his entire life. It turns out there are countless talented streamers out there. Some are proving their skills live, while others are watching to learn and improve their own gameplay. To him, this game feels like a true world of sports. In reality, there are too many variables: family, children, debt, education. But in here, it is exactly the kind of life he had always dreamed of as a kid. A life where you give your all, relying purely on skill and effort, climbing the ranks step by step, simple, rewarding, and completely fair. With this newfound hope burning in his heart, Sang-hyun makes up his mind to dive headfirst into this game. He wants to become both a player and a streamer to earn a living. The next day, at a cozy little cafe, Sang-hyun consults his friend Ju-hyuk. Hearing the plan, Ju-hyuk blinks in disbelief. "Wait, you're planning to buy a gaming capsule?" When Sang-hyun nods, a shocked Ju-hyuk immediately starts grilling him. "Are you seriously going to blow all your savings on a video game? Have you completely lost your mind? Didn't you say you've never even played a game before in your life?" Sang-hyun, sitting across from him, can only offer a quiet mumble. Ju-hyuk presses on. "Do you even remember how devastating it was when you had to give up archery?" He raises his voice in sheer frustration. "And yet you're about to buy a gaming capsule. Are you even good at games?" Sang-hyun, keeping a completely calm face, gently raises his hands to reassure his friend. "Don't worry, I'll do just fine. I'm serious." His face flushed red with anger. Ju-hyuk desperately tries to talk some sense into him. "How can you possibly know that when you haven't even tried yet? Stop talking nonsense, get real for once." Seeing how stubborn Ju-hyuk is about this, Sang-hyun looks thoughtful. He secretly muses, if Ju-hyuk is this worried, maybe it really is a reckless move. At my old job, Ju-hyuk was the only colleague I could ever open up to. The only person I could actually trust in that miserable place. His life is the exact opposite of mine. He's the textbook definition of the elite of the elite. Raised in a wealthy family and guided down a secure path to success. That's probably why whenever I talk to him, it feels like all my problems somehow sort themselves out. Noticing his serious expression, Ju-hyuk calls out with concern, "Hey, are you even listening to me?" After realizing his lectures are going in one ear and out the other, Ju-hyuk holds his head in sheer defeat and sighs, "Seriously, you'd be better off taking your money and blowing it at a casino." Sang-hyun blinks cluelessly. "But I'm not good at casino games either." Hearing his dense reply, Ju-hyuk is both furious and exhausted. "It was a metaphor, you idiot." But seeing that Sang-hyun has completely made up his mind, Ju-hyuk can only sigh and give in. He rubs his temples and asks, "Fine, how much is that gaming capsule anyway?" Sang-hyun put on a pitiful face and replied, 4,000 won. Hearing the price, Ju-hyuk immediately fell into deep thought calculating the costs. The machine alone was 4,000 won, not to mention all the extra equipment. "Your electricity bill is going to spike too." Sitting opposite him with a clueless look, Sang-hyun asked, "Wait, do I need something else besides the 4,001 machine?" Ju-hyuk immediately explained, "Of course you do. Did you really think all you needed was a 4,001 machine?" Hearing that, he panicked slightly. "So, could it end up costing as much as 40 million won? Ju-hyuk ignored Sang-hyun's question and continued explaining, "Even if you have a car worth 100 million won, you still need money to run it." Completely shocked, Sang-hyun slammed his hand on the table. "No way, that's impossible." Right after that, with absolute determination, he declared, "You wait right here until I get off work." By the afternoon, the two of them were standing in front of a building. Sang-hyun asked blankly, "What is this place?" "A player capsule rental shop." Sang-hyun followed Ju-hyuk inside, thinking to himself, "Wait, isn't this a rental place? They don't sell them here, do they? But I want to buy one." Meanwhile, Ju-hyuk calmly walked on in. He cheerfully greeted Mr. Lee Kang-suk, who warmly replied, "Hello, I'm Lee Kang-suk. I heard you're looking to buy a capsule. I think we can sell you some used models for a pretty cheap price. Please come on in." Seeing this, Sang-hyun was relieved. "Ah, so he's the owner of this rental shop." He immediately gave a mental thumbs up, thinking, as expected of an elite guy. Ju-hyuk didn't know what Sang-hyun was thinking, but he still returned the thumbs up. What on earth is going through his head? Inside, the room was filled with capsules. Sang-hyun stared at the scene, utterly amazed. There were capsules everywhere. While he was busy looking around, Kang-suk suddenly spoke up. "So, Sang-hyun!" Saying this, he leaned in right up to Sang-hyun's face. "Before we talk about buying, why don't we give it a test run first?" Startled, Sang-hyun replied. "Oh, sure," while thinking, "Whoa, he's way too close." Before Sang-hyun could even pull himself together, Kang-suk hummed a tune and cheerfully dragged him inside. "Now let's go gather some of your physical data first. Off we go. To use a capsule, biometric data is required." Standing to the side, Ju-hyuk could only shake his head and wave them off with a sigh. From inside the room, the voices of Kang-suk and Sang-hyun echoed, "This will be over in a jiffy." "Okay." Ju-hyuk walked over to the room and stood behind Kang-suk. "Thank you for helping me, Mr. Kang-suk." Kang-suk warmly replied, "It's no problem at all." Then hesitating slightly, he added, "Actually." But before he could finish, the screen suddenly flashed with biometric scan initiated. Loading. Kang-suk quickly operated the screen and continued, "As for your friend, if possible, I wanted to stop him. I've seen so many people just like him before. They get tempted after watching pro gamers and streamers. It's quite expensive, yet so many people think they can just show off their talent through gaming. But in reality, it rarely works out that way." Ju-hyuk asked skeptically, "Even with a full dive system, games and reality are already quite different. But is the gap really that huge?" Without hesitation, Kang-suk replied immediately, "Of course, after all, you have to use your actual physical abilities." Then staring intently at Sang-hyun's physical profile, he evaluated, since there are no physical limits in the game. It can make people lose their grip on reality. In the end, it really affects your mental health. As for your friend, you said his company was struggling, so they laid him off, right? He'll probably give up after just one test run. When that happens, make sure to comfort him." Ju-hyuk fell silent upon hearing this, thinking to himself, "This is for the best. It's much better than letting Sang-hyun gamble his entire life savings on a capsule." After getting the biometric data, Kang-suk started guiding Sang-hyun. "The game you're going to play is called Real Olympics. Since you used to do archery, I'll set it up accordingly. Just let me know your score and we can decide what to do next. I'm closing the capsule now. Once the capsule closed, the synchronization process began. Sang-hyun slowly started to feel it, thinking, "This is a really fascinating feeling. My body is physically here. But my mind feels like it has traveled somewhere else." When Sang-hyun snapped out of it and opened his eyes, he found himself in a completely different world. Sang-hyun's face was filled with utter shock, unable to believe what was right in front of him. He looked down at the bow in his hand, then raised his other hand to get a feel of his surroundings. A voice rang out. It was the announcer's introduction. Competitor Yoo Sang-hyun has stepped onto the shooting range with his bow. Competitor Yoo Sang-hyun has shown natural talent since childhood. Sang-hyun began to feel nervous as the crowd cheered. He thought to himself, "This is unbelievable. It feels way too real. It really feels like the actual Olympics." The announcer's command immediately rang out, "First shot." Suddenly, Sang-hyun recalled Joo-hyuk's words, "Do you remember when you gave up archery?" And how it felt. Subconsciously, Sang-hyun's hands started to tremble. Anxious, he thought, "Can I actually do this? My hands! They're shaking!" Suddenly, Sang-hyun lowered his bow, a dazed look on his face. Watching from the outside, Joo-hyuk wondered, why isn't he shooting? Kang-seok was watching closely too. He remarked, maybe he's just nervous. Most players are like that, hearing Kang-seok's words. Joo-hyuk couldn't help but think about the past. He used to be so calm under pressure no matter what. So why is he so nervous now? Meanwhile, back with Sang-hyun, he raised the bow, trying to calm his breathing. He slowly felt the tension of the string. It was so different. Holding the bow tight didn't feel real at all. All right, my hands have stopped shaking. He thought to himself, this isn't real anyway. Sang-hyun drew the string back with all his might and released. The arrow soared straight toward the target, piercing the dead center. The crowd instantly erupted. "It's a 10! Outside the booth, Kang-seok and Joo-hyuk. Watching the screen, they both shouted in unison, "A 10! Just then, the commentator's voice boomed over the speakers. Player Yoo Sang-hyun has drawn his bow incredibly fast, and it's a 10. Before the commentator could even finish, Sang-hyun fired again, hitting the bullseye once more. Another 10. With a razor-sharp gaze fixed straight ahead, he released the string, another 10. Witnessing this incredible display, the commentator couldn't contain his excitement and shouted, "Every single one of his shots is a 10. Outside, Joo-hyuk and Kang-seok stared with their mouths wide open in pure disbelief. What the hell? This is archery, right? After witnessing this unbelievable sight, Joo-hyuk turned to him skeptically. Bro, didn't you say playing in here is completely different from reality? Still in deep shock, Kang-seok replied, "It is. I thought he just adapted quickly, but..." Suddenly, Kang-seok stared intensely at Sang-hyun. Wait a second. I don't think that's the only thing. He seems different somehow. Full of curiosity, he turned to Joo-hyuk. Who exactly is this friend of yours? Before Joo-hyuk could even answer, the system's voice chimed in. You have completed the game. Slowly, Sang-hyun began to return to reality. Kang-seok and Joo-hyuk stood in front of the capsule, speaking excitedly. Man, that was insane! You're incredible! It would be such a waste if he only bought second-hand gear like this. What do you think? Awesome job. Sang-hyun. Seeing that Sang-hyun wasn't responding, the two of them asked with concern, Hey, what's wrong? Are you okay? Do you have motion sickness? Why do you look so exhausted? Sang-hyun hesitantly raised his trembling hand to gently massage his temples. Seeing him like this, Joo-hyuk's face grew pale as he asked anxiously, Sang-hyun, are you okay? Meanwhile, Kang-seok kept pressing for answers. Seriously, what is his real identity? Only then did Joo-hyuk decide to reveal the truth. He was the youngest gold medalist. Dumbfounded, Kang-seok repeated, The youngest? Joo-hyuk nodded. Yeah. Honestly, he might have been the best archer in the entire world. As he spoke, painful memories flooded back into Joo-hyuk's mind. With a heavy heart, he continued, until he got into that accident. Hearing this, Kang-seok asked gently, So, that's why you really wanted to do something to help him? Choking back tears, Joo-hyuk replied, Yes, he truly loved archery. After sharing the story, Joo-hyuk turned to Sang-hyun and asked softly, Do you even remember the last time you shot an arrow? Do you remember when it was a, You don't do you? But how could Sang-hyun ever forget? He immediately replied, How could I possibly forget? It feels like it just happened yesterday. The sudden accident, the cold, indifferent face of the doctor, and the dream he had to abandon. Sang-hyun relived the most agonizing memories of his life. Ju-hyuk stepped closer and gently called out, "Sang-hyun." Sang-hyun kept his head low, stopping him. "Don't come over here, damn it!" He wiped away the tears pooling in his eyes and muttered, "This is so embarrassing." Standing nearby, Ju-hyuk's lips twitched slightly as he watched Sang-hyun closely. In the end, Sang-hyun decided to buy the gaming capsule and bring it home. The system's chime rang out announcing, "Capsule connection complete. Pre-installed programs are ready." Right in front of Sang-hyun's eyes, countless screens flickered to life. Astonished, he murmured, "Oh, it's starting." Inside the capsule at that moment, Sang-hyun cheered with immense excitement. "It looks like I can finally start streaming today. This is going to be a real challenge," he thought to himself. Fortunately, Kang-suk helped me get a great bargain. I just hope the shop owner didn't take too much of a loss on this. With that thought, Sang-hyun immediately got to work. All right, let's start the stream. The screen instantly displayed, "Ready to broadcast. Category settings." By then, he had already decided on his game. I've already chosen the game I'm going to play. It's a game set in the medieval era focusing on the life of a mercenary. It's filled with intense, realistic battles. It might not be a widely popular game, but it has its own dedicated fan base thanks to its unique charm. Usually, popular games have plenty of streamers playing them, so Kingdom S is only moderately well known. Because of its high difficulty, not many streamers choose to play it, making this a great choice for a rookie. After a few setup steps, while his game is loading, a notification pops up, "Character customization complete, entering the game in 5 seconds." Sang-hyun looks at the screen with absolute astonishment. Suddenly, a flash of light bursts out, followed by a harsh shout. "Hey! Wake up, you idiot!" Sang-hyun opens his eyes in a daze. He is lying in a completely twisted position. Looking around, he slowly sits up, utterly confused. "Where am I?" "Inside a carriage." He looks outside. It is complete chaos out there with the sounds of brutal fighting echoing everywhere. Sang-hyun has a bewildered look on his face. Are we right in the middle of a battle? Before he can even gather his thoughts, another shout rings out. "Still slacking off, you worthless insect! Do you want another beating to wake you up?" The man points his sword at Sang-hyun, his face full of rage. That is Roman, the mercenary captain. Sang-hyun slowly steps down and says hesitantly, "I'm sorry." He thinks to himself, "So he's the one who beat me. Man, that hurts." Roman growls at Sang-hyun, "You useless piece of garbage, bandits are attacking, grab a weapon." Right after that, the screen freezes and a notification window pops up again. "Choose your weapon." Sang-hyun looks closely. Oh, it paused. So now is the time to choose. Let's see. Spear sword. He scrolls but can't find what he wants, so he wonders, why isn't there a bow that should be an option, right? Suddenly a comment pops up in the chat. An archery challenge. Sang-hyun is completely bewildered. Wait, when did these viewers even join? 5 people. Looks like I chose the right game. He reads the comments and wonders, an archery challenge is using a bow that bad. If it were actually good, they wouldn't call it a challenge. Is this your first time playing? One of the viewers explains to him, bows can hit allies' arrows, bounce off armor, and you have to manage your arrow count. It's going to be pretty tough for you. Hearing this, Sang-hyun says in awe, so that's how it works. Thanks for letting me know. The comments keep pouring in. Is he really a newbie? Look at his ID state Admiral. June is amazing. Suddenly, a helpful comment pops up. If you're a beginner, a sword is definitely your best bet. Sang-hyun quickly makes his decision. I'll go with the bow. The system pops up. You have chosen the bow. Seeing Sang-hyun's choice, they get triggered and start furiously smashing their keyboards. This newbie is such a cute puppy. He's triggering us with pure talent. I can smell the capsaicin right through my screen. Capsaicin is extracted from chili peppers. That's why rookie streamers are always the most fun to watch. Looking at those comments, he thinks to himself, they seem really welcoming to newbies. Still, I already chose the bow. But where is it? Right then, a bow falls from the sky and lands perfectly in Sang-hyun's hands. The system announces, you have received a bow. You have received 20 arrows. The viewers seeing this burst out laughing in amusement. And so the newbie's journey begins. You just killed him. This always happens when someone picks a bow. Right at that moment, Roman drags Sang-hyun back to reality. Hey, rookie, snap out of it, you bastard. Pick it up and attack. Viewers chime in, he's so stupid. Stop picking on the newbie. Man, that guy is harsh. Even if you are awake, you couldn't hit a single soul anyway. As soon as Roman finishes his sentence, the viewers try to comfort Sang-hyun. Newbie, don't listen to him. It's been a while, but Roman is as toxic as ever, huh? He raises the bow, his eyes full of determination as he aims straight ahead. The arrow pierces straight into the enemy's head. Seeing this, the viewers are completely astonished. It hit a headshot. That was pure luck. Sang-hyun rests his chin on his hand, thinking, the feeling is kind of like the actual Olympics. It is a bit different from traditional archery, like a mix between traditional and modern bows. Sang-hyun asks the viewers, do arrows always kill in one shot like this? A viewer named Ruby Squad explains, no, they only die if you hit a vital spot. This game is pretty realistic, so it simulates actual organ locations. It has a headshot mechanic. So if you hit the head, it's usually an instant kill. The mechanic makes it so aiming for the head takes them down immediately. Drawing his bow, he speaks confidently. All right. Thanks for the explanation, Ruby Squad. I'll take them down one shot at a time. A few people comment, this newbie is way too confident, it's so cute. Seeing this, Sang-hyun thinks, they don't believe me. Well, I'll just have to let the results speak for themselves. And this is sportsmanship. There are about 20 bandits and I have 20 arrows. I need to hit every single one of them accurately. This will be quick. Let's keep going. Sang-hyun takes down the bandits one by one. Hiding behind a fence to observe, he thinks, unlike fixed targets during practice, the enemies can move. I might miss them, but it is actually easier than I thought. Next, there is only the boss over there. Sang-hyun analyzes the situation. A shield that makes things tricky. Should I just shoot anyway? But if I do that, the arrow might just bounce off. Luckily, right at that moment, Roman steps forward to attack him. Sang-hyun saw his opening. He raised his bow, drew it back with all his might, and let loose. The arrow flew straight toward the enemy, burying itself right in his temple. Sang-hyun lowered his bow and carefully scanned his surroundings. It looked like there weren't any bandits left. Was that shield bearer from earlier the last one? Only then did he open the chat. Wait, what? No one was typing anymore. Maybe archery alone wasn't exciting enough, but then the chat suddenly exploded with comments. WTF. What was that headshot after headshot? Is this game glitched? I think I need to go grab some lunch now. This has to be staged. There's no way this newbie is normal. How did you even make a new account? What on earth? He just dominated the whole field with a single bow. That was amazing, but did you seriously just kill the boss? Reading the viewer's question, Sang-hyun wondered, wait, am I not supposed to kill the boss? The viewer replied, it's not that you can't. It's just that they don't usually die like that. But didn't you say everyone dies with a single headshot? Well, yeah, but bosses don't usually get hit in the head, you know. But I hit him, didn't I? That's exactly the point. How on earth did you pull off that shot? Sang-hyun was completely dazed, wondering to himself, did I really do that? The guy continued, the boss has a shield and moves incredibly fast, so he dodges everything. Unless your arrow was at maximum power. Maximum power as in pulling the bowstring all the way back. You mean drawing the string all the way back? That's not even hard. The other guy watched in utter disbelief and replied, but doing that isn't easy at all. Wait, do you always draw your bow to the absolute limit? Shifting back to the game world, Roman walked over to him. Hey, rookie, that final arrow. Did you really shoot that? After that stream, Sang-hyun's viewers reposted the clip of him taking down the boss. A post on the forum feed popped up. I watched a really bizarre stream today. A new Kingdoms player. He's a newbie but incredibly skilled with a bow. To think Roman would make a face like that. People who were intrigued by the title clicked on the video. The opening scenes showed his incredible shots, followed by Sang-hyun taking down the enemies, and finally the captain patting the rookie on the shoulder and praising him. You're actually really good. I've never seen anyone shoot a bow as well as you. Because of this, the comment section grew rapidly. Roman looks like he's melting with happiness. Does Roman really have lines like this? This is the first time I've ever seen this guy say that. Is it really the first time you're actually really good? This is definitely the first time I'm hearing that line. He doesn't really seem like a newbie. I don't recognize him at all. His username is at the end of the video. Curious someone skipped to the end of the video. Roman's voice could be heard asking, what is your name? I truly wish to know so I may report back to the commander. Sang-hyun replied with a bright smile. My name is Almond. On Google's search bar, everyone was frantically searching Almond. Kingdom's Almond Right. Streamer Almond, I'll remember that name. The community for Kingdom S was just as stagnant as the game itself. Even though most players were die-hard combat fans, people still wondered, are there seriously still people playing this game? Countless posts and thousands of comments popped up. Is this Tier 23 gear any good? The lack of exciting moments and interactions had left the community completely stagnant. Conversations about the exact same topics kept repeating constantly until a post appeared and changed everything. A complete newbie got praised by Roman. Some random dummy got praised by Roman post number 153. Go watch this video, it's real. Here is the information about his capsule below. Roman genuinely praised and highly rated him. And besides, who on earth kills a boss and then just logs off immediately like that? Below the post, the comment section was filled with reactions. What is this? At first I thought it was just clickbait, you know, those sensational titles designed to lure you in, only to disappoint you with worthless content. But did Roman seriously praise him? Am I dreaming or what? His account was literally just created yesterday. Creation date, October 22nd, 2020X. This is a total scam, definitely some newbie clickbait. Did you even watch it before judging like that? Below that were endless comments about Sang-hyun. Maybe it's some pro doing an archery challenge. Isn't this just an alt account? An alt, but the capsule only has one registered ID. It's definitely an alt account. They just created a new character body. What's so hard about that? Yeah, exactly. Sure, just reprogram all your fingerprints and change your irises. Does that sound simple to you? It seemed people still couldn't bring themselves to believe it. They couldn't believe Sang-hyun's performance. The author of the post immediately chimed in, "I'm the one who posted this, and the guy in the video is definitely a newbie. His channel name was just auto-generated." Reading the comments, Sang-hyun couldn't believe it either. "What, I never expected things to blow up like this." Comments wondering about him keep rolling in. "Wait, this streamer doesn't even have a name yet. Looks like a total newbie." Okay, this title was definitely auto-generated. Sang-hyun thought to himself, "If people share the link, that'd be awesome. It'd help get my name out there." But as he was scrolling through the comments to see what everyone was saying, one particular comment caught his eye. It immediately grabbed his attention. "Isn't a bow-only boss challenge supposed to be too hard even for a former pro like Electron? That's definitely Electron, a legendary name, at the very top of the rankings for high-skill streamers. Rumor has it he's a former professional gamer, a legendary pro, and a streamer with god-tier skills. Electromagnetic." Curious Sang-hyun clicked on the comment thread. A few players had replied, "A bow-only boss kill even Electron couldn't pull that off. How could some newbie who literally just made their account yesterday pull off something like that? Electron doesn't even play this game anymore. He's way too good for a game like this. No way, that's total BS. A bow-only boss kill is just way too hard." Sang-hyun sat frozen in front of his screen. Wait, am I really being compared to Electron right now? He was absolutely dumbfounded. He had only been streaming for a single day, and yet here he was being compared to one of the biggest names in the entire industry. Watching the comments flood the screen, Sang-hyun couldn't believe his eyes. No way! This can't be real. If they keep comparing him to Electron, the poor guy might quit from all the pressure. Comparing a total amateur to a world-class player is just brutal. Was this really happening? Right in the middle of his excitement, his phone started buzzing. Kim Joo-hyuk. What could he want at this hour? Sang-hyun picked up. "Hello, Joo-hyuk?" On the other end, Joo-hyuk said cheerfully, "Your stream last night went pretty well, didn't it?" Proud of himself, Sang-hyun replied. "Yeah, thanks." Joo-hyuk continued. "That's great to hear. Is the gaming capsule working okay?" The boss was actually a little worried about it. Without hesitation, Sang-hyun replied, "No issues at all, it works perfectly." "Did you get a lot of viewers?" Joo-hyuk asked. Suddenly, a maid in Joo-hyuk's house said, "Enjoy your meal, Mr. Kim." Hearing Joo-hyuk's question, Sang-hyun casually replied, "Well, there were about 20 people watching me play." Joo-hyuk, acting as if he'd fully expected that low number, went, "Oh," and repeated, 20 people. But not even 2 minutes later, he suddenly jumped up from his seat and yelled, 20 people! Everyone around him stopped and stared in utter confusion. Intrigued, he quickly asked, "Sang-hyun, what on earth did you do on your very first stream to get that many viewers?" Sang-hyun didn't really know either, so he just shrugged it off. "I don't know, I guess I just picked a game that plays to my strengths." "You're so talented, why did you ever bother working as a regular office employee? If someone offered you a job, even though you had zero experience, wouldn't you take it?" "Well, obviously I would." After chatting for a bit, Sang-hyun told him, "Anyway, I've got to run. I need to get ready to stream." Sensing something unusual, Joo-hyuk asked, "Get ready, don't you usually stream after dinner?" Sang-hyun casually replied, "What do you mean lunch or dinner? This is my job now." Joo-hyuk paused for a second, then chuckled in surprise. "Well, look at you. Back when we were at the office, you'd never work during lunch." But as they were talking, a loud, familiar voice boomed from Ju-hyuk's end. "Assistant Kim, how can you sit there and eat at a time like this?" Ju-hyuk hurriedly said. "Hey, I've got to go. Something came up." The shouting continued in the background. "Are you even listening to me?" "I'm hanging up now," he said in a rush, quickly cutting the call. On his end, Sang-hyun calmly sipped his drink. He sighed softly and muttered to himself, "Yep, Manager Park hasn't changed a bit." Just then, Sang-hyun walked back to the capsule and hit the power button. Placing a hand on his stomach, he thought, "I really need to eat properly to keep my energy up, but eating takes up so much time. I want to get started as soon as possible. Ever since I stumbled upon that community, my heart is still racing. The pressure of being compared, the thrill of being judged. How long has it been since I last felt like this? I never expected to feel so alive just from people's attention and criticism. I guess deep down I'm still a true athlete at heart." The system screen flashed as he logged in, and instantly a flood of excited comments popped up. "He's live. Whoa, what, don't you usually stream at night? I got so lucky." I clicked the notification the second it popped up. "This is awesome." Noticing the comments scrolling by much faster than usual, Sang-hyun wondered, "Is it just me, or is the chat moving way faster than yesterday? Just how many people are watching right now?" He glanced up at the viewer count and froze in shock. 180 viewers. His audience had grown 9 times larger in just a single day. I had no idea I'd make such a splash. Like this in that little community. I've never been in a situation like this before. I'm actually a little nervous. But whenever I feel this way, I like to pretend that this isn't real life, but just a game played from a third-person perspective. Distancing myself from reality like that always makes my anxiety vanish almost like magic. All right, let's pick up where we left off yesterday. The scene shifts to Ju-hyuk, who is sitting at his desk sighing deeply. People say even heaven spares you during mealtime, but he can't stop thinking about what Manager Park just said. It's not that big of a deal. All right, just keep eating. Frustrated, Ju-hyuk curses Manager Park under his breath. "That bastard!" With that, he takes a sip of his coffee, trying to calm himself down. "Get a grip, calm down." Ju-hyuk picks up his phone and sees a message from Sang-hyun. "Thanks for your help, I'll buy you a drink next time." Seeing this, he quickly takes a screenshot. Screenshotted. Seeing Sang-hyun working so hard, he feels warm inside. "It's so good to see you working so hard. You've always been such a hard worker." Suddenly, Ju-hyuk stops dead in his tracks as if remembering something. "Oh, right, I called Sang-hyun because I had something important to tell him, but it completely slipped my mind." Ju-hyuk desperately tries to remember. "It was really important. Remember to tell your friend. I don't get it at all." "Ah, right. Was it about the capsule?" While Ju-hyuk is struggling to piece it together, a voice calls out from behind him. "Assistant Manager Kim, there's a meeting in conference room 3. He quickly replies, "Yes, I'll be right there." Ju-hyuk rubs his head, struggling to remember. What was I supposed to say again? Body optimization, or something like that. Sang-hyun thinks back to last night. "Before going to sleep last night, I searched online, mostly looking up how popular streamers manage their viewers. I looked into past controversies and some of the major taboos. For example, mentioning your viewer count can kill the audience's engagement, or fueling rivalries with other streamers. At least that's what the articles said. Don't let your audience feel like you're just some distant streamer. Keep the stream cozy like they're just watching a friend play a game." Right after reading those tips, Sang-hyun immediately started putting them into practice during his live stream. He says, "Shout out to yesterday's viewers, Ruby Squad, Agalang, Mr. Dami, and everyone else who returned today. Thank you all." The viewers who were mentioned immediately got excited and greeted him back. "Ruby Squad, you actually remembered our names? Orkun, I'm supporting you every day. Wait, it's only his second stream and he already has dedicated fans like Orkun. Is this guy some kind of genius streamer?" Seeing them hype him up like that makes Sang-hyun a bit embarrassed. "Well, calling me a genius is a bit much." Sang-hyun quickly shakes it off. "All right, let's jump right into the game." A beam of light flashes as the full dive initializes. Sang-hyun narrows his eyes, and the next thing he knows, he's sitting on horseback. He wonders, does the game seriously start right on a horse? Sang-hyun starts analyzing everything for his viewers. "All right, I'm ready to show you some of my expertise. Since I played a bit longer yesterday, the march has already begun. I heard Roman say he'd introduce me to the mercenary captain, and now I already have a new quest. But first, we have to start with this tedious task." While Sang-hyun is speaking, comments start rolling in. Mercenary captain. A legit mercenary group. The captain himself, that's so cool. Sang-hyun gets right to work. "I should give the viewers a quick rundown. This quest isn't anything special. Honestly, I thought mercenaries were all about fighting. but it seems like we're just acting as escorts. A viewer immediately comments, "Wow, this game is so realistic. Aside from a few skilled guys, low-grade mercenaries are basically just weak escorts." Meanwhile, Sang-hyun starts noticing how unusually immersive the game feels. "Man, this game is so realistic. It literally feels like I'm riding a real horse." Suddenly, Roman asks, "Is this your first time on a horse?" Turning to face the old man, Sang-hyun replies, "Not really, but I rarely get the chance to ride one." In his head, Sang-hyun wonders, is this a scripted dialogue? I just blurted that out so naturally. Roman continues, "If that's the case, you'd better get used to that horse quickly. Learn fast, you useless brat. We've still got a long ride ahead of us." He says this with a warm smile on his face. It was just a simple gesture, but it absolutely blows the viewers' minds. A flood of comments starts lighting up the chat. Wait, did he just smile? This is literally the first time I've seen Roman act so nice. That has got to be a fake Roman. What did you do to my Roman Allen? Reading those comments, he instantly panics. Wait, what do you even mean by that? Suddenly, a viewer asks, what kind of quest is this? Is it like those starter quests? Another viewer chimes in skeptically. Wait, isn't this the area where bandits usually spawn? Looks like they're about to show up. Reading this, Sang-hyun gasps, bandits! Suddenly, the atmosphere around them grows chaotic, catching him completely off guard. Everyone screams in unison, bandits! It's the bandits! Roman barks out an order, mercenaries attack. A fierce-looking bandit charges forward, quickly cutting down several of Roman's men. Roman shouts in a panic, the front line has been breached, protect everyone, hurry, cover the rear. Right as everyone falls into deep peril, Sang! Hyun, completely dazed, says, they're actually here. We're in big trouble. Seeing this, the viewers get excited, commenting, is that Barack? Is the first quest seriously fighting off horse bandits? How many quests did you skip to get here? Looking at those comments, Sang-hyun thinks to himself, these guys are pretty generous. The chat keeps flying by, finally pulling out the bow. This video's about to get good again. The Legend of Archery. How to shoot a bow in a virtual battle. Seeing them talk like that, Sang-hyun thinks, are these guys doubting me? Are they hoping I fail? In the sports world, this kind of attitude is totally normal. I'm used to it. It's easy to shut them up. Just let the results prove my skills. Sang-hyun speaks up. They're moving way too fast, about 50 bandits. He draws his bow while assessing the situation. They didn't even set up an ambush. Why is this mercenary squad still losing? The viewers agree with him. Spamming so true, exactly. With eyes full of determination, Sang-hyun says, first let's deal with the one right in front. As soon as he speaks, an arrow flies straight out. It pierces right through the leader's head, killing him before he even realizes what hit him. His underlings fall to their knees, crying out, how is this possible, Chief? The viewers are absolutely stunned, asking, wait, what just happened? It's too far, I didn't see a thing, no way. Burn is dead, that's insane, no way. I didn't see a single thing, he got shot once and just died. What on earth did I just witness? Sang-hyun looks puzzled and responds to the viewers, what's wrong with everyone? In the chat, the viewer count has spiked to 213. Other comments pop up, you literally just one-shot the boss and now you're asking us what's wrong. Laughs. So the video was actually real. Theoretically, you could pull this off by maximizing range and power, then landing a headshot. Meanwhile, Hyun was only thinking, I only shot him first because he was leading the pack, but I guess he was the bandit chief. The chat is flying by. Who said this was fake? Step forward. This is actually legit. Feeling happy, he says, everyone is so hyped, I'm honored. Not wanting to keep them waiting, Sang-hyun draws his bow again. All right, next target. The battle isn't over yet. I'd love to walk away from this battle as the winner. Next target? One after another, before long, he has completely wiped out the bandits. The chat is flooded with praise. That was so cool, and here I thought the video was fake, but now we're literally watching it happen live. The remaining bandits turn pale, screaming to one another. No way, retreat. Fall back. One of the viewers jokes, honestly, who's the real villain here, Sang-hyun's? Sharp eyes lock onto the remaining bandits. I'm not letting any of you escape. Sorry about that. The viewers get super hyped, cheering, let's go! Right after he speaks, an arrow instantly pierces a bandit's head. The chat goes wild, and he's down. Awesome. This is so intense I can barely breathe. Suddenly, a viewer notices something off. Wait, his posture looks different now. Back in the game, Roman shouts, the enemy is fleeing, hunt them down. A system notification rings out. Quest updated. Quest pursue and eliminate the bandits. Sang. Hyun's eyes widen in surprise. The quest updated. Let's hurry up, give chase, and wrap this up. On an online forum, posts about Sang-hyun are taking over the spotlight. Is this for real? On his second day, a newbie unlocked the bandit extermination quest. Someone reading it gasps in shock. What? A bandit extermination quest? Is there actually a way to instantly take out those bandits? No clue, I've never heard of anything like that. Let's stop and see if anyone is talking about me. A young guy browsing the forum looks confused when he sees a name trending on the front page. Almond. Who on earth is Almond? Does he use a bow? On his screen, a title pops up. Streaming right now. Come check it out. Seeing this, he muses. Looks like some kind of archery challenge. Honestly, I'm curious what kind of clueless streamer would choose such an unpopular playstyle. Let's see if he's actually got any skills. The man who just spoke was none other than J-Muck, better known to everyone as the game streamer Acorn Jelly. He says with excitement, maybe he's just like me. But after watching the video, his expression completely changes into utter shock. What is this? All those bandits were taken down with just a single arrow to the head. A normal headshot shouldn't be enough to kill someone instantly, but on the contrary, they died right away without even having time to react. This has to be a perfect shot. J-Mook couldn't sit still, shocked to his core. That's a perfect shot in Kingdom Age if an opponent's vital point is struck. They will die instantly, but this only applies to opponents of a certain level. In other words, if the enemy is a boss-level monster, you can't kill them instantly, even if you hit their weak spot. That's what everyone says, but actually this game has a hidden mechanic. The only skill that can bypass defense, and is even more precise than a headshot known as a perfect shot. But most players don't even know that the perfect shot exists. Stop joking around, is that for real? Prove it. Even among veteran players, opinions are divided on whether it actually exists, because no one has ever pulled it off. Ryomuk looked gloomy but pretended not to care. Well, life goes on anyway. Believe whatever you want. He was so shocked that he slumped down. How can anyone satisfy those insane trigger conditions? You have to land your first strike within 1.5 seconds of drawing hit the dead center of the target's vital spot, and that's supposed to be normal. Moreover, this streamer didn't just pull it off once, but it seems like every single one of his attacks is a perfect shot. Moments later, Ryomuk rested his chin on his hand and leaned back in deep thought. Is this guy hacking? Not only that, unless he's an idiot, why would he even do that in a dead game like this? Does he only play Kingdom Age? What on earth is he doing? Is he an Olympic gold medalist or something? Ryomuk was even more shocked to learn the truth. He's a newbie. Back to Sang-hyun. He was on horseback chasing the bandits. Roman shouted, "Chase him, quick, catch him, and kill him." Riding alongside him, Roman spoke up. "Hey, Almond, are you planning to shoot while riding? I think a spear or a mace would be much easier to attack with." The viewers agreed with Roman. Yeah, shooting while riding is insanely hard. I don't think it's easy at all. Sang-hyun appreciated his good intentions. He's right, but I prefer using my bow. Then he replied to Roman, "I'll be fine, you know how it is." Roman nodded. Understood. Roman smiled warmly. "If it's you, I'm sure you can pull it off." The viewers went wild, spamming the chat. "Oh my god, the favoritism is real. I feel like I just watched a girl spit in my face only to turn around and smile brightly at the popular guy. What a crazy comparison, lol. Meanwhile, Sang-hyun reached for an arrow while riding. He thought to himself, I've never ridden a horse before, and this is my first time. Trying to hit a moving target, but I know I can do it. Yes, no matter how many times I try to picture it. And my hand still shakes, but I can't just give up because of that. Right after that thought, Sang-hyun fired an arrow that pierced the neck of the fleeing bandit ahead. The chat exploded. "This is insane, a horse archer!" Horse. Is he a Joseon horse archer? Sang-hyun analyzed his previous shot. I aimed for his head, but it hit his neck. This won't do. I need to adjust my body movements to the horse's rhythm faster and sharper. An arrow zipped through the wind, landing a perfectly accurate shot right into the next bandit's head. The poor guy. That headshot was insane. It feels like he's even stronger than before. While the chat was buzzing, Sang-hyun quickly drew his bow to target the next one. 1 down, 2 down. Eventually, the entire gang of bandits was wiped out by Sang-hyun. Roman couldn't help but look at him in awe. I never imagined so many enemies, could be taken down so quickly. Incredible. You really are a genius archer. In all my life, I've never seen anyone with archery skills like that. He's the reincarnation of Robin Hood. We're so lucky to have him in our mercenary group. In the chat, comments were rolling in nonstop. Are these guys for real? This is the first time I've seen them like someone this much LOL. If my teammates were like this, it would just annoy me. He read the comments and smiled happily. He's so good. This is amazing. Why would someone so talented play Kingdom Age? Why is he even interested in this niche game? Then a notification popped up surprising Sang-hyun. Acorn Jelly donated 100,000 won. Every single shot was a perfect shot. Is this for real? An in-game notification popped up. You have successfully defeated the devil. A nobleman approached him and said, Almond, I will certainly remember your name after this. The man kept talking on and on, but Sang-hyun didn't seem to care much. He was only focused on the notification that had just popped up, the donation message. Wow, this is the first time I've ever received a donation. Acorn Jelly has donated 100,000 won. The other viewers were completely shocked too, reacting with, wait, why are you here? Is it really you? Are you really Acorn Jelly? This is insane. To think he actually turned on the stream to watch this newbie. Sang-hyun was highly skeptical. Judging by the viewers' reactions, this guy seemed incredibly famous. But if so, why would he tune into a stream with only 200 viewers? Seeing the donation, Sang-hyun just stood there frozen. The curious viewers started asking, hey, why aren't you reacting? Others chimed in, he's probably in shock from getting 100,000 won. Come on, give us a reaction already. Only then did Sang-hyun clumsily react, asking, what? What should I do? The viewers guided him, saying, just do a reaction like when you shoot your bow. Do your shooting reaction. A light bulb finally went off in Sang-hyun's head. He thought, a reaction like when I shoot. Well then, I'll just do exactly that. A crazy idea popped onto his head. He drew his bow aiming straight up at 90 degrees, adjusted his alignment, and said, all right, I'll show you my reaction right now. With that, the arrow shot straight up into the sky. The viewers watched in utter confusion while Sang-hyun calmly stared up in the direction of the arrow and muttered, all right. The chat instantly went wild. Wait, is that his donation reaction? At least explain what you're doing before you shoot. This is driving me crazy. He literally just shot an arrow into thin air. Then he turned to the viewers and said, it disappeared. But a split second later, the arrow he had just shot into the sky came plunging straight back down, right onto his own head. What a mind-boggling debut reaction that left everyone utterly speechless. The game over screen popped up. In the chat, the viewers were absolutely losing it, cracking up. The shock of that self-inflicted headshot is killing me. I'm laughing like a maniac. Oh my god, he literally died for 100,000 won sang. Hyun sat there looking at the viewers' reactions, thinking to himself, back when I was a pro player, I used to play like this. Thankfully, everyone's reaction was really positive after that. Suddenly, his gaming capsule disconnected and he was ejected from the chamber. What's going on? Was the capsule forced open? Well, whatever. I did just get a game over anyway. Drenched in sweat, he opened the capsule door and grumbled, is it because this capsule is such an old model? Or maybe not. Plus, it doesn't even have a cooling system. Holding his phone in his hand, Sang-hyun wondered how his live stream was doing. Fortunately, people were still chatting away. Wait, did the stream just end? What just happened? Did the stream really just cut off like that? What was up with that reaction? Is technology actually this advanced nowadays? Sang-hyun posted a comment, I got kicked out of the game because my capsule is too old. Seeing this, the viewers expressed their disappointment, saying, wait, you got disconnected. Please come back. You're an absolute legend. Staring at the screen, Sang-hyun thought, their reaction is even better than I expected. One viewer left a compliment. You've got real talent. Completely dazed, he muttered to himself, talent. Maybe for a streamer, this isn't a bad thing. After all, even on variety shows, I always loved it when unexpected accidents like this happened. Is this a perfect moment for a one-shot? I got really lucky. That's perfect. No, I actually did that on purpose, adjusting the arrow's speed to hit the target. All right, that's it for today's stream. In the chat, comments kept flying by. Wait, did he just end the stream out of nowhere? This is hilarious. He's literally the only Archer streamer to get killed by his own arrow. He's built different, seriously. How does he just end the stream right after getting a 100,000 won donation? When is Almond streaming again? I've already turned on notifications for Almond's channel. Does he have a streaming schedule? I haven't seen one yet. Ending it with a one-shot megapixel 4 like that. I'm speechless. He's absolutely insane. So funny. Sang-hyun walked out of the bathroom, his eyes glued to his phone. A few text messages popped up. Dude, you're blowing up right now. Be careful or you're gonna get banned. But wait, why are you worrying about a stream with only 200 viewers anyway? He just got a donation from Acorn Jelly. Sang-hyun was now absolutely certain of his initial suspicion. Just as I thought, he really is famous. Sang-hyun thought, burning with curiosity. Should I check it out? I should search for acorn jelly and see what comes up. Sang-hyun was quite amazed when he found out the truth. Wow, he's really amazing. I wasn't that interested in the archery challenge, but are his other videos this good too? Why would such a talented streamer watch my live stream? While he was wondering, a message arrived. Hello, Almond. I'm Acorn Jelly. Sang-hyun stared at the profile and the message in front of him, thinking to himself that Acorn Jelly wasn't just a master in Kingdom S, but also a multi-talented game streamer. Becoming successful, like him, is one of my goals. This would also be highly beneficial commercially. But how should I reply? Hello, Almond. This is Acorn Jelly. I've been active in Kingdom S lately, and I find your playstyle quite intriguing. Would you be interested in collaborating? We could share in-game tips, or maybe make monster hunting videos together. I really hope you'll agree. Sang-hyun was absolutely shocked. A collaboration proposal. He quietly thought about the message Hemuk had just sent him. Don't feel pressured at all. Just reach out if you have any questions. His fingers absent-mindedly tapped on the desk. Why would I feel pressured? Acorn Jelly is a multi-talented streamer and my role model. It would be amazing if I could collaborate with him. But if I accept this proposal, people might think I'm just riding on his coattails. It's so tough. I have no one to ask for advice. While he was agonizing over it, Joo-hyuk called. He spoke up. Hey, hello? I just found your channel. You're Almond, right? Sang-hyun replied with a straight face. Yeah, that's right. Joo-hyuk curiously asked, Great, hey, how's their reaction? Is it positive? He calmly replied. Yeah, I guess so. Hearing this, Joo-hyuk pressed, What do you mean, I guess so? Why are you replying so indifferently? Sang-hyun shot back nonchalantly. Joo-hyuk, I'm an archer, so I always have to stay calm. Besides, I've been called a genius since I was a kid, so it's really nothing to be surprised about. Hyuk on the other end was so frustrated by his smugness that he crushed the can of soda in his hand. This guy is completely hopeless. Seeing that, Sang-hyun followed up. By the way, did you call me just to ask about that? Joo-hyuk hesitated before replying. No, actually I quit my job. Hearing this, Sang-hyun's face fell. What? Why did you suddenly quit? Joo-hyuk replied without hesitation. I had a conflict with Manager Park. That guy is such a scumbag, I almost threw an ashtray at him. Sang-hyun cut Joo-hyuk off. Wait, does that mean... Is the elite Kim Joo-hyuk unemployed now? At that, Sang-hyun hesitated. Joo-hyuk began venting to him again. You have no idea I had to put up with him all this time. He's seriously an indescribable bastard. Suddenly a thought flashed through Sang-hyun's mind. Should I ask him to be my manager? No, I shouldn't. I don't even know if I can afford to pay him. Before Sang-hyun could say anything, Joo-hyuk made a proposal. Whatever, in my opinion. How about I become your manager starting today? I'm really looking forward to working with you. Sang-hyun was taken aback. What? Seeing his reaction, Joo-hyuk immediately asked, You don't want to? Hearing that, Sang-hyun quickly denied it. No, I want to too. Remembering something, he asked, Wait, don't you only have 100,001 left in savings? Joo-hyuk honestly replied, Yeah, that's true, and about that gaming capsule pod, you literally cried the first time you tried it. Hearing this out of nowhere, Sang-hyun suddenly yelled, Hey, why are you bringing that up all of a sudden? Joo-hyuk softly explained, Seeing you like that. Aw, made me think a lot. You really seem to love being an archer. Seeing you, I realized I've never been passionate about anything. Choking up a bit, Sang-hyun said, But if you do this, you won't have the chance to work at big companies anymore. Seeing him worry, Joo-hyuk reassured him, You're worrying way too much. I still have enough money to support myself even if I take a break for a whole year. And if we do well enough, the big companies will come looking for us. What's wrong? Are you still hesitating? Hesitating like hell I am. With a thrilled face, Sang-hyun said, We're going to sit on a mountain of money together. So go ahead and quit your job right now. Joo-hyuk laughed out loud and asked, So, does this mean you've accepted my request? I'm officially your manager now. That's right, Manager Kim. You start tomorrow, Sang-hyun replied. Joo-hyuk seemed caught off guard by how fast things were moving, so he asked, Wait, starting tomorrow? Isn't that a bit sudden? Sang-hyun then explained that he had just received a collaboration proposal. Hearing the news, Joo-hyuk's face lit up with excitement. A collab proposal, perfect, that's right up my alley. Sang-hyun scratched his cheek and asked, Are you sure you can handle it? Joo-hyuk confidently assured him, Of course I can. Just trust me on this. But Sang-hyun was still a bit worried and said to Joo-hyuk, But I'm really not good at making a good first impression. Joo-hyuk smiled warmly to comfort him. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. I've already got a few tricks up my sleeve. Just show them what you're capable of. That's all you need to do. That alone is more than enough. Meanwhile, inside a cafe in a building, someone was scrolling through their phone, looking up info on Almond. The girl rested her chin on her hand and sighed. Is it really okay to meet him in a rundown place like this? Meeting him in a cheap place like this? I don't know. That girl was none other than the manager of Acorn Jelly. Dujamuk Acorn Jelly himself was sitting next to her. Scratching his head, he spoke up. I chose him because he's got insane talent, but come on, I'm still a big star, you know. His manager looked at him skeptically and said, Oh, please, last time your channel almost went under because you did collabs with those sketchy streamers. Having his past brought up out of nowhere, he immediately whined, Ugh, why do you have to bring that up now? Jamuk insisted, defending his own judgment. Look, first of all, his physical abilities are easily the best in the entire country. Teaming up with someone like him is a highly strategic investment. Hearing him say that, she held her cheeks and sighed, You only ever look at their skills. Do you even know anything about his personality? When she asked him that, he froze, averted his gaze, and mumbled a brief no. Hearing that, his manager panicked. What? Are you seriously supposed to be a professional? What if he has some hidden agenda? By then, all you'll be able to do is sit there and cry about it. Just then, a figure appeared and spoke up. Excuse me, are you Acorn Jelly? He turned around in surprise to look at the person in front of him. Ah, yes, hello. Sang-hyun quickly introduced himself. Hi, I'm Almond. My real name is Yu Sang-hyun. Nice to meet you. Seeing Sang-hyun, the manager's face flushed red, her eyes sparkling as she whispered to herself, Wow, he's so handsome. Meanwhile, Jamuk's jaw was still on the floor in pure shock. Quickly regaining his composure, Jamuk stood up and politely replied, Ah, yes. Nice to meet you, too. I'm Do Jamuk. Hello there. And who might this be behind you? Realizing he was being addressed, Ju-hyuk quickly introduced himself. My name is Kim Ju-hyuk, manager for Yu Sang-hyun. Here is my business card. As Jamuk took the card, he thought to himself, I thought I was already a big shot in this industry. But I've never met anyone who carries themselves as professionally as this guy. His manager standing next to him accepted the card and softly said, Thank you. Jamuk stared intently at the card to see who he really was. After taking a look, both of them gasped in surprise. Wait, Manager Kim, you're incredible. You actually used to work for a major corporation. Ju-hyuk just offered a humble smile and replied, Oh, it's nothing worth mentioning. Meanwhile, Sang-hyun stood there frozen, completely baffled. Wait, when on earth did he prepare a business card? He's way too prepared for this. Ju-hyuk then turned to the girl next to Jae-mook and asked, And you are? The manager quickly chimed in, Oh, I'm just an ordinary run-of-the-mill manager, nowhere near as prestigious as you. She then bowed deeply and said, I look forward to working with you. Jae-mook, watching from the side, muttered under his breath, Hey, you don't have to overdo it like that. Afterwards, Do Jae-mook spoke up politely. Well, shall we get down to business? Please, both of you take a seat. Ju-hyuk got straight to the point. You can find the streaming schedule and order of events in this chart. If there are any parts that need adjusting, just let me know so we can discuss them. He double-checked. Is there anything else we missed? After they wrapped up discussing the details of the collaboration, Jae-mook finally spoke up. Now let's talk about the revenue split. Sang-hyun gestured, wanting to share his thoughts on this. Since I'm still a rookie in this field, and since I need your help to get my name out there, I won't be taking a single cent. What do you think of that? Jae-mook interrupted him, looking concerned. Whoa, hold on a second. We can't do that. The era of slave contracts is long gone if we do this. We'll get absolutely dragged online. Seeing Sang-hyun about to blabber more nonsense that would ruin their leverage, Ju-hyuk quickly covered his mouth, thinking, even slave contracts didn't have a precedent like this. Well, since our experience is still quite limited, we'd feel a bit guilty taking a full share, but if you insist on a fair split, then we'll just charge the minimum hourly wage of a streamer in this industry. We don't pay by the hour. Instead, I have a different proposal. I'll give you 2/2 of the donations my channel receives while streaming with you. Hearing this, Ju-hyuk secretly rejoiced. Half, that's a lot of money. Ju-hyuk immediately asked, Sang-hyun, what do you think? Scene cuts to the outside of the building. Ju-hyuk was absolutely thrilled. That was a smooth start, wasn't it? He beamed at Sang-hyun. Half of the donations during the stream. Seeing this, Sang-hyun asked, Is that really a lot? Ju-hyuk happily replied, Of course it is. According to my research, the minimum donation Acorn Jelly's stream brought in last month was 2 million won. So we can make at least 1 million won, which is quite a lot. Seeing how much Ju-hyuk knew, Sang-hyun asked in curiosity, When did you even look all this up? Ju-hyuk, holding his phone, showed something to Sang-hyun. Here, look at this. Sang-hyun asked in confusion, What is this? A voice recording. Ju-hyuk replied gleefully. Who knows what could happen? We've got to cover our bases. Sang-hyun thought to himself, he really is meticulous. So this is what a corporate executive is like. Ju-hyuk turned to Sang-hyun and said, by the way, regarding our profit split, if you can make more than 3 million won a month, I'll only take 20% of it. Sang-hyun asked in disbelief, I don't even make minimum wage yet. Are you sure about this? Ju-hyuk reassured him, don't worry, I have plenty of savings. They call me an investment genius, you know. Buddy, I've got everything covered. All right, I'll trust you. Sang-hyun thought, he really was born with a golden spoon in his mouth. How generous of him. Afterwards, Sang-hyun went back to his own work, and before long, people started commenting on Almond's channel. Smiling, Sang-hyun said, Hey everyone, it's been a while, hasn't it? The comments started flooding in. Almond, why didn't you stream yesterday? He's saying hi. Almond, no way I'm missing an Almond stream. One comment caught everyone's attention. I heard you're collaborating with Akon Jelly, is that true? Sang-hyun was taken aback. The rumors were already spreading. How did this get leaked? Akon Jelly is collabing with Almond. That's huge. He's already teaming up with a top-tier streamer that's insane speed. Since there were way more viewers than usual, Sang-hyun decided to play dumb. A collab, what could a small fry like me possibly do? Then he quickly changed the subject. Today, we're going after the bandit leader. I'll try to take him down with a single shot. The system notification popped up, logging into Sword Rush. The viewers didn't buy it and commented, one-shotting a boss, no way. How can a boss die from a single headshot? What a newbie. Reading the comments, Sang-hyun was confused. A single shot won't work, but the last time I fought DK, he went down in one shot. The viewers immediately explained, it's BK, not DK, and seriously, that's enough celebrating. Boca was just an elite mob, not a boss. Real bosses are way bigger. Once you see them, you can tell the difference between a mid-boss and a real boss instantly. Now that it finally clicked for Sang-hyun, he thought, so he wasn't a boss, I get it now. But then, he started to regret it. Uh-oh, this is bad. I shouldn't have bragged about one-shotting the boss. Suddenly, a notification popped up. Ruby Sword has donated 10,000 won. Quest one-shot the boss to receive 100,000 won. Accept decline. Seeing the amount, Sang-hyun was shocked. 100,000 won. I have to accept this. He actually accepted it. Well, who could say no to 100,000 won? You have accepted the quest. Reward, 100,000 won. Objective one-shot, the boss to receive 100,000 won. Looking at the notification, Sang-hyun suddenly realized, wait, bosses can't be one-shotted in this game? But even if it's an impossible quest, this is actually a good thing. A massive donation like this makes it easier for other viewers to start donating too. So I'll just have to play along shamelessly. Sang-hyun spoke up, thanks for the donation. Ruby Sword, let's go get that 100,000 won. Eggplant has donated 2,000 won. Go for it. One-shotting the bandit boss is now up to 110,000 won. Here's another 10,000 won from me. Bopsum has donated 1,000 won. Show us what you've got. Donation alerts kept popping up. Look at that, even a side quest fund. Sang-hyun couldn't hide his excitement. If quests are what drive a stream, then this kind of fun, spontaneous donating really helps keep the revenue steady. I haven't even logged in yet, and I'm already getting this many donations. Thank you, Eggplant and Oregano, for the donations. I'll do my best to make it happen somehow. Let's do this. Back in the game. Sang-hyun is remembering the last time he was here. Suddenly, a voice rings out. Sir Mercenary, thank you for saving us from the bandits' attack. Seeing the female character appear, the whole chat room instantly goes wild. She's here. Emilia, I love you, I love you, I love you. You're so pretty. Emilia says shyly. I don't know how to thank you. Standing in front of Emilia, Sang-hyun thinks to himself, Emilia must be the female lead of this game. How I respond will change the flow of the story. A choice prompt pops up. Option 1, don't worry about it. It's just a mercenary's job. Option 2, if you're grateful, then pay me back. That's what a mercenary would naturally want. Sang-hyun calmly chooses option 1, don't worry about it. It's just a mercenary's job. The viewers immediately comment, boring. Emilia also replies, even so, I am very grateful. Hearing her reply, the chat floods again. Amazing, I only play this game because of Emilia. You idiots, the main story is all about Rosanita. Looking at the chat, Sang-hyun wonders, Rosanita, a second female lead. Just then, Roman approaches and reports, "My lady, there is a high risk that the remaining bandits are still waiting in ambush across the mountain. Should I call the special assault force to wipe them out?" "Of course. If you can do that, that would be wonderful." "Understood. In that case, the guard unit will stay here and set up the tents." Seeing the plot unfold like this, Sang-hyun realizes, so this is how this stage begins. Night falls and the surrounding grass and flowers remain completely still. Suddenly, a rustling sound echoed as dark figures emerged clutching swords and weapons. Near the bandit camp, Roman and his mercenaries lay in ambush scattered all around. Roman raised his hand to signal, "We'll get as close as possible and ambush them from behind. Everyone get into position, got it," Sang-hyun thought to himself. This is way more intense than I expected. My senses in full dive are so realistic that I can't even tell if this is real or virtual anymore. I can't just treat this like a simple game. Roman drew his sword and ordered the charge. The whole group rushed out, catching the bandits completely off guard. "It's an ambush. Damn it, where did they come from?" From afar, one of them was already taken out by Sang-hyun. Another bandit cried out in a panic, "Damn it, an archer!" But it wasn't long before he suffered the exact same fate. And just like that, the other bandits fell one after another, each taken down by a single shot from Sang-hyun. The remaining bandits screamed in fury, "Over there, take out the archer first!" While the bandits were in chaos, a system notification popped up. "You have completed the 3 conditions, 3 consecutive headshots. The skill double shot has been unlocked." Sang-hyun was stunned. "So I had this sub-skill all along," Sang-hyun thought. Even so, it was still a game. One of the viewers immediately commented, "How do you always unlock skills so easily? Seriously, this is insane." Sang-hyun drew his bow and aimed at the target as a surge of mana enveloped the entire weapon. "Let's see what makes this different." Activating double shot, he sent a barrage of arrows flying, taking down bandits left and right. Watching this unfold, the viewers in the chat were losing their minds. "Wait, what? Isn't that supposed to be a trash skill? How on earth is he landing consecutive headshots in the middle of all that chaos?" One viewer commented, "It's not that the skill is fast, it's just that Almond himself is insanely fast." Sang-hyun let out a sigh after that rapid succession of shots and glanced at the chat. The viewers were going wild with excitement. "Almond, Almond, Almond, he's literally wiping them all out. He seriously just slaughtered the entire bandit group. I've never seen anything like this in a game before. This stream is legendary." Sang-hyun didn't care much about the hype. He looked at his bow and said to the viewers, "Hey guys, this bow is actually much better than I thought." In the chat, the viewers teased, "Only you could say that, Almond, you big scammer." Just then, a notification popped up, "Virgin at 35 has donated 1,001. The donation message read, "At least tell me you don't have a girlfriend." He smiled and replied, "Thanks for the donation, Virgin. I don't have a girlfriend, so don't worry." Watching everyone's reactions, Sang-hyun thought to himself, "This is actually so much fun. It's not just about the money. The realistic sensation of full dive, and in everyone's reactions and support. It's really addicting." As he was soaking in the joy, Roman walked over, patted his shoulder, and praised him. "Almond, you're amazing. At this rate, you could easily become the greatest in the Empire. You're overpraising me, sir." Just then, a viewer named Chill Slim donated 5,001 with the message, "Wait, is it over already? What about the boss?" Reading the comment, he finally realized, "Now that you mention it, I just noticed too." Suddenly, a soldier called out, "Captain, I think this is the boss's corpse." A system notification popped up. "The bandit leader has been defeated." The viewers in the chat began to panic again. "No way. Wait, just one headshot. No way. How could a single headshot take him down? What kind of boss is that weak?" At this point, Sang-hyun scratched his head, confused. "So does this mean the 100,001 mission failed?" But he's already dead. Something isn't right. How could a boss die from a single headshot? The donation sound rang out again. Acorn Jelly donated 100,001. A one-shot critical hit can take down even the boss with a single arrow. Sang-hyun got the donation but was still confused. Acorn Jelly. Why the sudden donation? Meanwhile, the chat kept scrolling rapidly. Where did a critical hit even come from? His critical shots are legendary. Give it up, Jelly Boy. Do critical shots really exist? A critical shot? Seriously, I thought that was just a myth. Was that really the actual Acorn Jelly just now? Reading the comments, Sang-hyun was still utterly confused. But what even is a critical hit? Meanwhile, the viewers kept discussing it. Yeah, it makes no sense. How can a single shot kill a boss? What are you guys talking about? To be honest, it looks like a game glitch. Unbelievable. Watching Sang-hyun's stream, Jae-mook was trembling, tears streaming down his face because even he couldn't believe it. He was shaking and crying because even he couldn't buy it. It's true, but even I can't believe it. After donating, Jae-mook also hoped he would explain everything. I just hope Almond will explain what just happened. But even Sang-hyun himself was completely clueless about that shot. Wait, a perfect critical shot. What on earth is that? Meanwhile, the viewers were complaining. Acorn Jelly donated 10,000 won. How can you not even know what it is? Sang-hyun replied innocently, but I seriously don't know. By this point, Jae-mook's jaw dropped, thinking, oh my god, from the very beginning of the game, every single one of your shots has been a perfect critical shot. And yet you don't even know what it is. He is seriously... I have no idea how deep his talent actually goes. I'm so lucky to have met him. It looks like his viewer count has stabilized now. We just need a bit more action. Then another notification popped up. Acorn Jelly donated 100,000 won. This is going to be a perfect shot. Everyone watch closely. Almond, tomorrow the two of us should do a live stream together. Is that okay with you? Look at all these chat comments. This is perfect. It looks like the two of them are going to play together. So Acorn Jelly is really going to collab with him and stream together. That's awesome. That's seriously amazing. Sang-hyun looked around thinking to himself, he's really helping me pull in some viewers right now. Seeing that he knew he had to quickly play along. I should probably show a little goodwill too, right? A joint stream between us. The viewers saw this and immediately piped up, hey, if you collab with him, it's not going to end well. You'll get completely overshadowed. Other viewers agreed, saying, yeah, totally Sang. Hyun saw his viewer count spiking and exclaimed, wow, there are so many first-time viewers here today. The chat was flying by at lightning speed. So he's actually joining forces with Acorn Jelly. He's totally going to steal the spotlight from Almond. Wait, Acorn Jelly and Almond streaming together, this is going to be wild. Almond, you better show us what you've got. It looks like everyone is really looking forward to this collab stream. Nothing beats moments like this. A notification popped up. Ruby Blade has donated 10,000 won. If you do well in the collab stream, I'll drop another 10,000 won. Drenched in sweat, Sang-hyun forced a smile and replied, thank you so much. Of course, I'll be joining the stream with Acorn Jelly. It's going to be great playing with you, Acorn Jelly. Another notification popped up. Acorn Jelly donated 10,000 won. I'll be waiting. He looked at the chat saying things like, have fun and wait for me, Acorn Jelly. He smiled to himself, relieved. Wow, everyone's reaction is actually pretty positive. I wonder if all of Almond's viewers are going to get snatched up after this. Well, we'll see about that. Sang-hyun quickened his pace. Honestly, I'm pretty excited. He said he'd show everyone a perfect shot during our collab. But that puts a lot of pressure on me, too. A top-tier streamer really is on another level. Just one little move and the whole community goes wild. Meanwhile, the viewers were buzzing. Wait, has he already donated 120,000 won to Almond? And is that it? No other reaction? Looks like he logged off already. No wonder it went quiet. Oh man, this is going to be so fun to watch. Don't log off yet, Almond. We're still watching. Sang-hyun drew his bow. I managed to defeat the boss and I even shot down the bird. Alright, those were some pretty good first steps. Now it's time to log off and rest. Thanks for the generous support, Acorn Jelly. With that, he drew his bow and shot an arrow straight up into the sky. Well, the result was pretty easy to guess. Game over. Back in the real world, Sang-hyun, who had just logged out, stood in the restroom and muttered to himself, man, the viewer's reaction was intense. Still logging out right after dying like that should be fine, right? The game just feels way too realistic. Suddenly, Joo-hyuk texted, let's meet up tomorrow. Sang-hyun texted back, but can't we just meet online? Joo-hyuk immediately shot back, don't you remember what you said last time? We agreed to do an in-person interview and then stream together in the game. Only then did Sang-hyun rub his head as it clicked. All right, I completely forgot. Looking at himself in the mirror, he thought, well, in person is fine, it doesn't really matter. He quickly sent a reply to Joo-hyuk. Okay, let's meet at Huji Station tomorrow then. Sang-hyun headed back to his room. All right, let's see how everyone's reacting. The discussion was still going strong. That shot was seriously hilarious. Almond died again. Wait, Acorn Jelly actually showed up today and set up a collab stream with Almond. Suddenly his jaw dropped as he saw a replay video. The clip of Almond taking down the bandit leader was going viral all over the internet. He really took down the boss with a single arrow. I rewound it and still have absolutely no idea how he did it. The chat kept scrolling. Looks like he went down with just one shot. That was insanely fast. It's hard to tell just from a video, though. Sang-hyun read the comments, surprised at himself as well. To be honest, I'm pretty shocked myself. I didn't think I'd take down the boss that quickly. The chat was still buzzing with energy. Well, we'll find out for sure during the next stream, Sang-hyun agreed. True, they have a point. The chat kept scrolling. Wait, we actually get to see Almond's face reveal tomorrow. Yeah, he's probably just some short, nerdy gamer. Exactly. Let me guess what he looks like. Check this out. He glanced at the clock and muttered, Time for dinner. I'll just ignore them. Just as Sang-hyun stepped away, his phone rang. It was Joo-hyuk calling again. Huh, why is he calling again? We already agreed on that. Joo-hyuk urgently asked him, Have you seen the video of you defeating the boss that was just uploaded? It already has 40,000 views, and it's only been an hour. Confused, he asked, Wait, we don't even have a YouTube channel, do we? Acorn Jelly uploaded it to hype up the joint stream for you two. The video showed him landing consecutive shots cheering, All right, you can do this. Then footage of the bandits getting slaughtered followed by an arrow flying straight into the head of the boss. At the end of the video text appeared the perfect shot. Is it real or just staged? Tomorrow we'll have the answer. On our joint stream on Acorn Jelly's channel, the comments were flooding in, So cool, can't wait for these two. So this is the game Acorn Jelly has been playing lately. He looks pretty good at it. It's been a while since I've been this excited. A stream with a guest, I'm really looking forward to this. So people actually shoot bows like this in Kingdom Age? That must be edited. How can anyone shoot like that? I'll wait for tomorrow's stream. One viewer quietly praised, Wow, this newbie is incredibly good. It seemed everyone was looking forward to our stream tomorrow, and during Acorn Jelly's live stream, the live viewer count was breaking records on YouTube. At Acorn Jelly's streaming studio, he reminded him, Almond, we're going to show them your face today. It'll probably start with around 3,000 to 4,000 viewers, so keep that in mind. So get yourself ready. Almond replied, All right. Let me go fix my clothes and tidy up a bit first. Standing behind him, Joo-hyuk praised, looking sharp. Joo-hyuk walked over to his seat silently, wishing Sang-hyun luck. Good luck, Sang-hyun. And then the broadcast started. All right. We're live, hello everyone. Instantly, countless comments flooded the screen. Jae-muk gasped in astonishment. The viewer count is 10,000. We just started, and there are already 10,000 viewers. This is a new record. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. Hey guys, it's already lunchtime. What did everyone eat? Standing to the side, Sang-hyun silently praised, He's engaging the chat to buy time for the viewer count to go up. He's really good at this. Suddenly, the chat started shouting, Bring Almond out already. We can't wait any longer. Almond, is Almond really coming? Almond, Almond, Almond. Reading the comments, Jae-muk introduced, Today we have a special guest joining us. Since this is his very first appearance, we'll do a short interview so you can all get to know him. But most importantly, today we're going to show everyone the perfect shot. The chat immediately went wild. All right, we're waiting. Hurry up. Stop talking and show us. Let's see this perfect shot. All right, put him on. The perfect shot. Almond. Perfect shot. Jae-muk excitedly called out, Everyone please welcome Almond. Instantly, thousands of comments flooded the chat. Almond. He's finally doing a face reveal. I'm so nervous. Is this really the first time he's showing his face? Please let him be ugly. Sang-hyun stepped up to the chair, slowly took off his cap and said, Hello everyone, I'm Almond. The chat immediately went wild over his face reveal. Whoa, this is insane. Donald Enium has donated 1,001. You're way too handsome. Why is he so good looking? I'm so disappointed. Please stop. Oh my god, you're so handsome. Please let me see your handsome face has donated 1,001. Seriously, his face is a national treasure. The worst streamer on earth, Almond, taking advantage of the hype, Jae-muk chimed in. So what do you think, isn't he handsome? I was really surprised when I first met him too. The viewers immediately shot back, no way that's real. That's definitely a filter. Did you change your face to look handsome? Jae-muk asked for their opinion. Should we do the interview first or just play the game? The viewers started voting, just play the game. Go King, wait, no, I just want to keep staring at his face. The True Investigation team donated 1,001. I want to see the perfect shot. Just start the game already. Is this Acorn Jelly's judgment? Are you seriously bringing in a newbie to carry him? Seeing how excited the viewers were, Jae-muk smiled with delight. Now I know everyone is super excited, but we have a guest here. So everyone please mind your manners. The chat was moving so fast that Sang-hyun just stared at it completely dazed. It's moving way too fast, I can't read a single thing. Jae-muk turned to Sang-hyun and spoke. All right, I've heard your feedback. Shall we start the game then? Sang-hyun replied yes. At that moment, Jae-muk asked, "What's your optimization code?" Hearing this, Sang-hyun was confused. "What's that?" Jae-muk froze when he heard his question. He quickly explained that it was the code used to optimize his capsule adjusted to synchronize his brainwaves and body. Hearing these strange terms for the first time, Sang-hyun was completely clueless. "I have no idea what that is." "Is it that important?" Jae-muk was skeptical. "Does he really not know about it?" "No way! Has he seriously been playing games this whole time without optimizing it? If so, playing must have felt like dragging sandbags around. How is that even possible?" At that moment, Joo-hyuk suddenly realized in horror, remembering his conversation with Kang-suk. "The important thing is you have to tell your friend." "What does that even mean? I don't get it at all." "Never mind, I get it. I completely forgot about it." He rushed over to Jae-muk and whispered, "Hey, Acorn Jelly, Sang-hyun really doesn't know anything about it. I forgot to tell him." Jae-muk was shocked upon hearing this right in front of the live stream camera. "What? Oh, I see. I get it." Sang-hyun heard them talking but still couldn't understand what the issue was. The viewers were also curious. "Is that Almond's manager? Why, just tell us already. I don't want to listen to this whispering. Seriously, what's going on? Is there an issue with the stream? Let us know. He really doesn't know about the optimization code? That's a bit too much. What happened to Almond? Seriously, is that for real? Is this going to be okay?" With a helpless face, Jae-muk explained, "I feel so embarrassed, guys. Almond bought a used capsule and has been playing without knowing anything about this." The viewers were shocked once again. "Wait, what? He's an absolute legend. How do you even play without optimization? Wait, is that why he always suddenly logs off?" Reading the comments, Jae-muk turned to Sang-hyun and asked, "Did you really log off like that before?" Sang-hyun replied, "Ah, yes. That's what I did every time I died." Jae-muk was shocked once again. "What? Then how did you keep playing after dying?" Then Sang-hyun explained it to everyone. The viewers were amazed once again. "Seriously, if you die in this game, do you have to start all over? Well, just don't die then." "Actually, he's never even died. He just shoots himself in the head. Is that his power button?" Hearing the answer, Jae-muk was full of admiration. "So you really are a genius." Sang-hyun smiled confidently and replied, "I think so too." At that moment, Jae-muk now had to see Sang-hyun in a whole new light. Oh my god, he's definitely not someone to be underestimated. He's the classic genius type that everyone loves. He's so calm, definitely a pro. Of course, he's a genius, and on top of that, he seems to have experience dealing with people. He's perfect as a streamer. Why am I feeling so excited about this? Alright then, let's get your optimization code set up first. Sure, let's do it. Shortly after, Sang-hyun was quickly taken to get his optimization code. Sang-hyun thought to himself, "Is it already done? I thought it would take a while, but that was surprisingly fast." On the screen, the system displayed the optimization code Z102.938. Jae-muk asked, "Looks like you're done. How does it feel?" Testing it out. Sang-hyun replied, "It feels great, so this is what virtual reality is like. It almost feels like I don't even have a body." Jae-muk explained, "Of course, because this is our world of consciousness after all." Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's go pull off a perfect shot. Jae-muk excitedly suggested while the viewers eagerly egged them on, saying the moment had finally come. "Hurry up, alright, let's go." A notification popped up as Kingdom S booted up, and Sang-hyun started worrying if he should show off his skills here. Once inside the game, Captain Roman spoke up. "I'll explain today's mission. Lady Amelia has handed us a different task." The viewers watched intently, buzzing with excitement. "Oh, are you syncing up with Almond's progress?" "No way it's actually starting. Let's go wreck this boss." Roman announced to the squad leaders that there was a goblin cave nearby, and the creatures had been terrorizing the local farmers. "We're going to find that cave and wipe them out. It's been a while since we got a quest with a payout this big, so we absolutely must deliver results. Got it?" Sang-hyun and Jae-muk shouted "understood" in unison, and the mercenary band set off. While riding in the carriage, Jae-muk spoke up. "So you need to know exactly when to use the perfect shot." He started breaking it down. "In this damn game, even weak points are categorized by a point system. Just picture a circle on the forehead with smaller circles surrounding the center. The first condition is to hit it dead on, just like in archery." Sang-hyun's eyes widened as he asked, "That really is just like archery. So what's the second condition?" Jae-muk sighed. "The second condition is brutal. You have to nail it on your very first try while meeting that first requirement. You only get one shot." Hearing this, Sang-hyun replied with a completely straight face, "I see. So that's why they call it..." "Why, the perfect shot." Jamook stared at Sang-hyun's reaction, thinking to himself, why is he so calm? It's like these rules are nothing to him, as if he can actually pull off a perfect shot whenever he wants. So maybe it really isn't that hard for him. Then out of nowhere, Roman marched over and smacked Jamook right on the head. The viewers cracked up, commenting, Roman's acting up again. Roman barked at him, what the hell do you think you're doing? We just got here. Don't talk back to me. You want to be sliced in two? Jamook had no idea what he did wrong, but sheepishly muttered, I'm sorry, sir. His face was incredibly tense as he glared. Jamook, where on earth did you even come from? But then his face instantly softened into a warm smile as he turned to Sang-hyun. And Almond, let's do our absolute best on this mission, okay? With an utterly dejected face, Jamook grumbled, why am I the only one getting singled out like this? The viewers got another good laugh. That is so typical of our Roman. Roman carries the comedy so funny. Right outside the goblin cave, Jamook whispered to the camera, is everyone ready to witness the perfect shot? Then let's... Before he could even finish, Roman smacked him again. If you actually want to help, then shut your trap. The viewers were rolling. Wait, is this Roman's stream now? Roman continued. Almond, you take the lead. Show this rookie how it's done. Sang-hyun complied, understood. Jamook looked completely defeated. Seriously, why does this always happen to me? Crouching in a bush from a distance, Sang-hyun held his bow and thought, now that my character has been optimized, moving around feels so much easier. That awkward lag is completely gone. Sang-hyun murmured, all right then. Meanwhile, Jamook watched closely from the bushes, thinking, is he really going to shoot from that posture? Even if it looks impossible, if it's Almond, he'll definitely make it happen. And with a precise shot, the first goblin went down instantly. Witnessing this, Jamook was stunned and the chat went wild. Seeing it live, that shot was on a whole different level. Sang-hyun drew his second arrow, taking down the second and third goblins in rapid succession. Watching him eliminate the enemies so effortlessly, Jamook was completely awestruck. Incredible! He's gotten even better. He's even adjusting his shots to muffle the sound, perfectly matching the ambush. He's the real deal. Beyond his insane physical talent, his quiet confidence and presence make him stand out completely, like he was born to be under the spotlight. He's the absolute star of this show. In front of the cave, goblins lay scattered everywhere, their heads pinned with arrows. A system notification popped up. You have defeated all normal goblins. A curious viewer asked in the comments, are we even going the right way? Roman turned back to look at him, smiling warmly. Great job, Almond. All right, let's move out. Everyone else chimed in with praises. I seriously can't believe this. This was supposed to be a stage where the entire mercenary group had to work together to defeat the monsters, but he wiped them all out by himself. Another viewer in the chat commented in awe, man, this place should have been covered in human blood by now. Meanwhile, Sang-hyun, absolutely beaming from the compliments, cheered out loud. You guys all saw that, right? The perfect shot is seriously insane. The enemies died before they could even blink. Seeing that the viewers burst out laughing, teasing him for his boastful remark. What are you talking about? That was just a basic headshot. Died before they could blink. A moment later, the team got their act together. No more joking around. They got serious and focused on the job. All right, block the cave and light it up. If we block the cave like this, the rest of the pack won't be able to escape and will end up roasted alive inside. As Roman stood there watching the flames slowly engulf the cave, the soldier next to him suddenly froze. An ear-splitting roar echoed from deep inside the cave. Then a massive foot and a pair of bloodshot eyes emerged. Terrified, the soldier stumbled backward in a panic. It's here. Stepping out of the cave was the goblin champion, its massive muscular body far larger than the goblins they had already slain. A quest notification popped up. Please defeat the goblin champion. The viewers, thrilled by the sight, spammed the chat. Oh, it's the big boss. Can he take it down with a perfect shot? Use the perfect shot to beat it. Captain Roman immediately turned back, his voice stern, as he ordered the men to prepare for battle. Get ready, everyone. The soldiers roared in unison, yes, sir. But before anyone else could move, Sang-hyun rushed toward the goblin with a confident, boisterous laugh. He was already celebrating his first milestone. The chat was highly amused by his bold move. Isn't this the perfect time for us to see how powerful a perfect shot really is? Just shoot the boss already. But as he drew his bow preparing to fire, a sudden thought crossed his mind. He then lowered his bow, leaving the viewers dumbfounded, bewildered, and even dismissive. What's going on? Why did he stop? Is he nervous because he has to get it right on his very first try? At the end of the day, Almond is only human. The real reason Sang-hyun stopped was because he had closely observed his opponent. He groaned and complained internally, "Damn it, this is bad. That monster is wearing a steel mask, so I can't shoot it in the forehead." He quickly analyzed the situation, trying to come up with a strategy to take down the goblin. "Aiming for the forehead is out of the question. Should I target somewhere else? No, that won't work. The forehead is the most critical and easiest spot to hit. No other vital point compares to it. In that case..." Just as that thought crossed his mind, Sang-hyun assumed a solid stance. Without a moment's hesitation, he aimed straight up. This left the audience completely bewildered. Why is he aiming so high? Is he trying to end the stream already? Who donated 100,000 won to him? What on earth is he doing? Wait, that's... While everyone was still trying to figure out his bizarre move, the arrow had already shot forward at a blinding speed. Even the goblin had no idea that a flashing light was rapidly closing in from behind. The live stream viewers were slowly beginning to piece together his next move. A perfect shot only needs to hit a vital point. It doesn't necessarily have to be the forehead. The very next second, the arrow pierced straight into the back of the goblin's neck. The monster let out a horrific shriek of agony. Watching Sang-hyun's jaw-dropping and satisfying play, both the viewers behind the screens and the entire team were left utterly speechless. Holy crap, can he really take on 100 enemies by himself? Did he seriously just kill it? For real? No way it's actually dead. Even Sang-hyun himself couldn't believe he had pulled off such an absurd feat. He stood there in a daze watching the goblin collapse. For a split second, everything went dead silent, as if time had frozen. But then he was the one to break. The graveyard silence with a loud, triumphant cheer of satisfaction. The viewers also went wild in the comments, "Hey, Acorn Jelly! Your wish actually came true. This is insane. Is this seriously real? Oh my god, he finished it off. Congrats. I'm losing my mind." A notification sound chimed. "Ruby Sword has donated 200,000 won. Congratulations on the win. Almond." Sang-hyun got more and more hyped, shouting, "I told you guys." "Thank you, Ruby Sword." Then he looked slightly startled, realizing he was receiving a ton of money from them. Chidori donated 10,000 won. Congratulations. Goose donated 3,000 won. Honk Domino donated 5,000 won. Congrats. Perfect Shot Believer donated 100,000 won. Perfect shot. The dream has come true. Maybe he was just a bit overwhelmed and dazed because he never expected to get this much love and support. He stepped out of the game capsule completely drenched in sweat from the heat. Stepping out, he couldn't help but complain to himself that even the latest capsule models didn't seem to have a cooling system. It was way too hot. But after taking just a few steps, he stopped dead in his tracks, staring blankly. Jae-muk was holding Na-yeon's hand, grinning from ear to ear and crying tears of joy. "Na-yeon, did you see that? I finally did it." Meanwhile, Na-yeon stood there helplessly playing along. Yes, you did great." Then she turned to Jae-muk and added, "By the way, did you know the stream crashed because the server got overloaded?" Jae-muk, still beaming, replied, "Yeah, I figured it would lag out. There were just too many people in the chat and so many donations. This is the first time this has ever happened, Ju-hyuk." Standing in the back, Ju-hyuk raised his hand like an elementary school student wanting to speak. "Right, I didn't expect it to glitch out from the flood of chat messages and donations from the viewers, but the stream is actually still live. If you two sit in front of the camera for an interview, we can still get more donations. What do you think?" Jae-muk quickly chimed in, "Awesome, let's do that." Sang-hyun turned around and started, "Wait! My hair is..." But before he could even finish, Na-yeon cut him off, showering him with praise. "No way, you look incredibly handsome right now." He didn't quite believe her, but only asked with a doubtful look, "Really?" A moment later, Jae-muk and Sang-hyun smiled brightly and greeted the camera in unison. "Hello, everyone!" The viewers immediately flooded back in, buzzing with excitement. "They're back. I've been waiting forever. Start our legendary talk show." "Hello," another viewer playfully joked. "Power level me, Jae-muk." Jae-muk introduced himself in an incredibly smug tone, looking just like a peacock showing off its feathers. "Hello, everyone. I'm Acorn Jelly." When it was Sang-hyun's turn, he spoke with his usual calm, serious tone. "Actually, I didn't know anything about a perfect shot at first." The chat was filled with endless praise. "He's so good. He's so handsome. He looks like an NPC, but his skills are like Robin Hood's." Along with the sweet compliments for Sang-hyun, the viewers' teasing directed at Jae-muk was just as relentless. As expected of Acorn Jelly. "If I were you, I would..." Hey, when the screen went dark. You were totally crying, right? Reading that Jae-mook acted as if a button had been pushed, immediately throwing a cute, huffy tantrum. I was not crying. Stop making things up, you guys. Seeing his reaction, the chat teased him even more. Oh, really? How scary. Open your mouth. Here comes the money. Just as that message popped up, a viewer named Seo In-ha donated 5,000 won. Jae-mook quickly tried to explain in a fluster while Sung-hyun just sat there frozen like a statue. Everyone, we can't read all the donation messages, but the viewers were incredibly generous, acting like total high rollers. Just open your mouths, you two. We'll feed you money. Thank you, everyone. Juan donated 10,000 won. Wish Come True donated 30,000 won. I'm donating to Acorn Jelly. The stream went on and on just like that. While Jae-mook chatted away warmly and cheerfully, Sang-hyun sat beside him as quiet and still as a statue. Thank you, Doran Seo In-ha marinated crab Juwon and Wish Come True. Despite his silence, Sang-hyun's heart was beating like a drum. Over 40 people have already donated. Just how much money did we make? Everyone in the room froze in shock. Even he became completely bewildered. Seo Ji-ah has donated 1 million won. Seo Ji-ah just donated 1 million won? Even Ju Hyuk shouted in pure shock, 1 million won? The viewers were also astounded. That is an insane amount of money. This is crazy. Meanwhile, Jae-mook could no longer control himself. He jumped to his feet in excitement and shouted, "This is the first time I've ever seen this, oh my God!" But a second later, his face fell and he slumped back, looking completely drained. The message says, "Almond, you are so handsome, please keep up the good work." Yep, that's what it says. But he still had to speak up and acknowledge the truth. Of course. The notification rang out once again, exactly like the last one. Seo Ji-ah has donated 100,000 won. Almond, you are so handsome, please keep up the good work. This drove Jae-mook absolutely crazy, and he screamed, "Are you serious? She donated to you twice. Is her family just made of money?" Meanwhile, he simply bowed deeply in gratitude. Thank you so much, Seo. Ji-ah. The chat exploded again like a flowing river. Everyone was donating to Almond. It's all for Almond. Almond is the real deal. This is no joke. Please keep up the good work. He's so handsome. This is hilarious. Jae-mook was utterly helpless, crying silent tears in his heart before speaking up with a pitiful voice. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's start the interview now. He cleared his throat and said, I've compiled a list of questions based on the poll results from my channel. On the screen, the questions displayed were completely baffling. Questions like, what is your skincare routine? What lip tint do you use? Do you have a girlfriend? What is the secret to your success? These questions successfully made our funny guy Jae-mook fly into a massive rage. Hey guys, what kind of questions are these? The viewers cracked up immediately. Doesn't Acorn have a ton of female fans anyway? Sang-hyun calmly answered, I don't use any lotion or lip tint. Jae-mook, whose face was completely red with frustration, yelled at him, Why are you actually answering these questions? He paid him no mind, still smiling with bright, clear eyes as he continued, I don't have a girlfriend. Jae-mook's mood shifted in an instant. He was no longer red-faced or annoyed and instead smiled warmly as they talked. It was such a warm feeling. Perhaps this was the true charm of live streaming, but playing games while streaming was even better. By the end of the day, someone outside called out, Thank you for your hard work, everyone. Inside, Nayeon handed Sang-hyun a towel, saying with a look of concern, The capsule doesn't have a cooling system, which is why you sweated so much. Looking completely drained of life, he sluggishly took the towel and muttered wearily, The one at my place is the same, thanks. Behind them, Jae-mook stood in a daze, pointing at his own face, but no one paid him any attention. She then turned back to ask him, By the way, is there something wrong? When asked, Jae-mook blankly replied, Not really, I just think it'd be better if we streamed at home. What do you think? Well, anyway, you've worked really hard. With that, he eagerly stepped in front of Ju Hyuk with a beaming smile. Ju Hyuk handed over a gift box and said to him, Thank you for taking care of us. This is just a small token of our appreciation. Please accept it. Jae-mook quickly took it and opened it. Inside were neatly and exquisitely packaged pastries. What is this? Nayeon, standing next to him, looked absolutely thrilled. They look so delicious, I'll definitely enjoy every bite. Sang-hyun felt a bit embarrassed, secretly praising Ju Hyuk in his heart. I didn't even think about doing something like this. He's really amazing, Jae-mook said. While Nayeon gets things ready, why don't we talk for a bit? As he spoke, he raised the tablet in his hand. This is the total amount we made today. Hearing this made both Sang-yun and Ju-hyuk pay close attention. Jae-mok smiled, holding up the tablet, and said, "This is the total amount we made today." Sang-yun and Ju-hyuk stayed serious for a split second, then completely lost it, their jaws dropping when they saw the figure on the screen. "Is this 5 million? Sang-yun was stunned and asked Jae-mok in disbelief, "Do you always make this much?" Jae-mok looked a bit embarrassed himself. No, actually, this is the first time I've ever made this much." Nayeon brought over some drinks and said with a smile, "So if we split this exactly in half, it'll be almost 3 million. Hearing that, both of their eyes. Sang-yun and Ju-hyuk's immediately lit up. Ju-hyuk bowed deeply, even pushing Sang-yun's head down with him, and sincerely said to the two opposite them, "Thank you so much." Jae-mok quickly waved his hands, stammering, "No, please, I'm the one who should be thanking you. Honestly, even 500,000 won is considered hitting the jackpot for a collab stream." Ju-hyuk sharply picked up on this. "So donations aren't the main source of income?" With that thought, he immediately asked Jae-mok, "Could I ask how you generate your income?" Jae-mok wasn't bothered by the question at all. He happily replied, "Of course, if we look at ads as the main source of income, the ad revenue from Chibi is directly tied to the number of viewers. It's kind of like a basic salary. On top of that, and have also brought in third-party advertisers. That's the manager's job." Nayeon added, worrying he might find it hard to understand. It's basically like game promotions or sponsorships. For example, things like outfits, streaming gear, and gaming capsules. Even this outfit Jae-mok is wearing right now is sponsored. Ju-hyuk was enlightened, his eyes widening. "So it's similar to celebrities then," Nayeon gently added. "Exactly. For those with good looks. About 90% of their income or even more comes from donations. But because this guy looks like this," she pointed at Jae-mok again, "he has no choice but to earn money like a traditional celebrity." Hearing himself being roasted, he quickly blushed and protested, "Hey, what's wrong with the way I look? Besides, in this industry, being funny and having decent looks is already the biggest advantage." Nayeon teased him even more. "Oh, so funny. I'm laughing so hard." Watching them, Ju-hyuk could only sigh and pinch the bridge of his nose while Sang-yun sat there like an innocent child, completely oblivious to what was happening, blankly sipping his drink. After a moment, Nayeon spoke up a bit shyly. Sang-yun, this is just my personal opinion, but I think you could actually become really famous, like a star." Jae-mok, sitting next to her, looked incredibly sulky, his face darkening as he grumbled, "Why does that sound completely different from what you just said to me?" Sang-yun put down his glass and replied softly, "Thank you, but I really want to be a game streamer." Nayeon wasn't surprised by his answer and smiled, "Of course, I'm just suggesting a way to make some extra income." Jae-mok chipped in as well. Along with game streaming, expanding into other activities is also really important, just like the streamer Shogi Ramyeon, who used to be a webtoon artist. Alongside streaming games as his main content, he also participates in entertainment, like appearing in mainstream media, as a celebrity, for example, for reference for people like that. YouTube is their main source of income. You can think of live streaming as a way to interact with fans. Sang-yun was a bit swayed. "That doesn't sound too bad." Nayeon continued to explain so he could make a choice. Streamers can basically be divided into two types. Those who focus on public image will concentrate on creating content for YouTube, while live streamers are more low-key, focusing mainly on streaming on a chibi. I'd recommend you go the public image route, Sang-yun. But because of that, video editing has a huge impact on YouTube, so finding a skilled editor is also very important. Saying this, she turned to Ju-hyuk. "By any chance, Ju-hyuk, have you ever done editing before? It's pretty important. Only good videos will get people to watch." Ju-hyuk replied embarrassedly, "No, I don't have any experience in that field at all." Jae-mok chimed in, "Then you guys will need to find someone else. Since your income isn't high yet, you should just take it slow." Ju-hyuk was very happy with their advice and said gratefully, "Thank you so much for the advice." The two of them also smiled warmly. "It's nothing." The two of them then saw Sang-hyun and Ju-hyuk off to the parking garage. Sang-hyun shook Jae-mok's hand gratefully. "Thank you so much for your help today." Jae-mok was more than happy to help. "Yeah, let's definitely do another collab stream sometime." He quickly gave a firm nod in agreement. Then, looking straight at the young man with a face as bright as a little sun, Jae-mok thought to himself, "At that point, he had probably already left me far behind." Once the two of them got into the car and drove off, Jae-mok stood there feeling incredibly envious, before turning to Nayeon with a heavy sigh. "But what can we do? His talent is simply out of reach." Nayeon had no idea what he was muttering about and asked, What's with you all of a sudden? It's freezing out here, let's go inside. The scene shifts to Sang-hyun's neighborhood. Getting out of the car, he sincerely says to Joo-hyuk, "Thanks for the ride, Joo-hyuk." Joo-hyuk replies, "No problem," as Sang-hyun turns to head home. But he has to turn back when Joo-hyuk calls out to him. "Hey, Sang-hyun, you still seem pretty worried about YouTube and streaming, huh? Don't rush it. From what I've seen, you're incredibly talented, so no matter what you do, you're bound to succeed." To hear such heartwarming words at the end of the day, it instantly brightens Sang-hyun's mood. He smiles at Joo-hyuk and says, "Thanks, man." As he walks back home, he murmurs, "The weather's getting chilly. Once winter comes, these steps will be completely frozen over." And then he remembers his grandmother. She used to walk right beside him on these very steps. But now he's all alone. He recalls the time he insisted on carrying the groceries for her, helping her up. "Let me carry those bags, Grandma. It's slippery, so please be careful." But his grandmother, always caring more about her grandson, had replied, "Oh, I'm fine." A wave of sadness washes over him as he speaks, but anyone watching would know he isn't just talking to himself. He's sharing his day with his grandmother. "I used to worry so much about you slipping and falling. Grandma, I made about 2.7 million won today. Joo-hyuk didn't even take a single one for helping me out. The money is great, but honestly, it was just really fun. I'm thinking about keeping this up." He pauses, staring quietly at his clenched right hand before slowly continuing, "And my right hand didn't shake at all. It was completely steady." Memories of the past flashed through his mind. The car crash remained a horrific trauma, not just for him, but for his grandmother, too. He could still picture her eyes, so wrinkled, as she secretly cried all by herself. That was why his right arm was more than just a painful memory. It was a hateful curse, the very thing that had brought her so much sorrow. Yet at the same time, it was the one thing that had been with him through everything. His right arm had always been a dark, frustrating shadow clinging to him ever since that day. But now with this very hand, he could finally draw a bow again. Sang-hyun looks up, taking a deep breath, and forces a smile as he speaks. "Isn't it amazing, Grandma? You'd probably faint from joy if you saw me now. If only you could see me. And right now there are so many good people around helping me out. It almost feels like you sent them down to me yourself, Grandma." For some reason, the walk home tonight feels longer than usual. As he continues down the path, he thinks, "I don't even know how to repay them, but I'll do my absolute best." But is it already too late? A tear suddenly trickles down his cheek. He remembers the times his grandmother would playfully smack and scold him. "You wouldn't want me to say it's too late, right? Since you know that you should work even harder." Wiping the tears from his face, he softly replies to her memory, "I know, Grandma. I'll work hard." He drags his weary feet along the road filled with regret and sorrow. If only she were here to see it. It's such a shame, and it's my biggest regret. Meanwhile, viewers and fans who watched Sang-hyun and Acorn Jelly's live stream are posting absolutely wild, hyped-up comments. If you missed Acorn Jelly's stream today, you literally missed out on half your life. And who on earth is almond people who don't know him are missing out on their entire lives? Are they living under a rock or something? A genuine perfect shot actually happened. The boss literally got taken down in just one shot. And that was against the undefeated Goblin King. Is Almond the savior of Kingdom C? Just watch that insane video Acorn Jelly uploaded and pretend it's a teaser trailer. This is insane. Can you really pull off something like that in this game? I'm logging off and getting a refund within 2 hours. This talent gap is just ridiculous. Seeing all these comments with his own eyes, his spirit, Shaemuk goes from slightly panicked to incredibly excited as if he's struck gold. As expected, the reaction is wild. Is this the first time a Kingdom S post has made it into the top 10 on the community boards, sitting nearby and working? Nayeon looks at him in confusion and asks, "Are you browsing the community forums? Is the video really that amazing?" Jaemuk points at his phone and replies, "Nah, nothing special's been posted." Hearing his reply, Nayeon retorts, "Oh, come on, that's not true. I'm talking about the one on the editors community. Were you surprised about the editors? Now everyone knows you didn't even know such a community existed. Let me send you the link so you can check it out." As soon as he opened the link, Seojia sent Sang-hyun's eyes widened in shock and cold sweat began to break out on his face. It was as if heaven itself was lending him a hand. At this moment, Sang-hyun, who had just finished showering, stood in front of the mirror drying his wet hair. "Let's organize what needs to be done based on what we heard yesterday. MyTube live streaming has two main revenue models: viewer donations and ad revenue, which is directly proportional to the number of viewers. This is the main concern of streamers. In another live stream, Mook told everyone that if they received advice, they should show their appreciation through donations. It's just give and take, honestly. And speaking of video editors, during another person's live stream, they also talked about whether everyone knows how to choose headphones when buying a PC. Getting a lot of ads and sponsorships is what people mainly focus on MyTube. Recalling that Sang-hyun thought to himself, among those, the one that suits me best. This is probably the so-called celebrity style on MyTube. Joo Hyuk had said something similar before. At that time, Joo Hyuk said, I think both of them are right. You're definitely not like acorn jelly. You're more like onramen. Then he remembered Joo Hyuk. Joo Hyuk was so hyped up he was even aiming for CFs. At that time, he could only stand by helplessly thinking, slow down, just slow down. Then he thought, but onramen's streaming style is completely opposite to mine. What Joo Hyuk was referring to must be his revenue model, stable revenue from ads and sponsorships. Then, as if waking up, he screamed in his mind, I need to find an editor fast. Sitting in front of his computer screen, he muttered blankly, the revenue is stable, but I need a skilled editor. Should I search for talent through popular game videos? Looking at his computer screen, he saw a post titled, A Compilation of the Legendary Archer of Kingdom. Age. He murmured absent-mindedly, I can't believe this is trending. I'm so lucky. He gasped in utter shock as he realized the protagonist of the post was himself. Wait, is this me? Reading the author's name made him even more dazed, because the person's name was CEO_Gia. He sat in silence, recalling, wait, isn't CEO_Gia the one who donated 1 million won last time? Inside the post was a video with audio and visuals of Sang-hyun playing the game during the mission to eliminate the bandits. At that moment, Roman spoke up, my lady, there is a high risk of bandits roaming this entire mountain region. Should we send a special strike force to subdue them? Following that was a scene of horseback riding and intense sword fighting, causing Sang-hyun, who was watching, to jump up in surprise, unable to believe his eyes. The background music, the color grading, and they even weaved a story into it. This is just like a real movie. He couldn't believe that repetitive battles could be presented in such a thrilling way, making even him amazed by his own gameplay. Is that really me? His jaw dropped in delight as he stared at his cool self on the computer screen. Reading the comments made his joy multiply even further. Honestly, no one can play like this guy. Seriously, it's just a waste of money. Needless to say, if you log in and lose just once, you'll quit immediately. Anyway, the video quality is absolutely insane. The original gameplay was already amazing, but this video took it to a whole new level. He was incredibly thrilled, thinking, all the comments are positive. I should contact Joo Hyuk right away. Then, as he picked up his phone to call Joo Hyuk, he saw a message from him containing the link to the post. Along with this text, I found an amazing person. I'm going to contact them directly through the comments, okay? He gasped in surprise. What? He's watching it too. Sang-hyun immediately texted Joo Hyuk back, wait, but what about the money? We don't have a stable income yet. I haven't even paid you back yet. Joo Hyuk, on the other hand, ignored his panic and replied calmly, don't worry about it. This is a manager's job, so I'll handle it. You just focus on the game. We have to strike while the iron is hot. He was deeply amazed by Joo Hyuk's message, then took a deep breath to refresh his mind, reminding himself, since I have such a reliable manager, it would be so disrespectful if I didn't focus on the game. All right, then. Saying this, he stood up, stretched his limbs, and sat in his gaming capsule, thinking to himself, I'm confident in my archery, but physically I don't stand out compared to other streamers. If I want to keep streaming based on skill, I need to train to learn how to aim, develop my spatial awareness, improve my reflexes, and enhance my dynamic vision. Training is essential. A notification popped up. Please select training difficulty. He paused for a moment. Difficulty. Let's go with the highest level. After a long while, he stepped out, let out a sigh of relief, and headed to the fridge for some food. It took 3 hours to finish. I'm starving, and it's time to start the stream. Sang-hyun poured some dried food out and muttered, no other choice, guess I'll just have a quick snack. Eating, he thought. Besides, it's almost time to check the reactions to the collaboration. And the YouTube video, right? What will the first live results be like? Suddenly, I'm a bit nervous. The notification showed that the live stream would start in 5 seconds. Cut to another location where a man was sighing deeply. Resting his head on his desk, he groaned, did I really make this fantasy game for absolutely nothing? Outside at the country's largest domestic game publisher, the man who was working just now thought, I knew this genre wouldn't be very successful. Commercially, but to think sales would be this abysmal. That man felt like crying right now, but things would get better, wouldn't they? The reviews from the critics were so positive. Resting his forehead in his hand, his eyes were heavy, as if he hadn't slept for days. If we host an event to attract new players, would it make any difference? No way. Only in my dreams would they promote a flop of a game like this. If only a star player would just fall from the sky. He sighed again, looking up with a sorrowful expression. What am I saying? This isn't even an esports game. Where on earth would a star player come from? How do I revive this flop of a game? Tired of sighing, he browsed the web for recent gaming news and a video caught his eye. It was a trending video by Sang-hyun. Intrigued, he clicked on it. What kind of video is this? After watching it, the man couldn't help but marvel. The quality is amazing and the editing is solid, but his gameplay, his skills are what's truly mind-blowing. Is there really a streamer like this? Oh my god, this account was only made a few days ago, a rookie. He was stunned to find out Sang-hyun was a complete rookie in the gaming stream scene. He sat there in silence thinking, it's not just his skills, he actually has a talent for broadcasting too. He read the comments praising Almond. That headshot was literally out of this world. A reaction worth 100,000 won from a stream clip. Almond's stream ended. When is Almond's next broadcast? Turn on notifications for him. After praising him once more, it felt as if a wild beast was waking up and roaring furiously inside him. And he's really handsome too. This is definitely it. He jumped to his feet in excitement. He's a rookie, so his rating won't be high, but if we give him a proper push... He immediately clicked follow on Sang-hyun's account. Afterward, he grew even more thrilled, as if he had just been injected with adrenaline. When a notification popped up right after that Sang-hyun had started broadcasting, he was overjoyed, feeling incredibly lucky. I just followed him. And the stream notification went off instantly. Talk about perfect timing. I need to see his gameplay with my own eyes. Without a moment's hesitation, he clicked on the live stream and froze when he saw the viewer count of over 1,000 on Sang-hyun's channel, which was rapidly climbing. Staring blankly like he'd lost everything he thought in a daze. Was his viewer count always this high? The monitor showed over 1,000 viewers. Sitting in front of the screen, Joo-hyuk was so shocked, he just sat there blankly. Are there really this many viewers right now? Right when the stream started, thousands tuned in and it wasn't stopping. Perfect camera angles, great editing. Either way, once you break through the wall of 1,000 live viewers, you can become a full-time streamer. Kim Joo-hyuk was so thrilled he jumped up, but suddenly the surroundings went pitch black and digital text appeared asking a question. What's going on? Then another line of text popped up complaining and cursing. We're live, you idiot, followed by a flood of other chat messages appearing all at once. The chat was pure chaos. If the people behind those messages could meet face to face, they'd probably be at each other's throats. Yoo Sang-hyun thought of his two friends, Nadion and Dojimuk. They managed everything so well even when the viewer count hit over 50,000. They were absolute pros at this. Yoo Sang-hyun sighed, but now he was completely on his own. But it's fine, I'll do great. After taking a deep breath, he cheered up, pumped himself up, and turned on the mic to welcome his viewers. An energetic voice rang out. A warm welcome from the start. Thank you, everyone. After the opening greeting, Yoo Sang-hyun introduced today's stream topic. Good evening, everyone, tonight. We'll be continuing with Kingdom. The chat immediately started demanding a face cam, complaining, a main stream with no face cam. The messages, oh, kept repeating the same demand for a face reveal, flustering Yoo Sang-hyun. Then someone in the chat posted a message containing his photo. It looked like old videos of him had been leaked. The chat practically exploded over how handsome Yoo Sang-hyun was. As the compliments poured in his face flushed red, holding his head in embarrassment, he muttered, thanks for the compliments, everyone. Since his photos were already leaked anyway, he didn't hesitate to click and turn on his camera. Everyone in the chat was absolutely thrilled that their favorite streamer had finally done a face reveal. Viewers went wild and started showering him with donations. Thank you, everyone. I'll work even harder for you all. Since it's getting late, let's get started. After a few minutes of setting up, the game environment loaded, revealing a sunset sky and a vast meadow. As soon as Yoo Sang-hyun entered, he met a girl. A clear voice rang out. Almond, I've heard all about your skills. You easily wiped out the troublesome goblins in our territory. The chat went wild as Yoo Sang-hyun bashfully deflected. Oh, I just had everyone help me out. No, Emilia continued. I heard everything from Captain Roman. As she spoke, she took his hand. The scene looked incredibly romantic under the sunset glow. The chat spammed messages in a frenzy questioning why they were so close. Ignoring the exploding chat, Amelia went on, "I have another quest for you." It turned out she was just sweet-talking him into doing a quest for her. The chat burst into laughter at the helpless duo. Sang-hyun helplessly asked her, "Why don't you ask Captain Roman?" Her eyes sparkled as she replied, "I want you to do this quest alone. The Lord has already given his permission too." Pointing toward a distant stretch of the meadow where a castle faintly came into view, her smile vanished, replaced by a completely blank, expressionless face. Her face grew dark and gloomy as she pleaded, "Please, eliminate the lord of that castle." Hearing those words was like a bolt out of the blue. It made Sang-hyun feel uneasy, and he asked her, "Does the lord of that castle go out often?" "No, you have to sneak inside," Amelia answered with a completely calm face. Her angelic image instantly shattered, sending the entire chat room into absolute chaos. In a split second, her expression shifted. With teary, glistening eyes, she grabbed Almond's hand and pleaded, "Please, I know you can do it." In the comment section, viewers showered him with donations to cheer him on, saying, "Go get them with that awesome bow of yours," and "Take down that entire fortress with just one arrow." Sitting in front of his computer screen, Yoo Sang-hyun hesitated. With such limited gear, he wasn't sure if he should take such a reckless risk. Meanwhile, Manager Oh, sitting nearby, was also getting a headache. He knew that in Kingdom this was an incredibly difficult quest, and completing it using only a bow was virtually impossible. And that is not even counting the inside. Just trying to clear the outer perimeter, he would be surrounded by guards, crushed by dropping boulders, or turned into a pincushion by a hail of arrows. But none of that was the biggest issue. What worried Manager O the most was Lord Talaran, who wore flawless, heavy armor from head to toe. He was the toughest opponent to face, especially for an archer. But still, what if? What if he actually cleared that quest with just a bow? Manager O pondered. He highly valued Sang-hyun, acknowledging that the young man was incredibly skilled and handsome, but in this industry that alone was not enough. To survive in this industry, to become a true star, you need a little bit of magic. While Manager O was deep in thought, Yoo Sang-hyun accepted the quest. Seeing this, Amelia tilted her head gently and smiled. "I knew you would agree." Instantly, the entire chat room exploded with cheers of support. Sang-hyun closed his eyes, full of determination. "It's going to be tough, but I have to try. If I hesitate now, I'll never get anywhere." Opening his eyes, Sang-hyun perked up. He confidently chatted, "Medieval castles aren't as fortified as you guys think, you know. There are probably only about 50 guards protecting the castle at most. I think I can actually pull this off." But a second later, a doubt crossed his mind, and he wondered why. Amelia wanted the lord of that castle eliminated so badly. Gathering his courage, he asked her. She hesitated for a moment, and her response completely shocked him. "That lord turned his own people into slaves. He forced them into high-interest debt and then enslaved them. Women and children were no exception. If he is dealt with, my family can take care of them. But I don't want a war. And this is the only way." Hearing Amelia's reasoning, Sang-hyun felt even more resolved. An indescribable determination burned in his eyes. A torn, yellowed parchment popped up displaying Sang-hyun's quest target: assassinate Lord Talaran. Night fell, and the eerie howling of wolves echoed through the air. Sang-hyun hid in the tall grass near the castle, following the tips from his stream chat. Once fully prepared, he slipped through the grass, moving swiftly and silently. The chat went wild, witnessing his stealth, and Yoo Sang-hyun grinned happy with his progress. All those 3 hours of daily practice had definitely paid off. Reaching the castle wall, he saw the guards patrolling back and forth, momentarily looking away. In a flash, he dashed forward and pressed himself against the outer wall. Sang-hyun wondered how on earth he was going to climb up without being detected. "I have to be careful. One slip-up and they'll call for backups. Textbook stealth says to approach from behind cover, their mouths, take them down, and lower them slowly without making a sound. But honestly, I don't feel confident with any weapon other than my bow." Seeing this, the chat was stunned. "Are you seriously going to use a bow? No way you'll get caught. If you're doing that, you'll have to kill both of them at the exact same time." However, other viewers immediately disagreed with that idea. Suddenly, inspiration struck him. "Hey guys, I have an idea. There's a way to take them both down at the same time using only one bow." Would Sang-hyun's plan actually work? The chat kept buzzing with comments. "Don't tell me you're going to shoot 2 arrows at once like in the movies. Just go for it, and you can't do that. That's only in the movies. But this is Kingdom." Undeterred, Sang-hyun drew his bow and aimed with absolute focus. The chat continued to debate, "Are you really going to shoot?" It's like 1 against 50. If even one guard gets hit, the rest will sound the alarm if you can't take them all down at once. But his eyes were filled with resolve as absolute confidence surged through him. I can do this. Sang-hyun looked up at the wall, calculating his move. First, aim to the left at a high enough angle so the arrow descends slower. He drew the bow back wide, pointing the arrow high up into the sky over the wall. Several comments popped up in confusion. What on earth is Almond doing? The first arrow was released, soaring high into the night sky. As the arrow successfully took flight, he swiftly pulled another arrow from his quiver, aimed precisely, and fired again. The second arrow flew perfectly into the air. The first arrow arched and plummeted straight toward one guard's head. Seizing the perfect split second, Sang-hyun screamed in his mind, drew his bow, and shot again. This arrow struck the second guard, standing right beside him. One after another, the guards were swiftly taken down. The chat erupted in absolute shock. What the heck? What just happened, Shay? And how did that even work? How is it possible to pull that off at the same time? This is insane. This guy is an absolute beast. I can't believe I got to witness this live. Insane is Almond literally a god now. He covered his forehead with his hand, looking around. None left right. Meanwhile, compliments flooded the chat. That was so cool. This is insane. Can something like this really happen? The chat flashed. Ruby Squad donated 10,001. Oh my god, what was that? Crazy Man donated 1,001. Mom, when I grow up, I want to be like Almond. I want to be Almond. Sang-hyun sat down and happily replied to the comments. Thank you for the donations, Ruby Squad and Crazy Man. More comments popped up. Ship donated 3,001. Even the game developers probably didn't see this coming. No way. Hearing that, he smiled humbly and replied, no, that's not true. Meanwhile, the person watching from the observation room was absolutely speechless with shock. Manager O broke out in a cold sweat. Running a hand through his hair, he thought in utter shock, I never saw this coming at all. I've worked in game distribution for years and met countless players, but I've never seen anyone like him. Then he quickly reached for the phone on his desk. He called Director Mao and instructed him. Director Mao set up a meeting for tomorrow. I'll text you the details of a streamer. We must recruit him at all costs. In the game at the deserted and lifeless fortress wall with the wind howling, a hand struggled to climb up. Sang-hyun was exhausted. Struggling to climb up, he leaned against the wall and groaned. Damn it, this is way too hard. Aside from the archery, the rest of this game is absolute garbage. Around him were 2 eliminated soldiers. The comments started chiming in again. But that's the hardest part. The fact that he made it over the wall is already impressive enough. Normally, people have to try 2 or 3 times. Really? You practiced this beforehand, didn't you? Wiping away his sweat, Sang-hyun chuckled to himself, thinking, well, I actually did practice beforehand. And on the highest difficulty, too. I ran through this section countless times. Repetitive practice is basic for athletes, after all. Then he spoke out loud to himself. First, I've got to clean up these bodies. When he suddenly noticed something. Not far away, a guard was approaching. The silence around him made him suspicious, and he muttered, What's going on? Where did all the guards go? While he grumbled, completely unaware of his impending doom, Are they dozing off somewhere again? Right next to him, with his bow drawn and aiming straight at the guard's head, Sang-hyun took him out swiftly and silently, ensuring the soldiers inside the fortress wouldn't notice a thing. Having dealt with this last one, he casually took off his hood. In front of him, the screen was filled with praise. Insane. Did he aim for the throat to keep them quiet? A single shot to the throat. Probably because it's a vital point, instant death with no bleeding or struggling. Absolutely perfect. Keep it going like this. In the corner, the bodies were piled up. Next to them, a comment marveled, just piling up the bodies like that. This mission seems way too easy for Almond. He's just breezing through it now. But there will be way more enemies inside, so it's bound to get harder. After cleaning up, he casually brushed off his hands. The chat continued. He's clearly a sniper, though. How is he going to pull off close combat against a crowd of enemies? Sang-hyun scouted the area below the castle, looking at the pile of bodies as he thought, Yeah, down there won't be easy at all. What can I do? After a short while, the area below was still heavily guarded, but he had already changed into a guard's uniform. Grimacing slightly in discomfort, he thought, This is more uncomfortable than I expected. This must be the armory. I'll grab a few arrows and get out of here. Then he walked over quite naturally. Meanwhile, a yawning guard approached. Spotting Sang-hyun, he called out, Hey, what are you looking for? Before he could even finish his sentence, Sang-hyun put an arrow right through his head. The viewers screamed in absolute shock. What are you doing? Are you really planning to kill everyone? It looks like he doesn't understand the mission. You only need to kill the Lord. But behind him, another soldier approached. Sang-hyun immediately went on high alert while the chat comments read, "He's been spotted." He slowly drew his bow, a wave of nostalgia washing over him. This really brings back memories, he thought. It reminds me of my competition days. Back then, I couldn't hear a single thing. I was completely focused on the target in front of me. In that very moment, everything complicated became simple. There was only hitting the target or missing it. Then the arrow flew. In this world, those were the only two possible outcomes. The arrow struck the soldier right in the head. With a serious and confident gaze, he stared straight ahead. Facing such a harsh crossroad has made me so much stronger. Sang-hyun quickly moved forward as the chat buzzed. That was way too loud. This is supposed to be an assassination, Alan. It looks like Alan is so focused he's not even checking the chat. A spear-wielding soldier rushed toward him, shouting, "Hey, you there!" The chat flashed again. "They're coming! Does that mean he failed? No way even Alan makes mistakes." Sang-hyun spun around, drew his bow, and shot an arrow straight into the soldier's leg. The comment section chimed in, "Looks like Alan is tense and off his game." This is a total disaster run. The loud noise drew everyone's attention. A soldier rushed over and yelled, "Damien! It's the archer! Stop right there!" But all he got in response was Sang-hyun's seemingly innocent back. Running, Sang-hyun suddenly slid to a halt, a beautiful move. He drew his bow, aiming right at them, and let the arrow fly. It instantly pierced the head of the loud-mouthed soldier, terrifying the ones behind him. The soldier who had rushed to help his comrade with the leg wound gasped in shock. What the hell? In a flash, Sang-hyun loosed 2 arrows at those 2 soldiers. The chat exploded again with viewers leaving likes. This guy basically got his own comrade killed. He literally used his enemy as bait. He definitely has military experience. An archer trained in the army for sure. Having cleared the obstacles, Sang-hyun didn't waste a second and quickly pressed forward. All right, that's taken care of. Now time to head inside. As he climbed onto the wall, 2 pairs of eyes met in a daze. He locked eyes with a guard, then quickly drew and shot before the man could even react. The guard's body slumped down immediately, alerting the other soldiers. A terrified soldier screamed, "Intruder!" A guard blew his horn, and as the alarm echoed, a swarm of soldiers rushed toward Sang-hyun's position. They pointed their sharp weapons straight at him, but he just stood there, completely unfazed. Sang-hyun's eyes remained cold and indifferent as he stared at the crowd of soldiers. The chat started panicking. "Oh no, how did he end up surrounded like this? There's no way he survives this. He's toast." It was over. An entire squad surrounded him, fully armed and looking menacing. But then a curious comment popped up in the chat. "What is he going to do?" The soldiers roared and charged at Sang-hyun in unison. "Die!" Worried comments flooded the screen. "Oh no, this is bad." Some viewers grew frustrated. Did he completely forget the golden rule of stealth? Others were just confused. "You're totally busted now. What's the plan?" But he was far from helpless. Every arrow he released claimed a life. He thought to himself, "It doesn't matter if I'm exposed." A system alert chimed. Rapid-fire skill activated. Sang-hyun reached behind his back, grabbed a handful of arrows, and slammed them into the ground in front of him. Taking his stance, his hands moved in a blur as he drew and fired. With a row of arrows planted firmly before him, he fired in rapid succession. Every single arrow took down a soldier. One by one, they fell. The soldiers lay dead, and the survivors were paralyzed with fear. But they wouldn't have to wait long because they were next. The first wave of soldiers was completely wiped out. This immediately made the reinforcements hesitate, terrified to take a step forward. A spear-wielding soldier stuttered in fear. What is this?" "Every single arrow is a headshot." Looking down at the corpses of his comrades, he trembled and whispered, "He's a monster." He then shrieked in absolute terror, "He's a monster! Run for your lives!" At his cry, the soldiers turned and trampled over each other to escape. In the dark of the night, with the moon hidden behind the clouds, it was the perfect night for a slaughter. The fleeing soldier cast a terrified look back at Sang-hyun. A cloud of dust kicked up behind him as he closed the distance at an insane speed. With a face full of murderous intent, he pursued them. The soldiers panicked and ran even faster, screaming, "He's coming after us!" "Run faster." The chat was in awe once again. No way is he seriously running and shooting at the same time. How is he doing that at such high speed? Sang-hyun aimed and shot while on the run. Of course it is, he thought. Even though my right arm isn't physically moving within this virtual space, absolute concentration makes anything possible. He loosed another perfectly aimed arrow. It struck a soldier dead center in the head. Coldly, he drew his bow again. With every arrow, another soldier fell. The spearman looked back and witnessed the slaughter, paralyzed with fear. Trembling violently, he kept running, tears and snot streaming down his face. "Please, mercy," he sobbed. But before he could finish, an arrow pierced the back of his skull. Blood splattered everywhere. After a brief flurry of arrows, the soldiers lay dead, scattered like fallen leaves. As the bodies lay scattered across the ground, Sang-hyun stopped breathing heavily and drenched in sweat. He wiped his brow, flashed a captivating smile at the camera, and asked, "Well, how was that?" The chat went wild. "That was insane." "So cool." "Is this what they call a killer smile?" "Incredible skills, gorgeous face." "He's so cool." Ruby Squad donated 10,000 won. Quan Ozone donated 1,000 won. Oppa, "I'm totally swooning here. Take all my money." Thor donated 5,000 won. "You're awesome." Cracker donated 2,000 won. Sang-hyun smiled as he looked at the flood of donation alerts. He felt a wave of relief, thinking to himself that people were finally starting to donate. "Looks like my stream is doing all right after all." Awesome. He slowly stepped down the stairs and said, "Now should we write down the Lord's name?" and took a firm step forward. Leaving bloody footprints behind, Sang-hyun gently pushed the door open. Standing right in front of him was a giant clad in full armor. Holding a massive sword while sitting on the main throne, Sang-hyun scrutinized him. "Is that the Lord?" I honestly expected some fat old guy. He really gives off major boss vibes. His eyes widened in surprise, sparkling with curiosity. Sensing something off, he asked the chat, "But wait, why? Why is he just sitting there waiting for me like he knew I'd sneak in? Shouldn't he have gone out there to retreat?" The chat exploded with excitement, screaming, "You said it! You leaked the secret! It's totally scripted!" Just as the comments flashed by, a massive blade suddenly flew straight toward him. Sang-hyun froze in place. It missed him by a hair. It was such a powerful throw. That white smoke was rising from the knight's hand. He roared in anger, "Did you come alone?" Sang-hyun quickly composed himself, drawing his bow as he got ready to fight. To throw a greatsword that easily, he's incredibly strong. But then he suddenly realized something. He stood there helplessly drawing his bow as the chat started celebrating. Finally realized it. It's hopeless, isn't it? Sang-hyun stared at the knight, thinking, "It really is hopeless. That armor is flawless." The knight slowly gestured with a finger, beckoning them forward, and a horde of his underlings marched out in force. Every single one of them was clad in that seamless armor. The knight sat back down on his throne while his henchmen drew their swords and advanced on him. The chat buzzed with anxiety. "He's summoning minions now, what do we do?" "They're fully armored. Even landing a hit is going to be tough. A sharp weapon would be our best bet right now." Sang-hyun started analyzing the situation. "A weapon? That greatsword could work, but should I use a weapon I'm not familiar with? No. That's too risky. I can't pierce through that armor with a bow. Even though I don't play games much, I know the basic rules." The anxious chat chimed in. "This is terrifying. Shouldn't we just run for it? Grab the sword, hurry." He calmly continued to analyze the situation. Every game, every quest has a way to be cleared. As long as the bow is in the weapon inventory, the game will always have a way to clear the quest using it. His gaze remained firm as he drew his bow, and suddenly a spark flashed in his eyes. Sang-hyun scanned the room carefully, observing the minion still gripping his sword tightly, waiting in silence. The knight also silently watched the situation unfold. Then Sang-hyun smiled as if he had just found the key. One of the minions finally lunged, swinging his sword toward Sang-hyun. He swiftly dodged to the side, spun around, and coldly drew his bow, aiming straight at the minion. In a flash, the minion's helmet was knocked clean off. Sang-hyun had skillfully shot the arrow right into the ring on top of the helmet. The chat was completely blown away. He knocked the helmet off with just one arrow. Holy shit, is that even possible? As the first helmet hit the ground, the other minions froze in terror. Sang-hyun quickly released 2 more arrows. The chat erupted. "So that's how you do it this time? Yet are you even human?" Each arrow had precisely knocked off the remaining 2 helmets. The first minion, now helmetless, clutched his face in rage. "You bastard!" he roared, lunging straight at him with his sword. The soldier closed in, executing a horizontal slash. Sang-hyun quickly leaned back, dodging it effortlessly. He released the bowstring, and the arrow flew instantly, pinning straight into the minion's forehead. In the next split second, he pulled out more arrows, aiming at the other 2. Sang-hyun thought with cold disdain, too late. 2 arrows shot out, hitting the other 2 before they could even react. As he lowered his bow, the two minions collapsed to the ground with a thud. A chilling silence fell over the game. Meanwhile, the chat exploded with excitement. That bow was literally made for you. He's the Korean god of archery. This is insane. The bow is so OP. Sitting on his throne, the Lord gripped his greatsword tightly. He offered a word of praise, not bad, but the chat was already starting to panic again. But what about the Lord himself? He doesn't even have a ring on his helmet. He stood up, swinging his sword to warm up. The chat practically screamed, "He's coming," but Sang-hyun remained calm, thinking, 3 arrows to the head. The conditions are met. Now I just need to test my theory. A blue energy surged into his bow. His gaze grew sharper and more serious than ever. Let's see if I'm right. The system voice rang out, rapid fire activated. Sang-hyun prepared to unleash the skill once again. A flurry of arrows rained straight down, pinning into the ground. The chat chimed in again. I totally forgot he still had this skill, but what on earth is he trying to do with that? He drew the bowstring taut, a surge of energy pulsing through his body as he aimed the arrow straight at the Lord. An overwhelming pressure radiated from the boss as he slammed his massive blade into the ground with a resounding crash. How pathetic. An arrow like that won't ever kill me. The chat panicked once again. We're screwed. He literally just said arrows won't work. What's the point of even using a bow then? Despite the NPC's official warning not to use a bow, Sang-hyun remained confident. He focused solely on his arrow, thinking it would be fine. I've got a plan. He then shot an arrow straight at the Lord's heart, but as expected, it didn't leave a single scratch. The Lord sneered, "Did you not understand a single word I just said?" Then flying into a rage, he roared, "I already told you. It's useless. I'm going to grind you to dust." Taking heavy steps toward Sang-hyun, he snarled, "How dare you turn my castle into such a mess?" Another arrow flew, hitting the exact same spot. The Lord barked, "What do you think you're doing?" Yet another arrow struck the same spot. He laughed mockingly as the arrows kept coming. "How utterly foolish. What do you honestly think you can accomplish with this?" This time he drew 3 arrows at once and let them fly. The Lord gasped at the sheer speed of the arrows, but Sang-hyun coldly kept firing, thinking to himself, "Faster, sharper." Right at his heart, sparks flew from the impact of the arrows hitting the armor. The chat went wild, screaming, "Oh my God, there are actual sparks. This guy is a monster." Is he a welder or what? Just how hard do you have to shoot to make sparks fly like that? Did you guys see that? Almond saw a crack in the armor. Sensing the danger, the Lord quickly went on the offensive, but Almond kept firing. The chat screamed, "That arrow was so close." Behind Sang-hyun's back, his quiver was running dry. With eyes as sharp as a predator, he loosed another deadly arrow, thinking, "No, this is more than enough." The arrow soared, piercing straight through the already weakened spot. It cleared the path, completely shattering the final layer of defense on the Lord's armor. Shocked and utterly bewildered, the Lord stammered, How is this possible?" Just as the final arrow hurtled toward him, it pierced straight into his chest, delivering the killing blow. Blood splattered, staining the arrow crimson as the Lord's life force drained to 0, and he collapsed to the ground with a heavy thud. Seeing this, the chat exploded. They cheered wildly while Sang-hyun collapsed to his knees, letting out a heavy sigh of relief. Almond, Mom, when I grow up, I want to be just like him. This is absolutely insane. Bro, I love you so much, I think my heart's gonna stop. Almond is incredible. He literally gave him a heart attack. A final boss dying of a heart attack, what a shock. Lord Talaran just had a heart attack and died because of Almond. Full Body donated 5,000 won, you deserve to be my ally. This Way donated 10,000 won, you had to hit the exact same spot over and over just to break that armor right. Clenching his fist with pride, he thought, I actually did it again. 3 hours of training followed immediately by a high-difficulty quest. It was a grueling schedule, but the sweet taste of victory kept giving him the strength to push through time and time again. After a brief rest, Sang-hyun stood up and thanked his viewers. Thanks for the donation This Way. Thanks, Full Body, but what do you mean by ally? Thank you so much. I didn't count exactly, but I think it took about 40 shots. It seems like if you keep hitting the same spot continuously, it'll eventually break. The chat chimed in. Streamer Almond is officially a pro now. You're not going to quit gaming again, right? LOL. He's not a kid anymore. He's really leveled up. As Sang-hyun kept talking, a special comment caught his eye. Now let's go check out Amelia's shocked face. The comment read, CEO Gia donated 300,000 won. You're seriously cool. The chat exploded yet again. Oh my god, shut up, I'm trying to celebrate here. Damn, isn't that the person who donated 1 million? One during Almond's collab stream last time for a rich kid, 100,000 one is already enough to end the stream, so what's going to happen with 300,000? Is he going to do a backflip and shut down the stream right now? So we all agree that this stream is officially over, right? Reading the comments, he couldn't help but feel a twinge of envy. Man, I'm so jealous of this rich kid. Meanwhile, outside the game at a city subway station, crowds of people were squeezing onto a train. A girl wearing a striking red hat stood among them. The PA speaker announced, "The exit is on your left." As she tried to push her way out, someone in front of her snapped, "Hey, people are trying to get on, stop pushing." Angered, she thought, "I just need to get out of here." After an exhausting struggle, she finally made it out. Catching her breath, she thought of the grating noises and the suffocating crowds. How much longer do I have to let myself be swept away by all of this? Trudging through the dark, she thought, instead of diving headfirst into these fierce waves, how nice would it be if I could just lay my head on a vast, empty sea? Gia stared sadly at her cold, tiny apartment. Dropping her bag to the floor with a thud, she muttered, "Has it already started?" Suddenly, her face lit up with a bright smile. Let's see what we have here. On the TV, a gaming show was playing. "Thank goodness I made it just in time," she said, opening a bag of snacks to munch on as she watched, thinking, "His stream is the only joy left in my life. Honestly, I only started watching because of his name. But the moment I tuned in, I was instantly hooked." Watching a certain scene unfold, Gia muttered, "This quest is so bizarre. How is anyone supposed to clear this?" Then, caught off guard by the sudden turn of events on screen, she gasped, "Wait, he actually accepted it. Is he really going to try and clear it?" A replay of Sang-hyun's incredible plays filled the screen. Gia sat there completely absorbed and smiling as she watched. The shot of him drawing his bow looked incredibly cool and crisp. She couldn't help but burst into a fit of giggles covering her mouth as she laughed, saying, "What on earth?" On screen, Sang-hyun draws his bow and shoots, blasting the helmet off as Gia sits there watching. Her eyes sparkle as she tracks his every move. Then his ultimate skill is unleashed, striking the giant lord straight in the heart. Sang-hyun brings down the massive boss with his incredible archery skills. Completely acting like a fangirl, she screams in excitement, "This is amazing! He actually cleared the quest!" She flails her arms and legs, totally flustered as she speaks. "I need to donate. How much should I donate? 100? No. Should I do the same as last time?" Just then a notification pops up next to Gia. "Ruby Shot has donated 10,000 won. If you pull off a perfect shot during the collab stream, I'll give you another 100,000. She narrows her eyes with a serious, determined look. "No, let's go with 300,000 won this time. I refuse to lose to anyone when it comes to donations, though I have spent quite a bit already. But hey, this is the price of happiness." In the game, Sang-hyun is happily receiving gifts from his viewers. He says, 300,000. Wow, thank you so much, CEO Gia. Hearing this, Gia thinks to herself in excitement, the name sounds so familiar to him. He actually remembers me. Now how are you going to react? Sang-hyun rests his chin on his hand, deep in thought. Let's see. A backflip to end the stream. Sounds good, I'll do it. But comments start popping up in the chat. So it's a deal, right? Are you really doing that again? You have to do it 300 times this time, hurry up. With that, he quickly performs a backflip. However, a notification pops up on his screen showing the reason he can't log out. Sang-hyun looks down at his hands, completely helpless. Well, it looks like since I enabled optimization, doing that doesn't disconnect me anymore. Seeing this, the chat reacts playfully. "Aw, so you can't log out now. Did a streamer just lose his signature move because of optimization? So, you're not closing the game and keeping the stream going, right?" He scratches his head, chuckling as he waves his hand in refusal. "No can do. I guess I'll just have to close it manually. Thanks again, CEO Gia." The chat replies, "Aw, he really did turn off the stream. Seriously, no matter how we celebrate, he still shuts it down. Well, it is already 2 in the morning. Back in reality, Sang-hyun has logged out. He sighs wearily, sitting in his gaming capsule while drying his hair with a towel. So even if I die in the game, it won't automatically disconnect me anymore. I was actually pretty surprised when it didn't shut down. But seeing their reaction, it seems like doing that was actually worth it. I managed to get a reaction out of them that was easily worth 300,000 won. That was lucky. But this viewer, CEO Gia, didn't she also donate a huge amount during the collab stream? I wonder what she does for a living. It's honestly a bit mind-blowing. She's probably quite young too, considering she donates this much. To spend that much in just one stream is a bit... Realizing he is overthinking it, Sang-hyun checks himself. Wait, am I being too judgmental here? How is a streamer supposed to survive if they feel guilty about receiving donations? She's probably just a rich kid anyway. Meanwhile, in Gia's room, she is happily sprawled out on the floor. Today's stream was so much fun, she says, quickly pushing herself up. Ah, right, I need to edit the video. Gia scrolls through a list of songs, her voice filled with excitement. Which one should I use? This background music doesn't quite fit. Oh, this one works. Company resources sure come in handy at times like this. I think I can use this track. It looks like other people use it too. Today's content had such a clear storyline and the visuals were outstanding. He played even better than last time. If he keeps improving like this, the videos I edit are only going to get more and more impressive. She pauses for a moment, then smiles happily before diving back into her video editing. She thinks to herself, this video is going to be absolutely perfect. Early the next morning, a phone ring suddenly breaks the silence. A groggy Sang-hyun picks up. Hello? The voice on the other end speaks up. Were you sleeping? Sang-hyun replies, what do you think? Joo-hyuk chuckles and replies, well then, lunch today is lasagna. Lasagna is explained as a flat or sheet-style Italian pasta. It is a type of pasta baked in a large block prepared by stacking sheets of pasta with layers of filling primarily made of meat, vegetables, and cheese. Joo-hyuk apologizes sheepishly. Sorry, I thought you were going to hang up on me. Still lying lazily on his bed, Sang-hyun tiredly replies, at least you know. He continues, but seriously, why are you calling so early in the morning? Working from his own bed, Joo-hyuk replies, we have a situation, remember. Gia know the person who edited those video clips for you. Puzzled, Sang-hyun asks, what about her? He replies, she's not reading my comments. The comment section displays a message from Almond Archer 12 hours ago. Hello, I am the manager of the streamer Almond. We would like to discuss a few things with you, SEO Gia. Please contact us at almondarcher@gmail.com, replay 29, passerby 1. Oh look, there is a contact info, passerby 2, user DMSL 23R31 11 hours ago. Why are they looking for her? Passerby 3. User Pixel 29 VML 11 hours ago. They are probably looking for a video editor. Joo-hyuk continues, her Chibi account is private. Dispirited, he asks back, really now what? On the other end of the line? Joo-hyuk suggested, how about you bring it up the next time she donates? Hearing that, Sang-hyun sat up in bed and immediately rejected the idea. No way, I don't like that approach. With a sigh of helplessness, he said, fine then, we'll just wait, even if finding someone takes longer. Sang-hyun playfully replied, sounds like a plan. In the end, he was the first to compromise and replied, all right, I only called to let you know. Hang up now. Sang-hyun scratched his head, his mind a bit jumbled. After a moment of conflicted thoughts, Sang-hyun grabbed a coat and went outside carrying a large trash bag. Staring down at the trash bag, he thought to himself, cleaning up is the best. But even though I go up and down these stairs every day, I can't help but sigh each time. Exhaling a cold breath, he muttered helplessly, whatever, let's just count it as exercise. I'll get used to it soon enough. As he was walking leisurely, someone suddenly opened a door and bumped hard into him. The person panicked. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. While Sang-hyun sat flat on the ground in agonizing pain, Gia anxiously stepped forward and asked, are you okay? Are you hurt? Looking up with his incredibly handsome face, Sang-hyun grimaced slightly and replied, I'm fine. I'm okay. She suddenly went dead silent, even dropping her phone on the ground. Gia covered her mouth, utterly astonished. Confused, Sang-hyun thought, what's up with her, and asked, are you all right? If you're okay, I'll be on my way. Feeling a bit awkward, he finally threw the trash bag away. A text message popped up. Checking it, he thought, sweating it out really does make me feel much better. Sang-hyun picked up the call and asked, what's up? The person on the other end said excitedly, it's uploaded. Confused, he asked, what's uploaded? Joo-hyuk, who was happily eating breakfast, replied, have you seen Sel Gia's YouTube video yet? This video is absolutely amazing. It just premiered and already has 30,000 views. The screen showed a cool image of the archer celebrating after taking down a castle all by himself. He continued, and there are over 100 comments. Joo-hyuk kept rambling on. It's trending at number 78 in the gaming category. At this rate, it'll reach 200,000 views within 24 hours. Sang-hyun found it hard to believe. That's incredible. Joo-hyuk continued, I left our contact info as soon as the video went live, so now we just wait. Gratefully, Sang-hyun replied, all right, thanks buddy, gotta go. The call ended. Suddenly, a voice called out from behind, excuse me. Gia ran up to him panting. Seeing her, he thought, It's that girl from earlier. Hearing her apologize, he looked around himself.
What is it? Did I drop something?
Jia stammered. And suddenly thrust a notebook in front of Sang-hyun, startling him. Blushing and catching her breath, she said, "Could you please give me your autograph?" Stunned, Sang-hyun thought, "My autograph?" He froze, wondering, could she actually be my fan? Pointing stiffly at himself, he asked, "Do you watch my stream?" She responded with a firm nod. Still in disbelief, Sang-hyun thought, "I'm not even famous yet, and I'm already bumping into a fan right by my house. I can't believe this is actually happening. And right on the slope near my house of all places." Seeing him silent, she asked anxiously, "Is it not okay?" Snapping out of it, he signed it gently and replied, "No, of course you can have it." "What's your name?" Jia quickly and happily replied, "Thank you. My name is Jia." Hearing her name, his hand froze mid-signature. Standing up straight, she happily repeated, "I'm Sel Jia." At a busy cafe, Joo-hyuk asked warmly, "So you've edited videos before?" Jia replied a bit nervously, "Yes, it's my major and also my hobby." Dropping his playful attitude, he said seriously, "That's really impressive." She replied nervously, "Yes." Joo-hyuk said cheerfully, but Jia felt a bit worried. "To be honest, we were actually looking for you." Jia thought, "Why? I can't believe we crossed paths like this." Puzzled, she asked, "Why were you looking for me?" Joo-hyuk happily rummaged through his briefcase. "It's nothing serious." He then placed 3 contract agreements on the table and with a confident professional look in his eyes, handed her a pen. "Would you like to work with us?" Sitting next to them, Sang-hyun thought skeptically, "I called him right after I heard her name. Where on earth did he find the time to prepare all this?" Jia stammered, "Work with you." Joo-hyuk quickly caught on and noticed Sel Jia's hesitation. His voice turned cool as he asked, "Do you know something?" She looked up and replied, "Pardon." Joo-hyuk's gaze grew cold. With a serious expression, he said, "The video you just uploaded actually seems to have a monetization issue." Jia stammered, What kind of issue?" Then with a casual smile, he replied, "Legal stuff like copyright and content usage. Basically, fan channels can't be monetized." She stammered, "Monetization, but I already donated to him." A notification popped up. What? Jia donated 1 million won. She spoke with an innocent face, leaving the two of them with no choice but to nod in acceptance. "That's right." Her eyes sparkled, each word cutting deeper into Joo-hyuk. "It seems you don't realize these videos aren't meant for making money. In fact, they haven't made any profit yet." He spoke up flusteredly. "Of course I know. What I'm suggesting here is, why don't we make profitable videos together?" Seeing that Jia didn't seem fazed, he thought in surprise. Normally, when someone gets a collaboration offer like this, others are usually curious about the profits, but she doesn't seem to care at all. Is making money not her goal? Actually, I used to think she was from a wealthy family, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So those massive donations were probably just because she really loves Almond's streams. And the videos are purely out of fan love. If that's the case... He finally spoke up. Joo-hyuk thought of a way to convince her. He said bluntly, shocking the other two, "I need help from the editor Seljia and only Seljia." Hearing that, Sang-hyun quickly turned to whisper to Joo-hyuk, "What on earth are you talking about?" He replied, "Just watch." She stuttered, "You mean, he needs you?" Jia shyly pointed at herself. An explosion went off in his head. It worked. Then Joo-hyuk happily dragged him into it. "You have no idea how long he's been looking for you, Jia. Right, Almond?" His actions left Sang-hyun flustered, making him hesitate. "I really want to work with you. You can make the videos however you like. I really truly need your help." Jia choked up and muttered, "Help." She fell into deep thought. How long had it been? Since the last time someone said they needed my help, I've always been so lonely by myself. She happily replied, "Then let me think about it," much to the delight of the man opposite her. "Awesome." Suddenly, Jia interrupted. But there's a problem." She looked straight at them and said with a hint of worry, "There is one issue. My current company. Yeah, doesn't allow me to sign 2 contracts at 2 different places at the same time. If I sign a contract as an official editor, I'll have to quit my current job. But I need money to make ends meet, and my current salary isn't too bad. Besides, relying solely on profits from making videos feels too risky." She thought to herself, "In short, right now, I really need a steady salary." Under the table, Sang-hyun clenched his fists. He thought, "It's already been a week since I last streamed. Now I can't even afford to buy Joo-hyuk a drink, let alone pay his salary." Anxiously, he turned and whispered to Joo-hyuk, "Hey, maybe we should think this through a bit more before we—" But the man next to him just smiled confidently. He slowly pulled a laptop out of his bag and said, "Coincidentally, I just received this in my email." Important content appeared on the screen. He said, "An offer to become a partner streamer with Pang." The screen read, "Hello, this is Kim Yi-gong from the marketing department of game publisher Pang." Ju-hyuk said, "As you can see, the subsidy clause includes the costs for hiring an editor." Sang-hyun sat next to him, his mind in a tangled mess. Damn, a huge publisher like Pang wants me. After a moment of thought, she quickly agreed, "Yes, okay, I'll sign the contract." He silently observed Gia. He thought, since it's a matter of making a living, she should have hesitated a bit, but she was willing to sign from the very start. Maybe she just couldn't stand that company anymore. I totally relate. Yoo-hyuk then started to discuss the salary. "Your base salary will be 25 million won a year, and on top of that, the company will give bonuses. It plus 40% of the profits from your YouTube videos. Of course, you could also opt for an equal split of all the profits. But if you do that, you won't get a base salary." Gia quickly replied, her hand moving smoothly to sign, "I prefer having a stable base salary." He smiled and replied, "Sounds like a plan." In the end, they left on good terms. Joo-hyuk smiled and said to her, "So when Pang gets back to me, I'll get in touch with you. I'm counting on you." Suddenly, Gia remembered and asked, "What about the videos I already posted on my channel?" He generously replied, "You'll probably need to re-upload those videos to the official channel." She happily replied and turned to leave. "Okay, just let me know once a decision is made." After she walked away, he nudged Joo-hyuk with his elbow. "Hey, is that partner streamer thing for real? You aren't lying to me, are you?" Hearing that, he replied with a hint of annoyance, "Who are you calling a liar? How could I lie about something like that?" Hearing that, Sang-hyun asked in disbelief, "Seriously, though, a company like that actually wants me?" He smiled brightly and said, "I was pretty shocked when I saw it this morning, too. You're going to sign it, right?" He quickly replied, "Of course. With terms that good, how could I possibly pass it up?" Then the two walked home together. Joo-hyuk said, "By the way, Gia was really cool and straightforward today. Since she's your fan, I thought recruiting her would be a breeze." Sang-hyun quickly countered, "No way. Being a fan is one thing, but signing a contract with your idol is another." Joo-hyuk scratched his face, hesitating. "No, but if she donating that much money, it means she must really like you, right? But she seems pretty serious and cold. I was surprised, too. I mean, she didn't even smile once while talking to us earlier. But anyway, if she's that professional, it'll be great working with her in the future." He sighed. "Well, you're right." Meanwhile, as soon as Gia got home, she quickly changed out of her clothes, hopped onto her bed, pulled the covers over her head, and rolled around in pure bliss. She held her face, unable to contain her excitement, thinking, "I can't believe this. Just meeting Almond in person makes me feel like my dream has come true. But actually becoming Almond's editor is on a whole other level. Holding the contract, she thought it was just too good to be true." "But it's not a dream. I'm finally out of my slump," she whispered to herself. Then she remembered her past when her colleagues mocked her. "Hey, what can a community college graduate even do? If you don't work here, where else would you go?" She wondered if there was any other place out there that would treat me as well as this place did. Gia thought, "I really thought I'd be stuck in that dead-end place forever. Who would have thought someone would actually recognize my talent?" She scrolled through the comments below the video. "The video quality is no joke. The genius archer is like a god, on descending to earth. A genius filmmaker has risen from the depths. The archer who single-handedly took over the castle. Almond's fan. Editor Gia, I'm really looking forward to the next video." Reading those comments made Gia feel happy. A smile played on her lips as she thought, "I don't know why, but I have this strange feeling." Sang-hyun had also gotten home. He thought, "I should start a bit early today. I'm going to stream at a random time, but it should be fine since I stream almost every day anyway." "I stream almost every day, right?" He stepped into the gaming capsule and booted it up. A stream of messages popped up. "Here is the video and the intro song, Gia intro video.zip. Just follow the instructions I sent along with it to install it." Seeing this, Sang-hyun was stunned, thinking, "We just said goodbye not too long ago. Did she really finish it this quickly?" He quickly replied, "How did you make this so fast?" Gia quickly answered, "Oh, I didn't do it all today. I've actually been working on it bit by bit for a while now." He stared at the screen in amazement, thinking, "I never would have guessed her hobby was making things like this in her free time. I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do when she puts her all into her work." Sang-hyun quickly sent a thank you message. "Thank you so much, I'll make sure to put it to good use." The system notified everyone that Almond was starting his stream. Eager viewers tuned in immediately as if they had been waiting for this exact moment for ages. Today, he was starting early. The chat started buzzing. No way I'm not the first one here. What is this? He has an intro now. Even the intro looks like a movie. Wait, did editor Gia make this LOL? This is totally her vibe. Don't tell me he actually hired her. The viewer count rose rapidly. 1,005. 1,208. Sang Hyun appeared and greeted everyone. Hello. The chat exploded again. LOL Ruby Squad donated 1,001. Are we finally going to get to see Amelia's surprised face today? Eslank donated 1,001 saying, Hey, Almond. Teleporting into the game, he thanked his supporters. Thank you, Ruby Squad and Eslank, for the donations. Let the Kingdom Age begin. The comments started rolling in. The corpses from yesterday are still there today. While he was taking a break, things didn't get any better at all. The man who single-handedly destroyed that castle. No witnesses, so this is technically an assassination, right? Sang Hyun spoke, pointing behind the door. Now I need to report to Amelia, but before that, honestly, since I cleared this stage all by myself, it should be fine if I take a few items as loot, right? He boasted happily. The chat replied, Holy crap, honestly, you could take everything and still be innocent, LOL. Sang Hyun stood there, hesitating over which bow to choose. Which one should I take? The chat chimed in with advice. What kind of bows are those? The middle one for sure. Definitely the one on the left. Left. Sang Hyun opened the golden chest. It was blindingly bright, glowing intensely. The chat redirected him, exclaiming, That looks so badass! Over there was a new set of armor, and Sang Hyun stared in awe. Taking slow steps toward it, he quickly put on the new gear. He looked much more handsome now. The chat showered him with praise. That looks so sick. Can you take some more? He replied. I think because of the weight limit, I can only take this much. The chat was filled with disappointment. Damn weight limit. If this were any other game, you could have just hoarded everything into your inventory. What a shame. Sang Hyun chuckled and walked toward the stable. But hey, at least I won't get one shot by anything anymore. All right, let's go finish the quest. He rode majestically on horseback. The next day, standing before a new castle, Sang Hyun spoke, It goes back to that day. Fortunately, time doesn't move in real time. That comment was spot on. In the distance, someone recognized him and called out, Is that you? He was relieved to see Amelia. Her carriage pulled up and he politely bowed. She asked in utter shock, How on earth did you get back so soon? Sang Hyun replied coldly, My lady, I've come to report on the progress of the mission. Caught off guard. Amelia ordered her attendant, I need to speak with him privately. Leave us, please. The servant hesitated for a moment, but had to comply. Yes, my lady, but... She raised her voice, Hurry up. The terrified servant quickly replied, Ah, yes, understood. Amelia politely gestured for him to follow her. Please come this way. Sang Hyun quickened his pace to follow her, replying, Understood. As they walked, Amelia looked back and asked, By any chance, did you change your mind? He replied flatly, No. I'm here to report that I have completed the mission. Hearing this, she was absolutely stunned. She raised her voice, What? I only gave you this mission 2 days ago. He replied with utter indifference, innocently counting the days. Has it been 2 days already? 1 day for the round trip, half a day to prepare, and half a day for the attack. The chat comments cried out in disbelief. In reality, he finished it in a single day. That speed is insane. Amelia, paralyzed with shock, gasped in her mind, Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Her eyes suddenly lit up and she quickly turned to Sang Hyun. Wait a minute. Did you say Clopage attack? I'm quite sure I asked you to assassinate them, so... about that. The security was so tight that I just went ahead and killed all the guards. He scratched his head, acting like it was completely normal. Hearing this, her brain completely short-circuited. After a long pause to process, she shrieked in sheer terror, What on earth did you just say? A bunch of question marks appeared over Amelia's panicked face. The live comments floating in the air joyfully joked, Amelia LOL. This is going to make an amazing meme, LOL. Amelia cleared her throat awkwardly, trying to compose herself. She calmly asked Sang Hyun, So, you're saying Castle Talaton is now completely deserted? Sang Hyun politely replied to her question, Yes, there is no one left there. The moment he spoke, more floating comments poked fun. Well, of course. Because they were all killed, LOL. Ignoring the teasing comments, Amelia gasped in awe of his achievement. You conquered Castle Talaton all on your own. Talaton! Sang Hyun looked puzzled by her reaction. Immediately after, Amelia instantly made up her mind. Then we cannot afford to wait any longer. Confused, he asked. Wait, what do you mean? Emilia ignored his confusion and firmly ordered her retinue. To protect the citizens there, we, the Innerist territory, must take urgent action. Everyone prepare the carriages. We are heading to Castle Talaran. We must get there, before other nobles can get their hands on it. Her attendant immediately replied, "Understood, my lady, I will prepare everything right away." A carriage arrived and pulled up right in front of the two of them. Emilia boarded the carriage and began talking to her maid, but suddenly realized something and turned back to call him. Caught off guard by Emilia's call, he blinked in confusion and softly replied, "Yes." Emilia gently asked him as he stood there looking lost,
What are you just standing there for, Hop-In? I have so many questions for you.
Emilia giggled warmly at Sang-hyun. The chat comments kept popping up, leaving him flustered. Awesome! Isn't that the look you only get when her affection level is completely maxed out? Girls will only slow down the speed of my sword. Go conquer the castle right now. Wait, so conquering castles is actually a way to pick up girls. From now on, I'm just going to focus on picking up girls. On their way to the destination, a voice echoed inside the carriage. How did you get so strong? Sang-hyun smiled humbly and replied to Emilia. You flatter me, my lady. I'm really not that strong. Emilia looked at him skeptically and asked, Really, are you sure about that? She eagerly expressed her admiration. I've seen many knights, but none of them could achieve anything like what you did. Sang-hyun remained perfectly calm despite her praise. He gently explained, I'm only really good at archery. Hearing this, Emilia grew even more excited and asked, And just with that you wiped out the entire army of a castle? Sang-hyun replied with a hint of embarrassment, Yes. His confirmation left Emilia so shocked that she began to stammer. The comments section chimed in, Is that even possible? Translation, why can't I do that? Emilia, you don't get it, do you? Neither do we exactly, Emilia said shyly. This is truly amazing. I've never seen a knight use a bow before. Sang-hyun immediately cleared up her misunderstanding. That is because I am not a knight. I am a mercenary. She fidgeted with her fingers and softly repeated his words, a mercenary. Right after that, Emilia called his name, catching Sang-hyun's attention. Once this is all over, would you like to become a knight? Emilia looked straight into his eyes as she asked, then shyly turned her head away. Explaining her question to Sang-hyun, she added, We will need someone to manage Castle Talaran once we merge it into our new territory. I'm just asking out of curiosity, of course. The chat comments buzzed with curiosity. Wait, is Emilia's questline finally unlocked? What kind of crazy development is this? Wait, is this really the main route to becoming a knight? Wow, true talent shines under pressure. He wanted to be a knight before anyway. This is insane, right? I wonder how Almond's gonna reply. I'm so curious. Without giving the viewers a chance to ask more, Sang-hyun immediately answered Emilia's question. No matter what, I'm just a mercenary. How could I ever become a knight? His answer left her speechless for a moment. Then Emilia got straight to the point. My father said he wants to meet you. It seems he highly appreciates how you handled the situation. Just like that. The chat erupted in surprise and started asking questions. Wait, what? Sang-hyun felt a sudden wave of suspicion, thinking to himself, the Count. But didn't he leave right after talking with Emilia? Right. He quickly tried to explain himself to Emilia. The Lord probably doesn't even know what I did yet. Before he could finish, her finger gently pressed against his lips. Sang-hyun froze completely, caught off guard by Emilia's sudden gesture. Her cheeks flushed red with embarrassment, yet she spoke with confidence. It's a woman's intuition. Just trust me on this. Seeing Sang-hyun's bewildered look, Emilia quickly changed the subject. I think we've arrived. The chat went wild again. Oh my gosh, LOL. Didn't she basically just say she wants to see him again? Is he really going to go meet her father? Is he actually going to become a knight? Unbelievable. Emilia, you are so cute. Oh my God, Almond, how are you so lucky? The massive city gates creaked open, revealing the villagers working together to clean up after the chaotic battle. Someone noticed the change just as the group entered, and whispers began to spread. Who's that? Could they be from Talaran? Then a woman's boot stepped forward. At the exact same moment, her voice rang out. No. Emilia stepped forward with Sang-hyun and continued to introduce them. We are from Ginneret. The citizens looked doubtful at her words. Ginneret? No way. She and Sang-hyun stood on the city wall listening to the villagers' chatter. What are we going to do now? Should we drive them out? What do you mean, what do we do? The Talaran army has been completely wiped out. So who's going to be the Lord now if we kick them out? Who knows what's going to happen to us from now on? Sang-hyun looked at them, a thought crossing his mind.
Everyone is still so confused.
Right in front of them was a tattered flag, the symbol of Talaran. Emilia turned back to look at Sang-hyun, and receiving his nod, she grabbed the corner of the flag and ripped the red banner down. Immediately after, her attendants unfurled the yellow flag, the flag bearing the crest of the Jinneret family. As the new flag fluttered in the wind, the citizens began whispering in disbelief again. The lord of this city had changed overnight. Everyone went back to their daily lives, but the whispers lingered. That was fast. Let's just get back to our work. I heard the head of this city is that Jinneret lady. She's much better. In the end, all nobles are the same. They'll just oppress us again anyway. Hearing the murmurs, Sang-hyun anxiously asked Emilia, "Are you sure it's okay to leave things like this?" Emilia calmly turned back and asked him, "What do you mean?" Sang-hyun politely answered her. "For example, a speech or saying something to them. Shouldn't they know who they are serving?" Emilia smiled happily. He watched her look out at the people and speak. "It's fine. The people here will realize soon enough that I will treat them much better than that previous lord did." Watching the scene play out in the game, comments of admiration popped up. "Wow, this cutscene is amazing. I'm sorry, but I totally flirted with Emilia just so everyone could see this scene." 1 week later, the people of the territory who were previously drowning in debt and never knew when they might be sold into slavery, could now pay off their debts through hard work and were allowed to keep some of the money they earned. As a result, the number of workers grew, and the territory, which had once been gloomy and desolate, was now crowded and full of life. In the long run, this brought massive benefits to the territory. The chat started wondering, "Still in the castle, are you planning to become the lord?" Suddenly, a soft hand touched Sang-hyun's. A voice gently called out, "Almond?" Emilia happily continued, "There you are." Delighted comments flooded the chat. "Hey there, Emilia. Wait, what is this weird atmosphere?" Emilia smiled gently and said to him, "You didn't forget that you have to meet my father tomorrow, right?" One comment popped up in curiosity. "Father?" Sang-hyun gently held her hand and happily replied, "Of course, Emilia." The chat boxes suddenly flooded the screen, completely out of control. What they're making their move now? They're holding hands. Is this the ending? LOL, they've gone way too far. LOL, at this rate, we're just waiting to see what they name their kid. Emilia's quest was so short, LMAO. Is this a new record? Sang-hyun and Emilia stood by the window, bathed in the warm sunlight. He blurted out, "What a happy ending." But right after he said those words, a comment seemed to realize something and quickly typed, "If you say it like that, then predictably." Suddenly, a horn blew. Instantly, the sound drew Sang-hyun's attention. Hyun and Emilia. Recognizing it, she quickly said, "This sound?" Out on the distant steppe, an army comes charging in. The enemy commander leads the march, standing tall and cold like a silent declaration of war. Sang-hyun looks toward the army and asks in doubt, "Could they be Talaran's allies?" Emilia, standing beside him, speaks up to explain, "Yes, it looks like they want to take back the castle." He looks resolutely at the chaos below and says, "I can stop them." Emilia gently takes Sang-hyun's hand, anxiously praying, "Amen, please." Banners bearing the Zingaris family crest flutter in the wind. The commanding general of the battle roars, "Form ranks!" Raising his sword high, he rallies the soldiers. "Today we stand here to defend Talaran Fortress for Lady Ganaris, our master." At his words, the soldiers shout in unison, roaring for victory. Sang-hyun looks up to where Emilia is watching him anxiously. Sang-hyun closes his eyes. He calms his mind, steadying his breathing. A golden scroll unfurls with a quest message. "Lead the battle to victory." The pumped-up soldiers chant in unison. "We will definitely win this battle." A flood of excited comments pops up on the screen. "A massive war like this. Now this is the real Kingdom S. No way this feels like the #1 game. I only played for a few days before quitting, so I never got to experience anything like this." Sang-hyun has made it this far in just a few days. Right at the climax, a few comparative comments pop up, catching his eye. Even the symbol of persistence. Symbol of... Bubblegum couldn't even do this. Seriously, Almond did what Bubblegum couldn't, LMAO. He seriously cautions his viewers. Please refrain from mentioning other streamers. As soon as he speaks, the viewers in his chat agree. True. Yeah, we should be careful. Exactly. Almond's stream quality has seriously improved. Sang-hyun takes a step forward and says, "That's it for today's stream." Having said that, he gives a thumbs up and smiles brightly, leaving his viewers utterly confused. What? It just got started. Why would you end it right at the climax? Ignoring his viewers' protests, he continues, "Thanks for watching, everyone." The chat continues to beg, "Are you seriously ending it now?" Please no. Sang-hyun says a quick, decisive bye. Their pleas keep flooding in until the screen goes black. "No, don't go. Please come back to his normal self." Sang-hyun happily looks down at his phone. Sang-hyun reads through the comments left by his viewers and thinks, judging by their reactions, it seems like ending the stream. Right at that moment was the perfect choice. Among the flood of comments, there are all kinds of reactions. I can't believe it ended like that. Holding my breath, waiting for Sang-hyun to come back. He grins and says to himself, knowing when to log off is crucial. At the same time, Sang-hyun recalls Liger Musk's advice, you have to know when to end things. The pacing of the stream's story is extremely important. Even if it disappoints the viewers a bit now, it will be highly beneficial in the long run. Sang-hyun intently scrolls through his phone and marvels. There are so many interesting posts. The screen now displays a new search query, how to maximize Amelia's affection. Post number 145, just conquer the castle by yourself. Easy right. The comments under the post exploded. That's insane, I feel so bad for Amelia, she's always suffering, lol. Easy right. Look at what they're saying. Is this an information post? Yeah, something like that. But please, someone tell me how to clear this game. I don't accept this. Just face reality, bro. Exactly. Sang-hyun looks at the comments on his phone in disbelief. Is my playstyle really that difficult? He lies down on the bed, getting into his most comfortable position, muttering as he rereads a comment. Sure, normal people can't do it, but a professional archer definitely can. Are there other skilled archers playing Kingdom S Sang-hyun wonders? Or maybe... A memory of his conversation with Liger Musk comes back to him. Sang-hyun, your ability to focus must be in the top tier, among everyone I've ever seen. Those words make him reflect. Could I actually have a natural talent for virtual reality games? Sang-hyun dives deeper into his thoughts. Is it because of my concentration? It's true that archery requires extreme focus, but that doesn't mean it's exclusive to archers. Accepting the thought, he happily swings his legs while browsing his phone. Let's see if there are any other trending posts. By chance, Sang-hyun comes across a post. He murmurs in curiosity, what's this? An analysis of Almond's archery skills. The post is written with great professionalism, dissecting Sang-hyun's marksmanship, standing in a posture identical to that of a professional. Archer. The bowstring rests right at the center of his lips. His right hand doesn't shake at all when releasing, and he always maintains his follow-through. After reading the post, he thinks in awe, wow, this is incredibly detailed. Is this writer an expert in the field? Judging by the content, they're definitely no amateur. Before he can even finish his thought, something catches his eye. Sang-hyun sits up in shock as a certain post jumps out at him. I watched the video and compared to professional archers, maybe it's just my imagination, but I feel like Almond is slightly better than them. The comments under the post agree, too. I agree with the poster. Another person noticed the skill gap. Personally, as the poster, I agree. Honestly, professional archers might not like hearing this. But since I'm a former competitive archer myself, I think I can say this with confidence. Former competitive archer. A huge question popped up in Sang-hyun's head. A former pro. His hands trembled, filled with anxiety. Who could it be? If they were a former archer, it might be someone he knows. In the end, Sang-hyun decided to let it go. He put his phone down, trying to reassure himself. Why should I even care about that? It's nothing special. Sang-hyun's eyes slowly closed as his thoughts drifted. Everyone in the archery world cut ties with me 15 years ago anyway. I wonder if it really is someone I know. The reason I gave up my archery career was because of an injury from an accident. No one knew about it except my coach. In his dream, Sang-hyun went back to when he was a student. Someone called out, making him turn around. Hey, you Sang-hyun! Jia angrily confronted him. Do you really want to end things like this? Sang-hyun avoided her gaze and replied, archery isn't fun anymore. Her blood boiled at his answer, and she pressed on. Fun? Was this just some game to you? Game? If you don't do archery anymore, who are you going to be? Do you have any idea how many people were following your lead? At that, Jia's emotions boiled over, and she screamed in anger. And now you want to throw it all away just because it's not fun anymore? Are you serious? Sang-hyun simply gave a quiet single-word reply in agreement. Jia turned on her heel and walked away, muttering, fine, I get it. Just go then. She burst into tears, feeling utterly powerless to change her friend's mind. As Ji-ah walked away, Sang-hyun silently let his tears fall, each drop pooling deep inside his heart. The next morning, live comments floated across the screen. I wonder how Almond's siege is going to go today. It's bound to be another highlight reel. Even if an archer is strong, there are still too many knights that are hard to deal with. Shh. Walking down the stairs while scrolling through the comments on his phone, Sang-hyun murmured with intrigue, "This is actually getting interesting." Sang-hyun looked at the posts left by his viewers and thought, there are a few negative ones, but back when my views were low, I would have been grateful for even these. Suddenly, Sang-hyun saw Ji-ah coming out of her house. He called out, "Ji-ah!" Stunned, she looked at him and replied, "Sang-hyun." She walked over and asked, "Are you out for a workout?" Sang-hyun politely asked back, "Are you heading somewhere?" "Yes, just nearby." Hearing her polite reply, Sang-hyun offered, "Want to walk together?" Ji-ah happily accepted, "Yes, I'd love to." "I actually have something to show you, too." Down by the river, Ji-ah sat resting on a bench while Sang-hyun brought over drinks for both of them. He handed one to her. "Here you go." Taking the bottle, Ji-ah politely said, "Thank you." Taking a sip, Sang-hyun asked curiously, "So, what did you want to show me?" Blushing slightly, Ji-ah nervously pulled out her phone to show him. "Oh, it's nothing major. I just finished some videos to upload to the new channel. Do you want to take a look?" As the videos appeared on the screen, Sang-hyun exclaimed in excitement, "You're already done!" "Of course." "Am I the first one to see this?" Ji-ah hesitated before replying, "Yes. I mean, it is going to be uploaded to Almond Farm after all. I mean your channel." Seeing Sang-hyun's eyes sparkle as he watched her work, Ji-ah was so embarrassed she felt like steam was rising from her head. The video opened with a classic introduction. Season 1, Episode 1 is a newbie not allowed to choose a bow. An ID created just one day before his first stream. Creation date, October 22nd at 11:13. Staring at the familiar screen, Sang-hyun thought, this was my very first live stream. The options for spears and swords appeared around the character, but he chose the bow. Is it that bad? In the live chat, viewers flooded the screen with comments, "It's insanely hard to use." "Yeah, you'll probably end up shooting your teammates," Sang-hyun confidently declared. "I'm choosing the bow." The viewers didn't believe him. This newbie is so cute. He's making it hard on himself. He's done for. But when his very first shot hit the mark, the chat instantly changed. He actually did it. A clean headshot. Sang-hyun watched intently and analyzed the video. Is this a hologram effect? The fast-paced cuts matched the shooting speed perfectly, keeping it engaging while highlighting the excited reactions from the chat. Seriously, this is... The video ended with a close-up of the character celebrating, which left Sang-hyun with only one thought. Simply insane. Ji-ah asked sheepishly, What do you think?" Sang-hyun pointed at the screen and marveled, "This is an absolute masterpiece." He then showered her with non-stop praise. "Honestly, it's incredibly impressive. You captured every single highlight, added the CG, and made it so even first-time viewers can follow along easily. It looks clean and beautiful. The pacing of the chat, the ending... Everything is perfect." Stunned, Ji-ah stammered, "Really?" Blushing, she quickly added, "Thank you, Sang-hyun." Handing the phone back to her, he said with sudden eagerness, "Wait, actually, can we upload this to YouTube right this second?" Hearing him say that, she stammered, "Not yet," and then quickly explained, "I heard it's best to release at least 3 or 4 videos at the same time." "I see," he replied. Sang-hyun happily replied, "Really?" Ji-ah nervously asked for Sang-hyun's opinion. "If you're okay with it, I'll keep editing in this style." He happily agreed right away. "Let's do that then." Exhausted, Ji-ah leaned against the wall and groaned, "Gosh, I'm so tired." She recalled the look on Sang-hyun's face when he praised her video, calling it a masterpiece. Ji-ah felt happy, thinking to herself, he liked it. Feeling appreciated made her feel so useful. Suddenly, her phone buzzed with a message notification. Looking at her phone, she wondered, who could that be? But as she picked it up, she got excited. Who else would be texting me at this hour? Maybe we're celebrating. Jia's eyes suddenly froze and the air around her grew heavy. Staring silently at her phone, she let it slip from her hand. Her lifeless voice broke the dead silence. "Time for a shower. Still got a lot of work to do." Her phone screen lit up with a new notification. New message from that psycho jerk. Meanwhile, on the stream lobby of Kingdom S, viewers flocked to Sang-hyun's channel. The comments section was buzzing, "Whoa, this is getting crazy. The first archer in the world to attempt the siege challenge, I can't wait. I'm definitely watching right after class today." Count me in, I'll probably have to watch it on my commute home. Suddenly, the Go Live notification went off. Almond was live. The early start caught everyone off guard. What right now? He's streaming 4 hours early. I'm doomed, help me. I'm literally at work right now, but I'm definitely tuning in. Sang-hyun greeted his audience cheerfully on stream. Hello, everyone! The chat exploded with all kinds of reactions. What's going on, bro? We were waiting for you. Oh, so early today. Looking good as always. One particular comment caught Sang-hyun's eye. Reading it, he thought to himself, I was a bit worried since the timing is off, but there actually seem to be more people than yesterday. This is a great start. He interacted with his viewers. I started the stream early today because of the in-game challenge. I figured it might take a while. The viewers got excited. A longer stream today. Awesome. Let's get it, Sang-hyun. He stood with his allies facing the army ahead. His fans hyped him up in the chat. Let's go, Jumong. Behind him, Roman spoke up teasingly, celebrating, Well, your path to success is practically set, isn't it? Sang-hyun replied, confused, Pardon, what are you? Raman pointed at a shadow on the castle wall and teased, Are you really going to play dumb? The shadow belonged to Amelia, who was watching them nervously. He awkwardly tried to explain, No, there's nothing going on between us. Roman kept teasing him playfully. I'm so jealous. Seeing Roman's reaction, the viewers commented in surprise, Wow, Roman actually has a side like this. He's actually a very emotional guy, but I never noticed because I was always getting yelled at. The two of them are so close now. Is that just Roman's way of getting close to people? Sang-hyun looked at the smiling Roman and thought, That's true. Before. He was friendly, but we were never this close. Next, he looked over at the enemy army and observed, Their commander's style is to lead from the back. We just need to take him down. A cold voice replied, Got it. The war horn sounded, and Roman led the charge. The chaotic battle began. Positioned in the rear, Sang-hyun commanded the archers. Fire, he bellowed. A volley of arrows rained down on the enemy. Every single arrow hit its mark, taking down the enemy officers. On the ground, bodies lay fallen with blood pooling everywhere. A system prompt popped up. Do you want to issue commands to the non-player characters? Otherwise, the army will automatically engage in basic combat. After a few quick inputs, Sang-hyun cheerfully addressed the viewers. You all heard what Roman said, right? Now I'll go take down that guy in the golden armor and come right back. Suddenly, a system notification chimed. Sinopolan has donated 10,000 won. Quest 1 kill equals 10,000 won. The notice left everyone stunned. LMAO? That is insane. Sang-hyun stared at the alert and then at the enemy army, his eyes wide in disbelief. 10,000 won for every single kill, 10,000! The donor Sinopolan replied confidently, That's right. Someone laughed in the chat. Sinopolan is seriously underestimating Almond. But others pointed out the catch. Wait, in a chaotic battle like this. Isn't 20 kills the absolute limit? Sang-hyun asked hesitantly. Are you sure about this? You must be loaded. Still slightly dazed, he accepted the challenge and the viewers immediately started teasing him. Here we go. Let's do this, let's go. Why are you taunting him when you should be celebrating? I bet he gets at least 50 kills. I wonder how many he'll actually rack up. Let's go. The scene shifts. Sang-hyun moved slowly and cautiously, hiding behind a large patch of tall grass. Some viewers watching the stream got curious. Wait, is he going into enemy territory all by himself? Did he just abandon his allies? Is he not doing the main quest? No way, right? Sang-hyun analyzed the situation carefully. Taking down enemies myself will jack up the payout. Of course, I still have to finish the quest. Like Acorn Jelly said in the streaming world, donations don't just happen every day, so every single donation counts. Peeking out from the bushes to scout, he estimated his resources. I have about 80 arrows left. If I take down 80 of them, that's like 1 million won. Plus, donation quests have a special way of keeping the stream's momentum alive. Looking toward his target, Sang-hyun, it felt a rush of excitement. This isn't just about assassinating the enemy commander, it's about dragging out the fight. That'll make the stream way more entertaining. Ahead of him, the enemy forces were charging forward. He locked onto a soldier on the outer edge. Out of nowhere, an arrow whistled through the air and pierced the enemy's head. The soldier right behind him noticed something was off, spun around toward where the arrow came from, and screamed. Wait, are we being attacked from the left? The left! Under attack from where, staring into the empty space ahead, only left the soldiers utterly confused. An impatient commander barks at his soldiers. We can't waste time over a single arrow. Before he could even finish ordering them forward, That arrow flew straight into his head, taking him down instantly. Left leaderless, the panicked soldiers screamed, "No way! Sergeant, what the hell is going on? Where did that come from?" The mastermind was smiling smugly. Watching this, the viewers exclaimed, "Oh, so that's why he went alone. Even with a perfect shot, it's still hard to track the trajectory." Sang-hyun fired another arrow, hitting an enemy. However, he slipped up, allowing them to spot the southwestern bush where he was hiding. An archer squad closed in, and the atmosphere around Sang-hyun instantly became tense. The comment section started mocking him, saying, "He's caught. Is he really going to get caught? It's not a squad. It's just one person." Another commander swung his sword toward Sang-hyun's hiding spot and ordered, "20 men cover the left flank." The soldiers immediately roared in response. "Yes, sir." The viewers commented with excitement, "Drawing 20 people all by himself. That's insane. So crazy. Almond, what are you doing? Run." Ignoring the comments, he quietly counted his arrows. 10, 37, 20. He stabbed the counted arrows into the ground as the line of soldiers marched toward him. Unbothered, Sang-hyun playfully gestured to the chat. "There are 20 of them, so I'll need exactly 20 shots." The comment section flooded with question marks and messages like, "So confident, damn, that's wild," while the soldiers frantically searched for him. Suddenly, several arrows flew in, instantly taking down a few men, throwing the survivors into a panic. Suddenly, an enchanted arrow materialized in the air and pinned itself straight into another soldier's head. Immediately after, a barrage of similar arrows shot out. One terrified soldier raised his hands to shield his head and screamed, "He's only aiming for the head! Protect your—" Before he could even finish, a cold arrow struck him down. At Sang-hyun's position, countless glowing blue dots appeared, hurtling forward. He focused intensely, aiming at each target, while the system announced 3 seconds remaining until rapid fire ends. Amidst the chaos, the system began its countdown. 3, 2, 1. Ended. Sang-hyun calmly lowered his bow. "So that's 230,000 won, right?" As soon as he said that, a flood of praising comments erupted. "Oh my god, so cool. Mom, when I grow up, I want to be Almond. I want to be Almond when I grow up. Look, he got 230,000 won already. I'm getting goosebumps, this is insane. Killing 20 people with just rapid fire. Exactly 20 shots and every single one hit. How is he so cool?" Jia, who was watching Sang-hyun on her screen, agreed. "He's amazing." Excitement filled her mind as she thought, "I get it now. I see why everyone, including me, fell for Almond. Because he always gives 100% no matter the situation. That passion comes from his absolute confidence." The declaration Sang-hyun made right before he started the slaughter flashed in Jia's mind. Remembering his confident look, she thought, he doesn't doubt himself. He doesn't have to. Because it's not just blind belief, it's backed by real skill. And that's exactly the mark of a true genius everyone admires. Almond smiled, soaking in the moment while the system kept pinging alerts. Ohm has donated 10,000 won. Incense has donated 1,000 won. East Israel has donated 1,000 won. Leptoverum has donated 20,000 won. Ginty has donated 10,000 won. Bucket Mozzarella has donated 10,000 won. Malai Pinata has donated 5,000 won. Sang-hyun drew his bow and aimed. His arrows continued to hit their marks flawlessly, 40 kills in a row. The chat exploded. Is he an archer? Or an assassin? Leaving no survivors. He's a true killer archer. Reaching for his quiver, he thought, I have about 40 arrows left. At the same time, the system screen flickered, displaying messages. Sinopolan has donated 1,000 won. Have mercy, bro. Just kill me instead. Sinopolan's begging comment made other viewers laugh at him. Look, he wants to be killed. Are you regretting it now? Who could have guessed he'd make 400,000 won so quickly? Meanwhile, the golden-armored knight couldn't believe his eyes, shouting, This is impossible! He wiped out all 20 of my men. Staring at his soldiers' bodies scattered on the ground, he muttered in disbelief. Just one archer. Seething with rage, the knight barked, Send 40 soldiers to the front lines. Don't let him kill another man. A nearby subordinate quickly replied, Understood. A barrage of heavy footsteps rushed forward, swarming right in front of Almond. Sinopolan has donated 1,000 won. Oh God, please, no more soldiers. Sinopolan was on the verge of despair. Other viewers laughed and commented, Too late, buddy, begging won't help you, Sinopolan. You must have at least 1 million won in your account, so stop crying. Wait, 1 million won for real. Yeah, exactly. This killing quest must pay out at least 1 million won. Sang-hyun was finally swayed by the money. 1 million won, he politely asked the user. Is that true? In the chat, Sinopolan was completely helpless. I'm dead. His hand tightened around his bow. If that's the case, I will make exactly 1,000,000 won. Sang-hyun, now fully in his almond persona, declared with fierce determination, leaving Sinopolan speechless. What? Right after that, Almond's arrow struck an enemy. Seeing his comrade fall, a soldier screamed, "Hold the line!" The system announced that rapid fire had been activated, making Sang-hyun grin with excitement. Let's keep it going! A stream of enemies fell one by one despite Sinopolan's desperate pleas. Bro boss, slow down! Suddenly, a flash of light gleamed from a nearby bush, accompanied by a shout, Damn it! Another arrow whistled past and struck right next to Sang-hyun. The viewers immediately started analyzing, Almond, do they have archers too? Don't just stand there and shoot, defend yourself. Almond, have you lost your mind? Don't move while using your skill. If you move, your accuracy will drop and you won't hit anything. Sang-hyun turned his head to watch the approaching soldiers, trying to figure out where the threat was, when suddenly another arrow flew in. It slammed into the ground right by his feet. Sang-hyun instantly narrowed it down over there. Instantly, Sang-hyun's arrow blocked the incoming arrow. The chat is flooded with question marks. Did he just deflect an arrow with another arrow? The enemy is toast. Are they seriously celebrating? He's a total monster. What on earth? This is insane. The sniper panicked. What just happened? Before he could finish, Sang-hyun's arrow mercilessly took out his eye and the soldier crashed to the ground. Sang-hyun! She stepped out from behind the bushes. As the soldiers watched in sheer panic, he pulled an arrow from his quiver, drew his bow, and said with absolute confidence, We are at 710,000 now. A trembling warrior raised his sword. Damn it! He screamed, charging straight at Sang-hyun. You bastard! But Sang-hyun's sharp senses picked up on the movement instantly. In a flash, he was shot down. What kind of monster is this guy? His draw speed is too... Before he could finish, the guy right next to him bit the dust. No way! He turned and ran for his life. The chat went crazy, shouting, He's running! Meanwhile, Sang-hyun casually reached back for another arrow, only to realize, Wait, I'm all out. At that, the chat exploded once more. Did you seriously shoot 80 arrows already? Well, it's over now. He actually did it. The massacre is finally over. That mercenary Napoleon escaped by a hair. Talk about lucky. On the other side, running for his life, he looked back, panting. Did I lose him? But out of nowhere, Sang-hyun actually chased after him, scaring him half to death. Look at his face. That's exactly why he plays Kingdom X. His reactions are so real, it's perfect. The guy screamed, Stop chasing me already! Realizing there was an arrow stuck in a nearby corpse. Sang-hyun quickly ran over, pulled it out, aimed directly at him, and took him down with a single, flawless shot. Sang-hyun let out a sigh of relief, giving a strange smile. Only 20 people left. Meanwhile, the chat was still buzzing, and Snapolin donated 1,000,000 won, saying, That's more than enough. Why did he even suggest a bet? Doesn't he know Snapolin is finished now? He's an absolute nightmare to the enemy. Sang-hyun bowed happily, saying, Thank you so much for the donation, Mr. Snapolin. Honestly, nothing feels better than completing a quest right. But suddenly, the sound of horns and drums echoed from afar, and he instinctively turned his head toward it. Looks like it's finally over. They chanted loudly, Robert, Robert, Robert. Those foolish soldiers were singing his praises. Thanks to Lord Robert's incredible leadership, we won. He is truly admirable. He's the real hero of this war. Hearing that, the chat chuckled, mocking the ignorance of those fools. Celebrating when someone else carried the entire team. What idiots. Meanwhile, down below, Sang-hyun scratched his head awkwardly. I killed a whole 100 enemies and not a single person even noticed. Just then, another man walked up to him. I apologize for their behavior. The way they treat mercenaries is a bit... Hearing this, Sang-hyun turned around and asked, Is there some sort of issue with how we're treated? Do you think there's a problem with it, sir? Well, he hesitated before speaking. You see, the knights only expect the mercenaries to take their basic pay and get lost, despite the fact that we contributed so much while they barely did a thing in this battle. Suddenly, Robert cut in. So that's what you're unhappy about. What's wrong with paying exactly what was agreed upon? To which Roman replied, there was clearly a clause about extra bonuses if we performed well. However, Robert scoffed in displeasure. Performed well? You mercenaries, did you actually perform well in this battle? On a battlefield where knights fight with their lives on the line, what did you mercenaries even do? You only fought to save your own skins, claiming your lives are your only assets. This blatant insult to the mercenaries made Roman absolutely furious. Seeing this, Robert looked at him with sheer contempt. What's with that attitude of yours? Am I wrong? Standing in the back. Sang-hyun sighed, thinking, well, that stereotype of mercenaries is indeed strong, but it's just a prejudice. If we don't fight properly, best. We can't build trust, and without trust, the mercenary system won't survive. Roman, standing there, lowered his voice and spoke up. Didn't you trust? And entrust this battle to us, backtracking on your trust the moment the war ends is hardly honorable. Hearing this, Robert curled his lips in irritation, spitting out, What did you say? A mercenary dare talk to me about honor. Roman interrupted, speaking up firmly. He single-handedly took down 100 enemies, and you still claim we were just trying to save our own skins, and that we made no contribution at all. Robert burst into mocking laughter. Single-handedly wiped out 100 enemies. He turned to his guards and sneered. Did you guys hear that? That archer over there supposedly killed 100 enemies. The stream viewers immediately commented, Someone drop a tutorial on how to kill this Robert guy already. Can we just shoot him right now? Roman looks the most furious, yet he's still holding back. I guess he can't do anything because of the difference in status. Roman clenched his fists, but since there was nothing he could do, he just let out a heavy sigh and said, I get the gist of it. Before he could even finish, a voice shouted from behind, Let go of me, I can walk on my own. Sang-hyun furrowed his brows, thinking, Who is that? Odd. The surrounding crowd started whispering and buzzing. He lost, yet he's still acting so arrogant. He should just shut up and let himself be dragged away. Well, that guy's from a noble family after all. Sang-hyun's jaw dropped as he finally remembered something. That golden helmet and armor. The knight walked up to where Robert was standing and spoke in a deep, heavy voice. So you finally won. Robert stuttered, What? The knight smirked, continuing, You took my family's castle without a single shred of shame or honor. Even my soldiers and my people were slaughtered. Is this the honor Janet talks about? Robert was completely flustered, having no idea how to respond. He could only stammer that well. Watching from a distance, Sang-hyun whispered to Roman, It looks like that person has a higher status. That's why Robert is so rattled. A viewer left a comment. Another status barrier stacked on top of another. Surprises are everywhere. Meanwhile, a flustered Robert tried to find his words. Robert will take charge of the citizens in this territory. The knight replied seriously, Fine then. I want to speak with Amelia. Call her here. Suddenly a voice behind him spoke up. That's impossible. Annoyed and weary, the knight muttered, What is it now? And slowly turned around to see Sang-hyun, walking up slowly. Startled, the knight frowned and gasped, You startled me! Who? Who are you? Are you a knight too? Sang-hyun shook his head, No. The knight glared, demanding, If not, then what are you? Roman stepped up, placed a hand on Sang-hyun's shoulder, and answered proudly, This man is a member of our mercenary group. Hearing that the knight was impressed, and said with an intrigued look, Oh, a mercenary. The man who single-handedly wiped out 100 soldiers is just a mercenary. Upon hearing the knight's words, Sang-hyun, Roman, and Robert were all stunned. Sang-hyun frowned and thought, Does this person know me? Viewer comments quickly popped up. As expected, they remember the worthy opponent. Even the enemy commander acknowledges him. Now show some respect. Another user quickly replied, Don't push it. The knight glanced at Robert and his soldiers' reactions, then chuckled. It seems those people don't believe it. A mercenary and a cowardly archer who specializes in sneak attacks. How could that be? The knight reached up to their armor, slowly taking it off, clicking their tongue. How foolish. Have you ever thought about it? Do you really want to keep working with these people? People who don't even know your worth. The comment section immediately exploded with messages. Wait, what? This voice? Could it be no way? The person behind the armor was slowly revealed, a woman with long, flowing purple hair. She flashed a bright smile and said, Don't stay with them anymore. Come work with me instead, all right? The viewers went wild, spamming the chat. Is that Rosanita? Rosanita is actually here. Wait, she really is a femme fatale. So gorgeous. Suddenly, a notification box appeared in front of him showing two options. Option 1. It is an honor to have my worth recognized by you. Option 2. Though I am but a mercenary, I have already sworn my loyalty. Sang-hyun bit his lip and thought, so the person in the golden helmet. Shams was the second female lead, Rosanita. He couldn't help but marvel and assess her in his mind. Such an easygoing, confident attitude even after losing the battle. That dangerous yet captivating aura is completely different from Amelia's. Even as just an ordinary player, I can clearly tell they put a lot of effort into designing this character. He glanced at the knights behind her. Every single one of them was standing there completely captivated by her beauty. He clicked his tongue and thought, even the knights of Janet's territory are spellbound. Are you guys even doing okay? The chat section quickly filled with lively responses about who he should choose. You've got to pick Rosanita. Exactly, ditch Amelia already. Sang-hyun stared hesitantly at the choices before him, biting his lip. Now, I have to make a really tough choice. Meanwhile, the chat continued to bombard him with aggressive messages. No way. Are you seriously planning to betray Amelia? Pick Rosanita. What about Amelia? You guys don't know anything. Pick option 1. Pick option 2. Sang-hyun's hands trembled slightly as he let out a long sigh. Even though a new female lead has just appeared, haven't I already spent quite a lot of time doing quests to increase my intimacy level with Amelia? Even though it's just a game storyline and I didn't personally live through that time, he remembered their very first meeting and the look on Amelia's face. He sighed and thought, but I could already tell from the beginning that she had feelings for me too. On the other side, Rosanita cleared her throat and said, are you really planning to embarrass me like this? Answer me! Hit by Rosanita's words and hundreds of viewer comments at the same time, Sang-hyun felt like he was standing on a burning furnace drenched in sweat. Everyone kept egging him on. Hurry up! Option 1. I'd pick option 1. Sorry, but ditching Amelia is just too cruel. Sister Rosanita. Seeing that things were getting out of hand, Sang-hyun decided to bail. He announced to everyone, all right, that's it for today's stream. The broadcast ended. In the comment section, many viewers remained cursing him out for abruptly cutting off the stream like that. You scammer, are you even human? You bastard shutting down the stream right at the good part. Damn jerk. So frustrating. This is literally the #1 way to drive a Korean insane. What a scumbag. Yu Sang-hyun glanced at each response and clicked his tongue. The stream is already over. But these guys are still staying behind just to curse me out. Well, overall, this stream was quite a success, wasn't it? He silently thought to himself, they are loyal fans. Always the first to show up whenever Almond starts streaming. They really are loyal. They might be cursing me out, but they're probably just joking. They'll spread the word about what happened today all over the online communities. This is perfect. Juju was analyzing today's viewership numbers, constantly marveling at how massive and passionate his fanbase was. Overall, most of them were males in their 20s and 30s, but among his hardcore fans, the male-to-female ratio was about equal. While men donated more frequently, women completely dominated when it came to the total amount. Ju-hyuk clicked his tongue and muttered to himself, of course the sample size is still too small to jump to any conclusions. I need to look into this more. Don't you dare think you can beat us women when it comes to spending money. With just a single donation, they completely surpassed the entire lifetime donation total up until now. He silently analyzed the situation, realizing that with these metrics, what would happen next would be completely unpredictable for the viewers. So this is streaming, huh? Interesting. Suddenly, the door was slammed open. Ju-hyuk looked up startled only to see his father standing there absolutely furious. Gritting his teeth, his father growled, "What do you think you're doing?" His mother, standing right beside him, was doing her best to hold him back. She tried to calm him down, pleading, "Honey, please, just calm down." Seething with rage, his father barked at Ju-hyuk. "You quit your job when things were stable." Ju-hyuk could only stand there and take the scolding. Biting his lip, he stammered, that... His father stepped forward in a rage and yelled right in his face, "Are you out of your mind? Did you even think about my reputation for a single second? How am I supposed to face the director now?" Ju-hyuk's entire body trembled with fear. His father let out a heavy sigh before commanding, "Starting tomorrow morning, you will work at my company." Hearing this, Ju-hyuk was utterly shocked. He quickly protested, "But Dad..." His father glared right into his eyes and enunciated every single word. "Do you have something you want to say?" Having no choice but to submit, Ju-hyuk lowered his head and obediently murmured, "No, sir. If you'll excuse me." His mother slowly approached him with a warm smile, reassuring him, "You made the right choice, sweetie. Ju-hyuk, don't be mad at your father, okay? He only wants what's best for you." Ju-hyuk forced a smile and replied softly, "I'm fine, Mom. I just need some time alone." Left to his thoughts, he quietly pondered, "In just 1 week, I've made about 270,000 won. It isn't a massive fortune, and I haven't achieved some great fame, but it was the happiest time of my life. It gave me hope." Was all of that just a fleeting dream? Devastated tears welled up in Ju-hyuk's eyes as he whispered to himself, "This dream has lasted far too long." Late at night at Sang Yun's place, the doorbell started ringing incessantly. He groaned in frustration. Ugh, seriously. Dragging himself out of bed, he opened the door and grumbled sleepily, "Who on earth is it at this hour?" Ju-hyuk, standing outside, kept pounding on the door and urging, "Hey, Sang-hyun, open the door, hurry, I've been waiting out here forever." Sang-hyun's eyes went wide in shock when he saw who it was. "Hey, Kim Ju-hyuk, don't tell me you—" Ju-hyuk stood there with a massive backpack slung over his shoulders. Standing at Sang-hyun's doorstep, he smiled brightly and said, "Yep, I ran away from home." Inside the apartment, Ju-hyuk was absolutely thrilled because Sang-hyun had treated him to fried chicken. "This is delicious," he cheered, chugging his beer. He then looked at Sang-hyun with curiosity and asked, "Are you seriously not drinking? You ordered 2 bottles." Sang-hyun shook his head and replied, "I need to keep a clear head for my stream." Ju-hyuk clicked his tongue and sighed. "Is that so? Well, I guess I have no choice but to drink both of them myself." He finished his sentence and eagerly gulped down his beer. Eating a piece of chicken, Sang-hyun watched Ju-hyuk and remarked, "You seem pretty cheerful." Suddenly remembering something important, Sang-hyun asked in a serious tone, "By the way, why did you suddenly pack up and leave? You're not a kid anymore and there's nothing wrong with living with your parents." Ju-hyuk awkwardly dodged the question and stammered, "It's a long story. I'll tell you about it later, okay?" Sang-hyun shrugged. "Suit yourself?" Ju-hyuk looked at Sang-hyun and asked earnestly, "But seriously, are you really okay with me crashing here? I should have asked you first before just showing up." Sang-hyun smiled warmly and replied, "It's totally fine. The apartment is plenty big for 2 people. Ju-hyuk grinned happily and said, "Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it." After a while, Ju-hyuk looked at Sang-hyun with a serious expression and said, "Oh, right. What are you going to do about the new situation in Kingdom?" Sang-hyun looked confused. "What do you mean, what am I going to do?" Ju-hyuk winked. "Emilia or Rosanita, you're standing at a major crossroads here, man." Sang-hyun finally understood what he was talking about. Taking a bite of chicken, he replied, "Oh, that! Can't I just pick one and get it over with?" Hearing such a half-hearted answer, Ju-hyuk instantly lost his temper and barked, What do you mean, just pick one? Did you even check the community board after you went offline?" Ju-hyuk thrust his phone screen in front of Sang-hyun's face. Sang-hyun replied indifferently, "Oh, did something happen?" Ju-hyuk let out a heavy sigh. "The war between Rosanita's side and Emilia's side is getting incredibly intense. You'd better choose very carefully." Sang-hyun fell deep into thought as he read a threat on his phone. An Emilia fan wrote, "Choose Rosanita and you're dead. I'll find your address, Sang-hyun. Choose Emilia, and you'll get executed too." He also saw a warning from Rosanita's side. "If you don't choose Rosanita, don't ever expect me to watch your stream again." Reading this, Sang-hyun let out a laugh and said cheerfully, "Ah, so that's what's going on. They're really taking this seriously, aren't they?" Ju-hyuk was completely baffled by his reaction. He thought to himself in disbelief, "Wait, is he seriously not worried at all after reading those terrifying threats? It is because both of those 2 characters are famous. If it were me, I would probably lose sleep all night from worrying. Just how optimistic can he get?" Suddenly, Sang-hyun spoke up, cutting off Ju-hyuk's train of thought. "Oh, right, I wanted to discuss something with you." Ju-hyuk raised an eyebrow and asked back, "What is it?" Sang-hyun quickly continued, "With how things are going, it seems like the end of Kingdom is near, but I still haven't found the next game to play. I want to find a game that attracts both new and old viewers." Ju-hyuk got excited at his words. He hastily pulled out his laptop, looked at Sang-hyun with a bright smile, and said, "I knew it. I have already done some research in advance, so just you wait." Ju-hyuk quickly connected his laptop to the projector, pressed the enter key, and excitedly said, "That is the hottest game right now, battle ready." He gently pushed up his glasses, raised his eyebrows, and asked, "Have you ever played this game before?" Sang-hyun honestly replied, "I've heard a lot about it," suddenly sounding so professional. Ju-hyuk patiently explained to him, "Battle Last is an online survival PvP game, player versus player abbreviated as PvP. That means players control their characters to fight against other players' characters. Players will use a variety of weapons to become the last survivor out of 100 people. Therefore, you need to have superb aiming skills and make split-second decisions." Ju-hyuk pushed up his glasses, looking mysterious as he lowered his voice to continue. "It can be considered the perfect game that matches your playstyle and current trends." Sang-hyun raised his eyebrows in amusement and exclaimed, "Oh, is that so? That is pretty neat. Sounds interesting." He thought for a moment, and after a while he gently rubbed his chin and said, I'm not really used to playing PvP games. Should I practice before going live? Hearing him say that, Do-hyuk frowned, slammed his hand on the table, and yelled, "What? No way!" Having said that, he turned gloomy and annoyed, continuing, "Sang-hyun, you don't understand people at all." Sang-hyun asked in confusion. "What do you mean?" Do-hyuk asked back. "What do you think people want to see from your stream?" Sang-hyun frowned, thought for a moment, and replied, "To watch me play well." Do-hyuk shook his head and said, "No, plenty of people can play well." Sang-hyun asked curiously, "Then what is it?" Do-hyuk pointed his index finger straight at him and said seriously, "A one-of-a-kind genius." He quickly continued, Think back to your first stream playing Kingdom S. You showed overwhelming skills from the very first day without any practice. I think everyone went crazy for your genius," Do-hyuk said sincerely. "So, I want you to keep going in that direction. Show off your top-tier gaming skills without practicing beforehand." Sang-hyun crossed his arms and thought for a moment. After a long while, he murmured softly, But Battle Last is a shooter game, right? I can shoot a bow, but it is hard to be good with a gun right away without practice." Hearing that, Do-hyuk hastily turned the projector back on, pointed at it, looked at him, and said, "Look at this," landing a headshot on a fleeing enemy on horseback. "Do you think everyone who is good at archery can do what you did?" Sang-hyun asked skeptically. "Probably right." Do-hyuk shook his head and replied, "No way. If that were true, someone else would have done it before you. It is proof that you are much better at gaming than others." Sang-hyun suddenly felt a sense of familiarity. He raised an eyebrow and asked, "Could it be because of this? Lately I have been practicing with a simulation program before every stream." Do-hyuk frowned and asked back, "A simulation program?" Sang-hyun nodded and replied, "It is the program pre-installed in the player's room. I heard it is really well optimized, so I have been trying to clear it on the highest difficulty once a day." Do-hyuk pulled out his phone to check the leaderboard and asked Sang-hyun, "What is your score?" Sang-hyun honestly revealed, "Around 12,000 points." Do-hyuk's hand holding the phone suddenly trembled. He looked up at Sang-hyun in utter shock and said, "This is crazy." Sang-hyun blinked in confusion and asked, "What is—" Do-hyuk stammered, You are at the top of the leaderboard." Sang-hyun was completely shocked. Unable to believe his ears, he yelled, "Me!" Do-hyuk handed his phone over for him to see and said, "Seriously, look, this is your rank on the scoreboard." Sang-hyun gasped in surprise. "No way, really?" Do-hyuk excitedly added, "See, I was right. Whether it's archery or shooting, it doesn't matter. You have a natural talent for this." Sang-hyun stared at his name on the leaderboard, feeling slightly swayed by Do-hyuk's proposal. Do-hyuk suddenly shouted at the top of his lungs, "Let's conquer Battle Last." A while later, seeing Sang-hyun sit in his gaming chair, Do-hyuk asked in curiosity, "It is so early in the morning, are you already going live?" Sang-hyun replied honestly, "I want to see which time slot attracts the most viewers." Do-hyuk agreed and said, "Oh, that is a great idea. Good luck with that." "Good luck." Feeling a bit creeped out, Sang-hyun gave Do-hyuk a puzzled look and asked, "What are you doing all of a sudden? It is giving me the creeps." Irritated, Do-hyuk slammed his hand against the doorway and snapped, "What, you jerk? Look at this guy acting all smug when someone is just showing concern." Sang-hyun sighed and said, "Hey, let go of me or I'll bite you." He then quickly logged into the game world, and as his feet touched the ground, a warm voice softly spoke, "What are you hesitating for? Are you planning to stay here all day?" A notification system window quickly popped up in front of him, presenting two choices. 1. I am highly honored that you recognize my value. 2. Though I am only a mercenary, I will pledge my loyalty to my lord. Sang-hyun slowly turned around to face Rosanita, thinking to himself, this choice will completely change the direction of the game. In that case, he smiled and said aloud, "Thank you for your offer, but even though I am just a mercenary, I have already pledged my loyalty to my lord. Those people." Upon seeing this, the chat quickly flooded with comments, "So boring! Shouted out, Emilia is the one true waifu. What a righteous man." Hearing his words, Rosanita nodded and replied, "Then I understand." "Your loyalty is greater than that of a knight," a soldier shouted. "Take the prisoner away." After that, Rosanita was escorted away by the soldiers. Depressed viewers commented, "Goodbye, Rosanita." "Damn it, Almond, you idiot." Sang-hyun bowed his head slightly and fell into thought. If he had chosen Rosanita, the storyline would have been much longer. But it was time to switch to another game soon. This choice was reasonable, and it also kept him loyal to Emilia. Suddenly, a young girl's voice that called out from behind him, "Almond!" Sang-hyun turned around in surprise. Emilia? Emilia only stared at him, her eyes welling with tears. Almond. She wanted to run to him, but she was blocked by the other soldiers. One of them said cautiously, My lady, it is still dangerous here. Please head to safety first. But Emilia paid them no heed. She broke past the soldiers' blockade and ran straight toward Sang-hyun. Sang-hyun stared at her in a daze. Emilia, why are you here? Before he could finish his sentence, Emilia ran up and threw her arms around him. As she embraced Sang-hyun, leaving him completely stunned, the chat window exploded with frantic messages. Emilia, she's so incredible. This scene is killing me. What the hell? Let's go. After a long while, Sang-hyun gently released her, looked at her warmly, and said, We won. Lift up your head, Emilia. Following his words, the chat erupted once again. He's so gentle. So sweet. And here I thought she didn't have a lover yet. If I find that guy, I'm going to slice him. This is like a bad joke. Emilia's face flushed crimson. She looked at Sang-hyun and stammered, You're so amazing, Almond. I love you. Suddenly, a flash of light swept across the screen, turning it pitch black. The chat section kept lighting up. Did they just cut the scene? Show us the ending. What a letdown. Back in reality, a rider next to him grinned and asked, So you're the archer known as the One Arrow 100 Birds? I'm a huge fan. Sang-hyun nodded. Yes, that's me. Hearing this, Roman quickly chimed in, acting surprised as if he had only just found out. He fell silent for a moment, then continued, But because of that, the enemy knows our whereabouts. Actually, your whereabouts, to be exact, so you'd better be careful. Sang-hyun clicked his tongue. Hey, it's not like I did it on purpose. Besides, the commander and the others are already fighting on the front lines, so I just need to focus on backing them up from the rear. Roman smirked, then chuckled. Thanks. Your words are highly encouraging. Sang-hyun tilted his head, confused. Well, I am just a mercenary after all, Roman replied sincerely. To us, you're more than just a mercenary. What I mean is, from now on, you're free to act as you please without waiting for orders. Roman reached out, patted Sang-hyun's shoulder, and smiled warmly. Thank you so much. Thanks to you, we were able to get some proper rest. Seeing this turn of events, the chat began cheering frantically. Roman is such a good guy. If you were like Almond, maybe he would treat you that way. Don't make me laugh. You talk as if you're Roman himself. Give me back the real Roman. What have you guys done to my real Roman? At dusk, Sang-hyun and the other three entered the castle. Sang-hyun looked around, curiously marveling in admiration. So this is what the inside of a castle looks like. Emilia led the way. She turned her head back to look at him and said, Almond, this way. She walked up to the room in front of them and said softly to the guards, Open the doors. He is my special guest. I will be having dinner with him. Welcome, young man. The guard obeyed and quickly opened the door, allowing her and Sang-hyun to step inside. The moment he entered, he heard a booming voice. Take a seat. I've heard a lot about you from my daughter. Sang-hyun stared at the man in front of him and thought seriously, This man is Lord Jinneret Emilia's father. Jinneret slowly stepped forward, patted his shoulder, and praised him. You did exceptionally well, young man. I will prepare some handsome rewards for you. With that, he turned to the surrounding guards and said, Bring in the food. The guard quickly nodded in response. Yes, my lord. Sang-hyun breathed a sigh of relief and thought, Thank goodness he's not one of those uptight nobles, but I'm still incredibly nervous. A system notification then popped up. You have successfully entered the Emilia family's dining challenge. Sang-hyun was utterly bewildered when he saw it. He cautiously sat down at the table, muttering, A dining challenge. Suddenly, a servant approached and placed a bucket of water on the table in front of him. Sang-hyun stared at it and frowned in thought. Is this water? Suddenly, strange button prompts began to appear. Sang-hyun thought in confusion, What are these buttons for? Not caring too much, he just mashed them randomly, thinking silently, I pressed them, but nothing's happening. Could it be? Suddenly, a light flashed. Sang-hyun knew something was up and panicked. How the hell did this turn into a rhythm game like Audition? The chat is blowing up again as everyone rushes to talk about it. I can't believe this kind of event actually exists. An audition in medieval times. This scene makes me really question my own table manners. Look, they just sent out a warning. Every single day is a battle, and look at that food. Seriously, medieval difficulty is no joke. After a long pause, Sang-hyun wearily muttered, Meeting the father-in-law for the first time is a bit overwhelming. A few more notifications pop up, rating it like a marriage simulator. Is this game for sale? Let me play too. Jinneret gently set down his wine glass, looked straight at Sang-hyun, and made an offer. "Hey, Almond, would you like to become one of my knights?" A notification popped up. With such big news, a few messages quickly popped up as if trying to speak for him. "It would be my honor, my lord," or "I must politely decline, I'd still prefer to be a mercenary." Oh my god, he's getting recruited as a knight already. This is the first time I've ever seen this happen. How did he get recruited so fast? Sang-hyun carefully bowed his head and fell into deep thought. This was completely unprecedented. The game had been out for nearly 1 year, and no one had ever achieved this. In a game like this, where wandering around is the main focus, if I accept this, won't it lead straight to the ending? Yes, exactly. Sang-hyun sighed and thought to himself. He knew that choosing Amelia would end the game faster, but he didn't expect the system to read his mind. As messages quickly flooded the screen,
Please keep playing as a mercenary, I beg you.
"Isn't being a knight way better than wandering around all day? Damn, I'm so curious to see what happens if he chooses the knight path." The suggestions flooding the screen left him a bit flustered. Sang-hyun frowned in thought, pursing his lips as he stared at the messages. "Keep being a mercenary. Choose option 1. No, choose option 2. After a long silence, he let out a heavy sigh and muttered, "All right. I've made my decision," Sang-hyun said out loud. "Let's wrap up today's stream here. That's enough streaming for today. Goodbye, everyone." The viewers angrily spammed the chat. "This guy is doing it again. Again. Seriously, this is so frustrating." Sang-hyun slowly stepped out of the gaming capsule. He sighed, looked down at his shirt, and thought, "At least without any combat, my real body didn't break a sweat. Even if it was a bit short ending it, there was fine." Seeing him return, Joo-hyuk cheerfully said, "Hey, your stream today was awesome." Sang-hyun raised an eyebrow. "Really? I didn't even fight this time." Joo-hyuk quickly showed him the stream's viewer feedback talking non-stop. "Just look at this. You can tell just by looking at their reactions. The events in your stream today are trending at the top of the search charts. It's packed with hot search terms like beginner's harvesting tips, enchanted armor tier list, Almond's path to becoming a knight, and review streamer Almond disconnects at the worst possible moment. Did he do it on purpose? How to beat high-level monsters. We're waiting for the game's ending. I want to play an archer too. Are the developers adding more events? And I wonder what the knight class is like. A free mercenary is way better, though." Joo-hyuk happily pushed up his glasses and said, "I always stay ahead of the news, you know." Sang-hyun clicked his tongue. "Aren't you just amazing?" Joo-hyuk suddenly remembered something and quickly added, "Oh, and another thing, I got a call from the guild representative. The editor's salary has been approved." Sang-hyun replied excitedly, "That's great." Joo-hyuk continued enthusiastically, "They're currently reviewing our terms." Sang-hyun, keeping his eyes glued to his phone, commented, "Well, cooperating with a big organization is always tough anyway." Joo-hyuk raised an eyebrow and reminded him, "We have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow. There's a lot to discuss."